Will Andy Dalton lead the Bears to the playoffs? Say what you said. Hot mic. Hot mic. Hot mic.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It is Wednesday, March 17th, 2021, years after zero. And this show begins right now. Not only is it St. Patrick's Day, which I will get to in a moment. Obviously, my name is Patrick. I'm going to love St. Patrick's Day, especially with what you've already learned about my life and how I've lived it. You'd assume that St. Patrick's Day is a big day. It is. So we will talk about that momentarily. But right now, we have to remind you that a new league year begins today.
Yeah.
Free agency frenzy began just 2 days ago when the legal tampering period began, and there's already been hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in guarantees for players. There's already been a lot of players cutting today. All the teams kind of have to get under the salary cap. There's still like 5 teams or 4 teams over the salary cap. Look for some things to happen throughout the day to put teams into better position so that they can play next year under the limit of the cash they're allowed to spend, which is what makes the NFL so damn good. The parity, the salary cap, blah, blah, blah. Uncle COVID came through and did some damage. And I have on good authority. Okay. Can we put the list up, please, of the teams that are still over the salary cap? Because this is a big deal going into the league year. As of this morning, Albert Breer is reporting, NFL Management Council record showed just 3 teams left over the salary cap. The Saints, $12.72 million over. The Chiefs, $5.41 million over. And the Bears, $2.42 million over. Shout out to Albert Breer for that reporting. The Saints, I assume they're going to have to rework and do some shit today to get under that number by 4 o'clock, I believe. Bears, $2.42 million over. They just brought in their stud, Andy Dalton, to be their quarterback. There's a lot of stories popping off about how the Russell Wilson Bears trade almost happened. We'll talk about that today at some point as well. But what we have to do is address this middle one. Chiefs, $5.41 million over the salary cap. Our sources have told us that although a couple days ago, when it was reported that Patrick Mahomes, Chris Stone Cold Jones, and Travis Kelce were reworking their contract to free up some money in the salary cap and take things as a signing bonus as opposed to a roster bonus. And it's a salary cap trick that has been happening all around the NFL right now. We asked Travis Kelce about it. He said, that's news to me, but he also did not know about the 4-year, $140 million deal to Taysom Hill. So then it was reported that Travis Kelce is actually not reworking his contract. That was 2 days ago. Here we are. League year begin day, St. Patrick's Day, Chiefs $5.41 million over the cap. Look for that to get changed very quickly because our sources are telling us that as of yesterday, Travis Kelce and the Kansas City Chiefs are working on making him a hero, a teammate of the year nominee, a guy who said, listen, I don't care how the money comes or where the money comes. I want to make sure our team is set up to succeed. Our sources are telling us that Travis Kelce and the Kansas City Chiefs are currently reworking their contract to free up some salary cap space, which means the Chiefs are going to be under there because this guy right here, Travis Kelce.
Wow!
What a guy. What a guy.
Wow. Yes.
I believe this makes him a Walter Payton Man of the Year finalist already, but I assume with all the great work he does in Ohio and in Kansas City, that'll only help. Travis Kelce, not only a guy who breaks a bunch of records on the field, here he is being an incredible human on St. Patrick's Day, reworking his contract, saying, hey, listen, don't worry about the money. I just want to play football so that the Chiefs can get below the cap. I assume that's the move that they are going to make. And it was reported a couple of days ago, maybe the Chiefs were telling reporters, like, this is what our plan is. We saw Travis. He woke up immediately after, maybe a minute before coming on our show. We told him about this news. He said, I've not heard that. So that guy's a hero who chugs beers, wears title belts, catches balls. He's the go-to man on third down, red zone, you name it. Although they didn't win the Super Bowl, they've been to back-to-back Super Bowls, and Travis Kelce said, listen, I just want this team to be good, according to our sources.
Yep.
Shout out to Travis Kelce.
Wow. What a guy.
What a guy. So the beginning reports were accurate, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the time when they were reported, are we results-driven or are we process-driven? You know what I mean?
Don't want to jump the gun. Guess.
Anyways, our sources are saying that. Anyways, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Let's talk about it, shall we? At Tone Diggs is here, Boston Connor's here, Ty Schmidt's here, Gumpy's here. The boys are back there. We shout out to everybody listening and watching wherever you may be. And I don't know if you began this particular St. Patrick's Day with kegs and eggs, but if you did, Slancha, I hope you're having a great, probably pretty blacked out drunk moment right now while you're listening to the show. 12:07 on St. Patrick's Day or St. Patrick's Day celebrations, which happen during the weekend because normally St. Patrick's Day falls during the week. That's the way our calendar works. And we can talk about if we believe in a 7-day week and how accurate that is with the sun and all that bullshit. But I don't want to get in that conversation. You get it. St. Patrick's Day is not always on a weekend. But when you think about St. Patrick's Day, I hope everybody thinks to themselves, although the world kicks us in the taint sometimes, St. Patrick's Day is literally a reminder to tell you, hey, go have a great fucking time out there. Do what you got to do. And I understand a lot of of people attack Americans, and in particular Irish people that live in America or have their ancestors from Ireland, how we have taken advantage of St. Patrick's Day and turned it into something it's not. I have done St. Patrick's Day in Ireland. I'll tell you what, the blackout was damn near the same effort over there. And they did it the night before going into the morning, and then there was a parade and everything like that. But America, you know, we do what we do to things. And I like the fact that the Irish, you know, my name's Patrick McAfee, and although McAfee is of Scottish descent, we got kicked out of that country. I learned through, you know, spitting into a tube and this whole thing. And then we got moved into Ireland. I'm an Irish guy, obviously. And I like the fact that our day is associated with having a great time. I like the fact that whenever you think of the Irish, you think, okay, they like to have a reckless, ridiculous, good time. I like that fact a lot. And I like the fact that on St. Patrick's Day, you know, it just feels as if everybody comes, it's a come together holiday. Not everyone's like that. It's a come together holiday. I told you I got a chance to experience St. Patrick's Day in Ireland. I did. I've gotten a chance to experience St. Patrick's Day in Morgantown, West Virginia, Indianapolis, Indiana, Chicago. Now, I don't know the area as well, so I was up there with some friends. I've done it down in Georgia. I've done it everywhere. Nobody does St. Patrick's Day like Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Okay, so maybe because I'm from Pittsburgh, because I'm an Irish from Pittsburgh, and because St. Patrick's Day is something that I used to look forward to 364 days a year, Tim McAfee, a man who used to grind and work his ass into the ground, would actually have a holiday and take off work on St. Patrick's Day. The St. Patrick's Day holiday in the McAfee family is very large, and I want to let you know, although I am not, you know, and my dad wasn't doing any keg stands this morning, and we didn't wake up with kegs and eggs. A couple years ago, my dad walked into a beer pong table at 7:30 a.m. and an Italian comes down and blows a blunt right in his face, and Tim McAfee then knocks down a beer cup. It's like St. Patrick's Day is a big day for our family, and I want to let you know there's a lot of haters on St. Patrick's Day. A lot of Irish people are like, this isn't what it's about. You can't hate on the fact that we are associated with a good fucking time. So happy St. Patrick's Day. Life isn't always fantastic. Today, I hope you have a chance to enjoy yourself, wear some green, chug some beers, smoke some green, do whatever you got to do, and then ship back up to Boston. I listened to that this morning. Oh my God. I listened to that 7 times this morning.
Oh yeah.
Because, you know, it's a little bit different now with old Uncle COVID coming through. You know, St. Patrick's Day isn't what it used to be. In Pittsburgh, for instance, the reason why I say nobody does like Pittsburgh, there's a strip of bars. How many bars are in there?
80 plus.
80 plus bars in one strip. And it's when the Italians come down, you know? Pittsburgh, big Irish Italian city. That's what it is, okay? Polish sneak in there. There's some Latino culture, African Americans in it, but it's mostly Italian and Irish. That is what Pittsburgh is. And you know, for a long time, the Irish have just been so much better than the Italians at basically everything. They can cause a little bit of a skirmish. St. Patrick's Day, the Italian community is even like, hey, our drunk rivals have their day. Let's fucking go and do this thing. And it just becomes, the entire city is shut down in Pittsburgh. It used to be. Now, I assume it's not like that anymore. It can't be. The entire city was drunk. And I used to hate when people would be like, that's not what St. Patrick's Day is. I was like, it should be then. Like, if that... The entire city right now of Pittsburgh is all drunk together, basically. You got cops walking past kids doing keg stands out of the trunk of a car at 7 a.m. And being like, hey, lift his feet up a little bit. Like, it is just, it's a beautiful thing. Connor, very Irish guy. This morning, as soon as I said Pittsburgh is the best St. Patrick's Day place, you said, oh, Boston, hey. Because a lot of Irish in Boston. A lot of Irish in Boston. But I do believe the way Pittsburgh is set up, it's much more for a citywide drunk fest with that 80-some bars. I think it was a Guinness World Record for the most amount of bars per capita of space or anything like that. It's a lot of Irish people, obviously. It's built for everybody to have a great time starting, you know, 6, 7 a.m. if you really want to and go all day. But I do like the fact that Boston holds it down up there.
Of course, South Boston, unbelievable place for a parade and drinking. And like you said, St. Patrick's Day is like the Thanksgiving of drinking. You know, everyone's happy, everyone's giving thanks, but at the same time, everyone's boozed up, so it's even, you know, it's even more like, hey, come on!
How about how many?
Oh, yeah.
Car bombs. Oh, which is such a social drinking thing.
Yes.
Like, hey, everybody, because you got a beer to sing along with, and you got a shot glass to cheers with. I mean, it's the best It's the fucking best. I'm like, really, I don't drink that much anymore. But St. Patrick's Day is like hey, March 17th, like you got to put the old fucking boots on, pal. Like it's your heritage.
Yeah.
It's your name. There's a lot of history there. And then St. Patrick's Day is past. You have had some great days. Let's not stop that. I mean, if you're a streak shooter, which St. Patrick's Day, I've been hot for a long
couple years now.
I have batted 1,000 now since like 2000, maybe 9, maybe even earlier than that. Probably in college I did. Yeah. So it's like you gotta unretire the chug on St. Patrick's Day. Like you got to do. Those are what happened. Today can't happen. This past weekend, I guess a bunch of drunk whites were out and about. I did not know that was happening. I did not get a heads up. Happy I wasn't there because there was a blonde knocking out everybody down there. Would not have wanted to eat a right from her. But aside from the drunk skirmishes that do come with St. Patrick's Day, I feel like it's a rather joyful event.
Oh, yeah.
And I like that we're associated with, although every single year, anytime I talk about it, that's not what it is. It's like, well, why not then? Why is it not that?
Exactly.
Why is it not that?
Should be.
It's universal. It's
It
not
is.
like Christmas
Iowa,
or
you're
like
right.
Easter or anything like that. Like everyone, I mean, you might not like what the reasons for, but everyone's coming together around St. Patrick's Day. It doesn't matter what, creed you are, what race you are, what religion. I mean, like literally everyone will go to a St. Patrick's Day bash.
I had a homeless man spend an entire day of St. Patrick's Day with me because Nick's shaking his head back there. Homeless man replaced Nick.
no.
Generous, philanthropic human you are. Let me take this bum off the streets, give him $100, stuff it in his pockets, and parade him around.
Parade him around.
Fill his belly
We
with
gave
shots
this-
and liquor.
We gave this guy a sweet jacket because he was up with us. We were up very early, and he was walking around. And I was like, what's going on, man? Which is something I would always do, no matter who it is. Like, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
And he was like, just trying to figure it out. And I'm like, what are you trying to figure out? He's like, where you guys are going? I'm like, well, let's fucking go. And he was like, all right. And I was like, we're going to have to give this guy a jacket.
Nick, give him your jacket.
No, Nick wasn't there. Somebody else did, actually.
Nice.
Somebody else gave him a jacket. Nick didn't even know we picked up this guy. There was a potential mixed message sent to the group that they were to get in the cab or we were going to go somewhere.
Sure.
And Nick got into a cab.
Nick.
Signals crossed.
Yeah.
Slight miscommunication. I get put into the cab, pat with a good pat on the back, and then a bam, bangs the top of the cab. See you later. Sends me down the
not
river.
what happened.
I went to go meet Diggs down the river.
That is not
We
what
do
happened.
meet up in Station Scare. Eventually found our way back. I see I've been replaced by this homeless bum.
No, so that's not how. That's not exactly how it went.
Homeless man, Nick.
Nick was in a large group. Nick was in a large group.
Yeah.
And I knew what was about to happen. And I didn't know necessarily that Nick was not going to leave with us, but it was like, hey, I feel like we got to split from this because I don't know all these people either. I don't know all these people. We got to split and then meet up later. I thought Nick was with us when we picked up the bum. You know what I mean? Like I thought Nick was with. Nick comes jumping out with that group like St. Patrick's Day having a good time, and he's getting in the cab, and I didn't tap him on the head and say. I almost was like.
Oh, smell you later.
Well, but if I say that to Nick, then what happens? Then it becomes like an entire.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
one of those.
It was that bum though had a great day, man.
I bet he did.
He did, and he made his way all the way to. He met Nick later.
Is that the guy who you said, hey, I don't want to see you here next week because you gave him
No.
That was a different guy.
Totally different bum.
That was a different guy. That was a different guy.
Not the guy Haddlebags killed either.
No, that's a
Different guy?
completely different guy.
Okay.
Completely different guy. Yeah, the guy, the I don't want to see you here next week thing. That guy was awesome. He's probably still there, by the way.
Yeah. Two things Pittsburgh does really well: St. Patty's Day celebration and bums.
Yeah, the bums, by the way, they're not just like they look like they're down and out bums. Like they're like
No, they're energized.
they're blue collar bums.
Yeah.
Like, hey, yeah, listen, you gonna give me some? I'd like some. Like that guy's like, where are we going? There's no homeless guy that has any energy to go like,
No.
hey, where are we going? That guy's like, where are we going? You're like, you're right. Let's go. It's by the way,
Lead the way.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's
Exactly.
what St. Patrick's Day is. And what we're trying to say here, although Nick got cast down the road to somewhere else for a couple hours. By the way, we met up with Nick probably around 11 a.m. But by that point, I mean, a lot had happened.
Full day's worth.
Yeah, you see. So what we're saying is St. Patrick's Day brings people together. Here's the church. Here's the steeple.
Okay.
You look inside St. Patrick's Day, there's all the people.
Wow.
All
Having a good time.
Having a good
The
time.
homeless guy's still telling that story
Yeah.
too.
Well, I don't know how
Inside the
he's doing.
church.
He was able to drink a lot. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I feel like he was almost running laps around us at one point. It was-
Jeez.
yeah. Yeah, he had a great day.
That was his Super Bowl.
I mean, he
took
had
advantage of it.
he had a great St. Patrick's Day. I think he would talk about St. Patrick's Day in a positive light, which is good news. I hope so. And by the way, I think he potentially probably already has $1 million with his work ethic. Same with that other guy.
Probably running a Fortune 500 company now.
I'd assume. I mean, that's why, DoorDash, potentially.
He's definitely dead by now.
What?
Oh, dude.
That was 7 years ago. It's been some cold, harsh winters.
That guy
pandemic.
moved south.
He's
That guy
smart.
moved south. All right.
Heard about the party in Georgia.
Don't need to hear it. Yeah, I heard about down in Georgia, which, by the way, everybody talks about Georgia. I forget what city. Savannah. They say it's very nice. I was not in Savannah. So I very clearly said I did St. Patrick's Day in Georgia, and the people of Savannah were like, not Savannah. You're like, you're right. I did in Atlanta, actually. But I have heard that Savannah is a fantastic party. I just don't know. It's probably a much different vibe than the Pittsburgh one, if I had to guess. And I will attempt to get there at some point because it's a blast. Zito also told me that the Chicago one is a great time. I potentially didn't go to because, if you don't know where to go, you're like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. If you don't know where to go, sometimes it could be a little bit difficult. So I might have had a misread on Chicago, but I do know that if you're going to do St. Patrick's Day, you go to Pittsburgh. Just gas pedal. That is what you're doing. That is the St. Patrick's Day you can expect out of the Pittsburgh Irish party community. I'm not sure everywhere else is the exact same. Now we move on. Gumpy, did you guys hate the Irish, or did you do St. Patrick's Day in Canada?
We did St. Patrick's Day. Green beer is the best. All day long. It's a day off. There's always a day off. You don't work on St. Patrick's Day.
The green beer too, by the way.
Pitchers of green beer, just like we said.
Oh man. We should go do that, huh?
I mean,
We actually have
Maybe one, just a pint.
We have a very good pub back home called Irish Times, and it pops off on St. Pat. It's electric.
Hey, come into this bar. You have some Irish times. What's that mean? Well, when I was in Ireland one time, when I went over there, there was legit. Like I realized why I came from there. Like first of all, everybody's hands are just the fattest things of all. Every single one of them have these fat ass mitts. I mean, it's just like, okay, you go into a drinking place. As you're walking in, it'll feel like you're in a movie. There's an 85-year-old Irish man just rolling down the wall until the exit. And then he just falls out and everybody's like, ah! And you got live music playing in almost every single place. There's somebody singing up in the front, which automatically that means there's like a wedding singer almost now feel. It is just, it was a great time over there. But I feel like in a lot of those places, the mindset is like, okay, it's St. Patrick's Day, like every day around here. Like there's a lot of boozing going on down there. So when you go into a bar called Irish Times, it's like, all right, this is what's going to potentially happen. You got drunks falling out the door potentially, people getting after it. There's probably some music if I had to guess.
Live music.
And what we're saying is that's what St. Patrick's Day is all about.
that's what it's all about.
They got those sausage fingies because they got to hold up all the beer the whole entire day.
It literally looked like everybody. And I got some fat hands too, I guess. So I guess that's a part of it. But it looked like somebody just took a fucking mallet to everybody. I was like, oh my God, these mitts are big. They did not love me over there, by the way.
Really?
Believe it or not, I was not beloved in Ireland. It was actually the complete opposite.
Bullshit.
I was called a stupid Yankee more times in Ireland than anywhere I've ever been in my entire life. And I was like going into some places, and everybody assumes that, I go in and just try to cause a scene. No, that's not the case. Now, granted, the way I dress, I do believe if you were to put me into a country, I could tell you immediately upon landing how that country feels about America at the time, because I am the stereotypical American whenever I get dropped. But I didn't think I was being rude. I was like, Patrick McAfee, like I feel like when they check my ID, I'm kind of pumped for this actually. Because every other country you go to, if you have an American thing, they read your name, they say it, they make like a little, that very broken English, like joke almost, like where you're from, they learn the whole thing, and then you put it away. I go to Ireland again, and they fucking just threw it down basically. Whoa. And then they went to somebody else, and I was like, oh my God.
We don't want a McAfee from America here, fella.
Hey, pal, you and me are on the same page, okay? I'm here to have a good time. And then all of a sudden they start playing American music, and I'm like, whoa, what's
going on?
Hey, this son of a bitch right here. You wouldn't even serve them if they're... That was the only place. And by the way, I had a lot of respect for it, but Ireland was I would say the least friendly place I've ever been. Foxy, you feel the same way?
Yeah, I went there in the summer once, and we walked into just a random bar, me and my family, and there's this guy at the bar sitting there, and he gets all like kind of pissed off, and we're like, did we do something? Bartender had to come over and say, hey, like, you guys are from America, so some people aren't really happy if you go into certain bars and stuff.
That's real.
They actually had to give us a warning. Also, the fact that, people from Ireland like to booze, 100% facts.
Yeah. That was the only country I ever thought I was going to get my fucking ass beat just for being from America.
It was weird.
It was it was kind of awesome.
I'm sure on St. Patrick's Day it's throttled up too.
But I was there for like 10 days. It was like I
Start to
traveled
finish.
throughout all of Ireland. Yeah, Dublin wasn't like that because Dublin, you're basically in just any city. It's Dublin is massive. Yep. It is huge. And I assume there's parts of Dublin that are not fantastic or whatever. But when you get into I did a whole tour of Ireland basically, went into some small towns and stuff. You go into those bars, it's not like, hey, welcome, fella. It's next. Yeah, you can go down to the next pub.
How do you think you're doing here?
We don't want that money here. Okay, you've already done enough, pal. The only other place that really happened to me was France when I was a fucking teenager.
Oh yeah, that'll happen.
It will happen, won't it?
They do not like America.
All right, let's move on. That's not what St. Patrick's Day is.
That's not what it's all
not.
about.
That's not what St. Patrick's Day is.
That's Bastille Day.
Yeah,
That's right.
which sounds like a bit different.
Yeah.
We will play Pompeii on that day.
All right, it's the NFL League Day. Here we go.
Yeah, let's go.
A lot of things have to happen. Now that we found out Travis Kelce's renegotiating his contract to free up some cap space, there is 2 teams that are above the salary cap currently. It is the Saints and it is the Bears. Now, who knows what has happened with the Bears, but let's dive into that. Yesterday, after ours, after our show went off air, the NFL was a little bit rude, just like they were with the Jameis Winston news. Andy Dalton, formerly of the Dallas Cowboys for a year, formerly of the Cincinnati Bengals organization for a long, long time, he is now, all signs are pointing to, the new quarterback for the Chicago Bears.
Wow, boy,
$10 million around there. There's conflicting reports whether it's worth 13, 14, 10, who knows. It's in that. It's more money than what Foles is making next year, I believe. So this is saying that Andy Dalton's going to be their starter. And I'll tell you what, we, as a Red Rifle show, never been on the show. You actually canceled on us a couple times.
More than once.
You did cancel, yep.
More than once.
No, Zito's trying to save him. Yeah, he did cancel once, is what Zito. Zito is automatically. He did. Now, it wasn't his fault he canceled. He had just signed with the Cowboys literally the day he was supposed to come on the show. Now, we would say as a show, hey, right time to have you on the show, pal. Perfect. But he said, well, he didn't want to, piss anybody off or whatever. I do believe he watches. He's probably watching right now. Oh, yeah. So, Andy, I want to let you know, congrats on the Chicago deal. You did fucking kind of kill us one day.
Yeah, perfect time for redemption, though. Hey, here we go again.
Here we go. We're back. Well, I don't know if the Bears are going to allow a lot of people on this particular show.
Of course they will.
Well, Zito, I understand that your fanhood is big, but normally if one person on the show says something negative about somebody, it gets back to them. I have buried the Bears pretty harshly, have I not? About
you're just judging their character, making them better.
No,
you're
not judging their character. No, I was not talking about their character. It's the complete opposite, actually.
Not judging.
But anyways, moving on. The Andy Dalton situation was a massive letdown to what a lot of the Bears sounded like on the internet yesterday. Yeah. And that's strictly because one day before they signed Andy Dalton to be their starting quarterback, and Andy has won a lot of games.
A lot of games.
He won in Cincinnati. That organization doesn't even try to win games. Right. Now, it might be different now. They're paying people and everything like that. But Cincinnati's not like, hey, we're going all in to try to win this thing ever. That is not what they're doing. Andy Dalton, playoffs, 11-win seasons over there. I mean, they had a string of 10 or more wins for a certain amount of years. Andy Dalton has had some good football play in places that you would never expect good football play. Everybody remembers him back at TCU. I mean, what an absolute stud Andy Dalton is. But the Bears fans are like, yeah, cool, we hear all that. We're supposed to get Russell fucking Wilson yesterday. So I guess the story is coming out that Ian Rappaport reported this morning on Good Morning Football. The way the story goes is Pace and Schneider met in Fargo, North Dakota. Okay, so they went out to North Dakota for Trey Lance's pro day is what you would assume. Now, they started talking. They exchanged a couple trade requests or ideas. Inevitably, the Seahawks slept on it. And after Dan Patrick, who is a man who OG in this game, knows everything. He reported this morning that it was 3 first-rounders, 1 third-rounder, and 2 starters were offered over to the Seattle Seahawks. Nobody knows what starters they were. Dan Patrick, OG, let's assume his sources are accurate. This could be coming from Chicago to try to soften the blow of Andy Dalton, but let's assume that this is an accurate report from Dan Patrick, who is legend in this entire sports world. 3 firsts, 1 third, 2 starters, to Seattle for Russell Wilson in return to Chicago. So now that we know there was actual steam happening and there was actual conversations happening, being reported by numerous people here, we got to dig a little bit deeper, don't we?
That's right.
Okay, so when a picture is posted on the internet, all anybody does is they zoom into the background. They start looking around about what's going on in the background. It got me in trouble with Andrew Luck.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so that's what you got to do in life, though. When you hear this story that Schneider and Pace met up in Fargo, North Dakota, you have to go, oh, why were they in Fargo, North Dakota? Then you got to zoom in a little bit. What are they in Fargo? Oh, they're there for a pro day, obviously. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit more. Who's pro day for? Trey Lance?
Oh, yeah.
Why Schneider at Trey Lance's pro day?
Oh.
Are the Seattle Seahawks moving on from Russell Wilson, or did they say let's meet at a pro day so it doesn't look as Zoom call-y as it could be? Maybe, but why are they both there? What this means that they were definitely in the market potentially for a new quarterback, unless North Dakota has some stud that they're looking at. Why is the GM traveling to a pro day when there's only a certain amount of people that are allowed at pro days from each organization? If the GM's going, that has to be a pretty important fucking position that they're looking at, I would assume, unless Schneider just goes to all the pro days, which might be happening. They were going there to look at Trey Lance. Is it possible that the Bears made them an offer, they watched Trey Lance's pro day, and they're like, I'm 70 years old, Pete Carroll said. We are not doing that whole project. The answer is no the next day. Then it was reported this morning that the Seattle Seahawks have made the decision ultimately that they will not trade Russell Wilson. Then there's a conflicting report coming out that's saying, like, no, that is not the end of the he is potentially still being traded. So if they're going to Trey Lance and they're listening to offers, I assume if another place was to make them an offer, they would listen to it. But is there going to be any offer better than 3 ones, a third, and 2 starters? I'm not 100% sure. Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll probably going to have to put their swords away. Okay, they had to be love at some point, right? Yeah. You guys just got married. Huh? Could we go back to wedding night? Oh, the band. What we're saying is, let's put our swords away. That's going to have to happen publicly, by the way. Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson are going to have a private reconciliation. Yeah. They're going to have to figure out how that whole thing went down. Dan Patrick said, like, Pete and Russ are going to have to say, like, hey, boys, our egos got the best of us. Okay, we started talking. We need each other. Let's start being more. They're going to have to do that publicly. It's going to have to be a whole dog and pony show. Like, that's going to happen. Or people are just going to ask the questions. And I'm wondering if we're too far gone for them to make up with how nasty this thing got publicly between them. It's very interesting what's going on with Seattle because everybody's saying they're not shopping, and then all of a sudden they're going to Trey Lance's pro day, they're accepting requests and doing negotiating with the Bears. It's like, is that over or is that still potentially a thing? Because I assume there are still some more teams, especially one down in Miami, that are thinking about a quarterback that they could potentially try to get, especially with 3 picks in the top 40 picks this draft.
Well, that's what I mean. Do you think that pushes other teams to be like, okay, they're definitely listening for offers? Like, why wouldn't Miami put together something right now? Their picks are more valuable, and they could send Tua. So, I mean, it's like maybe you're getting a guy in return. Why wouldn't Miami go after him?
Why?
Other than the franchise stinks.
Well, that is the one thing you have to remember. But let's
that is why they're cutting players to free up money.
Well, but you would also just be able to trade the starter, like Kyle Van Noy, potentially in the, what you say, Diggs?
Well, they also just got Jacoby, so they don't need it.
Hey, Jacoby, a couple years ago, he got dropped into a position that was completely asinine. Terrible. Andrew, he gets picked up a week before the season starts whenever Andrew's hurt, doesn't know the offense, he plays. They do not win a lot of games. Everybody's like, Jacoby not good. It's like, no, there was moments in there where a guy who had no idea what the fuck he was doing in an offense played pretty good. Then the next year, Andrew's coming back 8 days before the season. The entire offense, the entire offseason, everything shaped around Andrew Luck's back. He's feeling better than ever. Jacoby Brissett is you're the backup. Then 8 days before the season starts, there's actually the video of Jacoby learning about when he was going to be the starter of the team. He gets in there, he renegotiates his deal. He plays good football.
Yeah.
Then he gets hurt. Then he plays not great football after he got hurt. And then now Phillip Rivers comes in. Jacoby Brissett, if he's given a fair shake, and I don't know what's fair in this world anymore, because you see a lot of shit popping off. Guys are getting cut today, allegedly, that are like big time names. If they would have been cut 24 hours ago, there's a lot more, 48 hours ago, there's a lot more money available. It's not really fair for there. But if Jacoby gets a fair shake, I think he can be a fucking stud quarterback. It would have to be the right offensive system. I don't know what Miami will be able to do, but I think he has a chance to be really good. And that's just coming from somebody who watched every play he had as a starter with the mindset like, this guy's kind of been fucked over a little bit in this entire thing.
Beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead during their Super Bowl year. Like, if Jacoby has a real shot, then he could easily be a 10-win quarterback.
There was some real, or 11, depending on a 17-game season. What's the new, because now,
new standard.
Now you have to, that's an interesting thing we're going to have to do. There were some throws, though, that Jacoby made, like, out of the back of the end zone that were like, the Justin Herbert, like, throws that were happening this year, where he was throwing to a spot and his wide receiver wasn't there yet, and it was only for him. You're throwing it basically out of bounds, but it's for somebody. There was a couple throws he made that were like 30-yard. I was like, oh, this guy's a fucking player over here. Then you talk to him. He's kind of a cool dude, great athlete, good hooper, I guess, and he's getting into the golf game. Who knows how that'll be, but I think he has a chance to be good. I'm not saying if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, you should be like pumped, but I think you should be a little bit more optimistic than you probably are. Jacoby's a good player if he gets a chance.
I mean, especially if Tua struggles early. I mean, you got to think that's why they
fourth
brought
quarter
him in.
Jacoby.
Yeah, here we go.
Did you see what Fitzmagic did last year? That's what we need from you. Yeah, we need 3 quarters of chilling, and then we need you to.
I mean, he's used to it. He did all the goal. He did all the goal line stuff in Indy when Rivers went out.
Yeah, he would come in out of nowhere. He's not like the most mobile guy. He can run, but it's not like he's a burner. Yeah. And then they were like, he'd come in the game. They're like, oh, here we go. Got a different style quarterback.
Wildcat package.
I'm like, no.
QB sneak, 8 yards score.
Yeah. And by the way, he was getting the edge on a couple times. He was getting caught too, but I mean, I like the fact that the Colts were like, hey, we got to get him at least someplace. This guy deserves it. And I think if he gets a chance in Miami, I'm not saying he will. Maybe he'll be a backup to Tua or whatever. Whatever's going to go on down there. But he's a player, man.
For the Bears fans who are upset with Andy Dalton, it's not really Andy's fault, or is it more of the organization? Like, hey, you knew you were moving on for Mitch like probably a year ago, and you waited all this time, and you ended up with Andy. Like, that's not option A, B, or C, probably.
Well, remember, Deshaun Watson, they were allegedly all in on. Yeah. And that was when the Texans were not answering calls. I assume they're answering calls now, by the way. There's some shit going on in Houston.
Yeah.
Man.
That's not usually our... I don't like to... What's going on in Houston right now is this will be a case study for time to come about how media is potentially used to do things.
Oh, yeah.
Now, granted, if this happened, I hope justice is served. And if not, though, I would like that story to be just as loud as it's going to be here in the front about these potential he said, she said allegations, or he said allegations that are happening right now. That's wild. And the immediate conspiracy thought, the critic, skeptic thought of that situation is like, oh, they're trying to make him look bad.
Yeah. Timing's interesting.
Oh, they're trying to make him look bad right now. But we will let the people do their due diligence. I had no idea that you could even file a lawsuit on something that is a direct, he said, he or she said. I didn't even know you could do that. Seems like it's getting a lot of attention. But this could also be potentially a very evil, manipulative way to bury somebody.
You know, Dave Sampson.
Bingo. That is a man who came on this show. He used to be the president of the Marlins, and basically said like, "Oh yeah, we'll just make things up about people to make them look terrible, so the fans don't feel bad when we trade them or cut them." It's like, what? Why'd you say? And then he said, "Can't we all get along?" It's like, what? No, we can't because of what you. Oh, I did not create that. That's what he said.
Well, you are a scumbag.
You're doing it.
I guess that's business, but it's disgusting. 37 minutes into this St. Patrick's Day, we'll answer some phone calls on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, March 17th. We have a bracket bonanza popping off. I think what I was most excited about for this show was the fact that we are giving away $51,000 to the winner of our bracket. $51,000 bracket bonanza presented by us, obviously. It'll be in the March Madness Live app, I believe. It is something you have to download from the App Store. It looks exactly like this. It is the NCAA official thing, March Madness Live. Our challenge bracket bonanza will be up there as one of the ones you can join. There's a couple of different little things we have to talk about, though, with the $51,000 bracket bonanza. Although right now it sits at $51,000 to the winner, whoever has the best bracket. And we're going with traditional scoring, by the way. There is a new style of scoring. We're going traditional. If we become the biggest bracket bonanza challenge on the app, it'll go to $75,000. $51,000 bracket bonanza will go to $75,000 bracket bonanza. Then if that thing gets to over 50,000 entries, which we do not believe is possible, that seems like a lot, that'll go to a $100,000 bracket bonanza. That's right. All you gotta do is fill out your brackets, get things right more than everybody else, and you could potentially win $51,000, maybe $75,000. And if we get 50,000 people to be a part of this bracket bonanza, that'll be a $100,000 giveaway just because we want to. Now, that March Madness Live app, you will see a lot of companies are at the top. A lot of people are at the top. They have their picture. They have it all beautiful. We do not, because we are not in association with them. There are other places that do bracket challenges. We cannot work alongside of them because of an interesting situation that popped off this weekend.
Okay.
Cousin's pressure.
Okay. Okay. Oh my God! Best sign spinner in the world! At least now he says, that was unbelievable.
Bro, thank you for what you just did right there. What's your name?
Mike.
Mike, where you from?
Right here in Los Angeles.
That was fucking awesome to watch. Good luck out there. They should be paying you more.
Tune in for the World Sign Spinning Championship in Vegas.
There's a World Sign Spinning Championship?
In Vegas.
Are you like a national, are you a champion?
I rank.
You rank? What do you rank?
I got 8th in the 2013, if I'm mistaken.
What do we have to do to get better? How do we get to first place? What's the new move? What's the new move? Maybe light it on fire.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The newest move I have is this one.
Oh! Least now! Oh my God! If I was getting to the end with the kickflip, I don't know how you're 8th in the world. You should be number 1. And if I was least in a place, I'm fucking coming here.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Sex is cool. But have you ever tried built-in underwear?
Oh, no. Pretty sweet.
It's kind of a bummer, though, because last week this one was.
Yeah.
Remember this ad read?
Yeah.
Sex is cool, but have you ever read an ad read 4,000 times? It's the exact same. You remember that was last week?
Yeah.
It's almost like they knew and then they said, nah.
I don't know if it was them. I think it was potentially in-house.
Oh,
I think it was Brian.
in-house Brian.
Downtown Brian sleeping.
Dale Brown.
Passed out on a beach.
Dale Brown. Sex is cool. But have you ever tried built-in underwear? Everyone knows Bird Dog shorts, right?
Yeah,
Of course.
everybody.
Who doesn't?
Now they make pants.
What?
Yeah. Pants, dude.
Go.
Yeah. They stole Lululemon's designer. You see Lululemon's designer over here?
Yeah.
You go, how you doing? You like it? You do? Why don't you come do it over here?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to do it better over here, though. Bird Dogs are pants, but they have the underwear already built in.
Oh.
Take the unbelievable comfort of the Bird Dog shorts with the underwear built in, silky soft material that is not like the old school underwear built in, net carriage thing you got there. No, this is the softest. Is it cotton? I don't know. No, it's like a performance.
Yeah,
a blend,
some sort of stretchy material.
So what you were doing at Lululemon was cool, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna take what we created, which is awesome, blend it with that, and make like the super pant.
Yeah,
that's what they've done. You can wear them to work.
What?
You can wear them to a business meeting.
What?
You can wear them to golf.
What?
You can wear them to sleep.
What?
You can wear them to work out.
What?
You can wear them to St. Patty's.
What?
You can wear them to keg stands.
What?
You can wear them to sex.
What?
That's going to be difficult.
What?
You're going to have to at least. But you can do anything in these pants.
Get the scissors out.
Don't get the scissors because then you ruin a great pair of pants forever. Just for a moment. That's probably going to last very quickly if you're having sex with pants on at the
Maybe
moment.
cut a hole in the pocket.
You have Roman with you.
Oh, a little pocket.
Left pocket, because
Yeah, because Roman will make that last a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's right.
Might as well just take the pants off then.
True.
Might as well.
You're going to be here a while.
They're so comfy though.
Anyways, the comfort, magical.
Yeah,
unmatched.
top tier.
The fit, ridiculous.
Like your glove.
The material, epic. And the stretch lets you move around a little bit.
Yeah.
Dance.
This goes real hard. This is the complete opposite of what Bird Dog's pants feel like. Okay? They're the softest of all time. This is Ryan Lewis blowing out your 12s in the back.
Shout out.
Go to birddogs.com, enter promo code PAT, and they'll throw in a Bird Dog charcuterie board. Whoa.
What?
Oh, that's the new. Get to the bottom, he said. Dale, sorry, dude.
Dale.
Go to birddogs.com, enter promo code PAT, and they'll throw in a Bird Dog charcuterie board.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Charcuterie boards.
I mean, we were.
A wooden, classy, really nice one. Comes with cheese knives. That's when you go to birddogs.com, promo code PAT. Boom. Free Bird Dog shark board with your pair of Bird Dogs. You will not take these things off, we promise.
Let's
Hopefully
go.
Now we're
that
playing
bring-
the game.
Hopefully
that-
that bring back Chalkboard Fridays.
Oh, well, yeah, last week it was just pretzel and cheese.
Pretzels and cheese.
Well,
Mediterranean, we were
ever
told.
since that Aldi one has really changed everything.
Rattled it.
We'll get back into Sharkboard Fridays. Let's get some fun calls. Is there any new things that have happened around the NFL? Any St. Patrick's Day brawl fights that have made
that
its way
I've
on the internet
seen.
from today?
I need some of those.
Any drunk whites doing anything regrettable?
They're out there.
Somewhere.
Yeah, they're
There's a lot of that.
We'll find them.
Just
find a
drop a
Mahomes.
line.
Mahomes was appreciative of Kelsey.
Oh, yeah, Patrick Mahomes did quote tweet the video of us talking about hero, potential Walter Payton Man of the Year, teammate of the year, Travis Kelce renegotiating his contract into a signing bonus to save money for their salary cap in which they are over. Patrick Mahomes did say, what a guy, to Travis Kelce.
What a guy.
What a guy.
Can't say it enough.
Who do you think our source is for that? Because I did say our sources.
If I had to guess, usually we report when we absolutely know. So definitely someone who's in house.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not gonna give that guy up.
No, Travis told us.
What?
Huh?
Travis's agent?
No, Travis told me yesterday.
Travis Kelce.
TK?
Yeah.
The man himself,
Yeah. Killer Trav.
right from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. He said, by the way, think you knew something before I did. That was his text message.
Not even per source, per player.
Per guy.
Yeah.
Per Slayer.
I wanted to do like real professional, but then I asked him, am I allowed to say this? And he said, yeah. And I was like, all right.
Sounds good.
So Travis told us.
Man.
Shouts Killer Trav. Hero.
Even a bigger hero now. Reporting for himself.
I told him, I said, wait till you see how I report what you did here. Hero. Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Finalist.
That's real. You're talking about business side of things now.
Yeah.
Okay, Travis Kelce didn't write that deal. The Chiefs did.
Had a great season last year.
The Chiefs and Travis Kelce are like, it just broke records.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce and the Chiefs are like, hey, we want to make this thing great, don't we? Yeah, you're damn right. We want to continue that. He's like, yeah, do whatever you got to do. He even said on the show, if they want it, I don't give a hey.
I'll do it.
Now he has. Somebody got paid here in these final hours before the league year begins. In the free agency tampering period, the Titans are signing former Ravens 4-time Pro Bowl long snapper Morgan Cox per Jamison Hensley. Baltimore let him leave after 11 seasons. That's via @MySportsUpdate. This is a big deal. Okay, Morgan Cox, part of the Wolf Pack over there in Baltimore. Ooh. Justin Tucker, unbelievable. Sam Cook, unbelievable. Morgan Cox was a part of that. 11 years, unbelievable. The balls can't be kicked unless the ball's snapped.
Hell yeah.
And if you're a Tennessee Titan fan, and I do believe the long snapper was a very cool guy, and Overton actually went in for that guy last year at the Titans. The snapping that they have had, now Overton did a good job at the end of the year, I'm not saying that, but the snapping that they had whenever I was in the league, he was a very good guy, nice guy. And post while I was watching, not the best snap. Like Brett Kern is a weapon of a punter.
Yeah.
He's moving a lot. Okay. I think Brett Kern's only going to get better, and he's our top 2 guy right now in the league or whatever. And for kicking, it gets a lot easier whenever the laces and the holder doesn't have to trap the ball because it's a low snap or a move snap. It's just Morgan Cox will help out down there. And by the way, Goskowski's going to be very thankful for that. There's no coincidence that Goskowski goes down there for 1 year, and then immediately following that year, they're like, we need probably another snapper.
Yeah.
We probably need a snapper. Because there was a lot of times we would watch film, and Brett Kern, who's the holder, their kicker would be missing kicks or whatever, and then you watch it, and like Brett Kern's like fucking grabbing it all the way over here, and they're like, yeah, that's just how it is. It's like, I'll tell you, Vinatieri would be like, that ain't fucking how it is. And it feels like Goskowski was like, can we maybe shore this thing up, because this matters a lot more than basically everybody outside of this team realizes. And Morgan Cox is a stud.
How long do you think for a guy like Tucker, will that affect anything? Is it going to take him time to get used to that and everything?
He's got Sam Cook, so he's in a good spot. But yeah, that long snapper will be a good long snapper. They're not going to roll into somebody.
With it, right.
That'll be a good long snapper.
Oh no!
Please, what?
The Reaper has returned. Some people are still over the salary cap. Nick Sundberg is reporting. Unfortunately, Coach informed me that I'm not in the plans moving forward. Long snapper for Washington, I believe.
Yeah.
I understand this is a business, but I'm still sad to close this long chapter with the Washington football team. I look forward to the next opportunity in my career, wherever that may be. See you on Sunday. Sundberg, good guy.
It's been there since 2010.
He's a good guy. Good long snapper. See a lot of long snapper moves going on right now. John Weeks down in Houston. Now you got Sundberg. Now you got Morgan Cox moving. Every position is moving and grooving, including long snappers, which you can now vote on to make the Pro Bowl, which will be the most inaccurate vote in the history of Pro Bowl voting. Somebody asked me who had an all-pro vote, because it's the first time. Last year was the first time they were voting for the long snapper, and it's good. I'm happy they're doing that.
Yeah.
Because long snappers that made the Pro Bowl before were normally with the coaching staff that was coaching, or maybe it was just picked almost by people. It wasn't voted in. It wasn't your peers or anything like that. Last year, big celebration, they put the long snappers in for All-Pro and Pro Bowl. Pretty pumped about it. Good for you guys. You deserve it.
Here you go.
And then some All-Pro guy texted me and was like, hey, which long snapper do I put in for this thing? And I was like, bro, you're going to have to watch every fucking snap. Okay. You have to go back. You have to see who got the laces most accurately, who didn't There's a strike zone in snapping for punting, basically, which is same thing as where the hit zone is for quarterbacks, basically. You got to go back and score everybody. Then you have to counter that they might not be as great with the strike zone if they have good coverage and good blocking. It's going to take a lot of time. He said, I'm just going to put blah. Is that all right? I'm like, yeah, it fucking seems good. He's been in the league if he's been in the league a long time, I assume he's very good at what he does. But that's a tough thing. Unless you're really inside football, you don't know if a long snapper's doing a good job or not, because the holder makes up for any mistake that they potentially make on a field goal, and a punter makes up for anything that if a punter hits a shank because of a terrible snap, the punter hit a shank. It wasn't because of the bad snap. You know what I mean? So it is important to have a good one. But boy, if you want to find out who the good one is, you're going to have to watch a lot of fucking film.
Well, holders also say, hey, that's the guy over there who is the best long snapper. We should bring him in? Or
no, because we have no idea. We're just watching that one game. You know what I mean? I'm just, because this is, you got practice reps.
Yeah.
Where you can't suck, because these are real reps for Vinny, real reps for me. So you can't, you have to be good. It is just, that is a position where if you have a bad one, it is
You're done.
Potentially catastrophic. Yeah. Well, just one over the top, and it's fucking. And that's, by the way, just accidentally holding onto the ball for an extra half of a second, and then that thing's just shot over somebody's fucking head. Throwing it 15 yards upside down through their legs. There's a lot of room for failure, but also there's a lot of guys that get by that aren't elite or on the edge. So it's kind of a tough thing to judge. Morgan Cox is an absolute stud, though. Let's go to Hunter in Oklahoma, as is Sundberg. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. How's it going, Pat?
Hey, not too shabby here. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Hunter. What do you want to talk about?
Well, first off, I want to say, as a gay football fan, thank you for your service. And I also want to ask about the Colts and Carson Wentz. Do you think they're going to shoot for any playmakers? And if so, who do you want to see him get?
Hunter in Oklahoma, I appreciate you for following along. I like that he is at a point of his life where he's, confident and comfortable enough to say that. I guess there is times in the world's history where that was not something that anybody would do. So shout out to Hunter. Shout out.
Hunter.
Oklahoma too. I assume there's potential. I don't want to stereotype, but I would assume that's not the easiest place to potentially do whatever Hunter had to do. But we appreciate you, Hunter. The Colts, we need some, don't we?
Yeah.
I reached out to my sources yesterday. Ooh. Okay. And I actually asked what the fuck is going on. Okay, to my sources. And, there were some things laid out that you don't necessarily think about whenever you're in the exact moment. They have a lot of salary cap, but they got players they have to pay that are very, very, very good at football that are going to be expensive. There are some other things potentially in the works. I assume there's a lot of stuff happening that I was not necessarily relayed or anything else like that, but they have to have the thought that we got to pay a lot of people coming up. They got 3 All-Pros that they have brought into. They have 3 All-Pros that have not been broken off yet. That is going to cost some money, plus other players, the culture thing. So I guess whenever you look at that salary cap, you have to look at the overall picture, blah, blah, blah. It would be fucking great, though, if we would have got Trent Williams, who signed for $10,000 more than what Bakhtiari signed for. Highest paid tackle in the history of the league by $10,000. Now, a lot of people will do quick math and say, San Francisco taxes versus Packers taxes, where you're working at. He's probably actually making a lot less than Bakhtiari is in the grand scheme of things. But the worth, the value, the NFL team, the San Francisco 49ers put on Trent was $10,000 more than any other player in history. I love everything about that. That's why our bracket bonanza is at $51,000, just so we can say it was the biggest one out there. I love that Bakhtiari actually acknowledged it. I'd assume that they're all friends. It feels like the tackles are like a specialized position. I'd assume they work together in this whole thing. Congrats to Trent. He's a fucking dog. Good for the 49ers bringing him back because the Colts needed a tackle. That would have been very nice to get old Trent Williams over here. Yeah. He knew it. That's why he got paid what he just got paid.
Are you surprised that the Chiefs were in the running for him all the way to the end with their cap space?
Chiefs had Kyle Long in the building. They just signed Tooney. They had Trent Williams in the conversation. The Chiefs, Andy Reid and Veach, they saw an Andrew Luck situation one time. It was in the Super Bowl, and they said, we ain't ever fucking, listen, these two guys been around a long time. We appreciate you. We're not going to be able to afford you. And also, we're going to have to rehaul this whole thing. I like that they're doing that. You put $500 million into a guy, the immediate thought was, okay, let's protect that guy. As opposed to, we put $500 million into a guy, we can't pay anybody else. I like where Andy Reid and Veach are at. Hopefully they do get a great offensive line because that offense is magic to watch. And Kyle Long's going to get paid, I think. Yeah. Congrats to him. Hour 1 wrapping up here on this St. Patrick's Day. We'll be back in the second hour with your phone calls. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. We'll see you in about 6 minutes. This is the Pat McAfee Show. If something happens one time, anomaly. Happens 2 times, it's like, oh, okay, maybe. But whenever there's a trend of 18 plus, 20 plus things being predicted, you got to go like, hey, Groening, the gig's up. We know. You're a time traveler.
Just tell us.
Bro, I just want to talk to you. I got so many questions. Siegfried and Roy tiger attack. Do you remember that?
Of course.
Do you remember back in the day how tight Siegfried and Roy were with their tigers? It was like every main story was like, oh, these tigers are the best behaved animals on earth, blah, blah, blah. Simpsons in 1993 said the tiger is going to turn. This little friendly tiger is going to become an enemy of Siegfried and Roy quickly, and it's going to happen. 2003, it actually happened. Autocorrect errors, 1994. Before you could even play Snake on the gray little box phone, they predicted that autocorrect will happen on your phone. Are you kidding me? Didn't happen until 2007. FaceTime, 1995. Not even a thought. I don't even know if anybody knew what the fuck the internet was.
Oh, that's
that little mark with the A and then the ring around it?
At?
See, that's what I said.
No,
What is internet anyway?
In 1995, they said, don't worry, you'll be carrying around a device where you will be face-to-face with somebody on the opposite side of Earth. 1995, they said that. 2010, it happened. Faulty voter machines. 2008, they predicted it. 2012, it became the
forefront of conversation in a big, big way. I assume these voter machines have been up in question for a long, long time, but they just knew that it was going to come to fruition in 2012.
No, I want to vote for Obama.
2 votes for McCain.
Come on, it's time for a change.
3 votes for McCain.
The God particle. Now, this is the big one. Ty Schmidt did research. He said the God particle is the absolute reason why he is 1,000% a time traveler. Homer Simpson got up there like fucking Matt Damon in that movie where they have that
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, and draws up this equation for what the God particle is, which what is the God particle?
Yeah, it's basically this equation that essentially like explains how the universe was created.
And they did that in 1998, and the exact equation happens in 2012.
That's unheard of.
14 years ahead of time. They got Homer Simpson up there looking like that goddamn janitor from Harvard, solving equations up on a chalkboard. And 14 years later, it's like, yeah, that's actually how the universe was founded. It's like, wait a fucking minute, little comedy writer with a goddamn yellow cartoon, bro. That's insane. The NSA spying scandal. Everybody knew that the Patriot Act was like in existence, but nobody had a clue that NSA literally knows everything about you. Every dick you've sent has been seen by some government agency, but it wasn't always like that. We didn't know that everything was getting spied on, Sean. Nobody knew that.
I didn't know.
They predicted that in 2007, 2013 it happened.
No, Lisa, it's not like the government is listening to everybody's conversation.
Smartwatches. 1995, they said it would happen. 2014, they came to fruition. America's Ebola outbreak. 1997, they said it. 2014. Do you remember when Ebola hit? It was literally
hospitals like shutting down.
Oh, they had people wearing like hazmat suits, carrying people around because they were scared Ebola was possible. In the modern world, this was happening. Years and years and years and years ago, Matt Groening said this is going to happen. The FIFA corruption scandal, 2014, they called it. 2015, it came all crashing down. Everybody knew they were getting their pockets greased, making decisions, sending a World Cup to a goddamn desert. Matt Groening said it's going to happen. It happened. Greece's debt default, 2012, they called it. 2015, it happened. So many countries out there, by the way.
They picked Greece.
The exact country to happen. Trump's presidency, 2000, they called it. 2016, it came to fruition. The Simpsons called this. President Trump out there, and everybody probably looked at, those Simpsons guys are so funny. Bang, 16 years later, it is about to happen. It goes down. Lady Gaga Super Bowl halftime show, 2012, they called it. 2017. I mean, I think we all knew that she was born this way. She would probably get the halftime show at some point, but to the details that they had. These are not coincidences. Coincidenci. I don't know how you pronounce it.
How the fuck do they know this stuff?
It's
got to be time travel.
Matt Groening is a time travel. I have so many fucking questions. Disney's takeover of Fox, 1998. They said it. 2017, it happens. The Shard in London, which is a building behind Big Ben, I guess. Is that right?
Apparently, that's what Google search said.
1995, 2009, it comes to fruition. Robot Librarians, 95, they called it. 2016, it happens. The censorship of Michelangelo's David, 1990, 2016, it happened. Three-eyed fish from the fucking nuclear waste place.
In Japan.
Three-eyed fish comes to fruition in 2001. Matt Groening did it in 1990. 9/11. 9/11. They called that happening. If you do recall planes going into buildings, they said it in 1997, 2001, it happens. The Syrian uprising, everything that's going on in the Middle East has all been talked about on The Simpsons. And then he created another show called Futurama. That is huge. He created another show like, listen, here's me rubbing it in the face that's where I could go if I have to. I have so many questions for Matt Groening, and guess what, Matt Groening? The gig's up. We know. I'm all in on you, Matt. And I'm a fan, by the way, aren't we? We're big fans.
I'm a huge fan.
If you want to travel to future me or current me or past me and say what's up, I think we would all be appreciated.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
How you doing? Hour 2, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Big day around the NFL. Let's start this thing. Welcome back here on SiriusXM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, and YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Over 30,000 people watching right now concurrently. That's not a total viewership. Those normally span between 250,000 live views to 315,000, it seems like. So we appreciate everybody that stops by, that watches, that listens. And today, on the new league year day, also St. Patrick's Day, there is a lot going on around the NFL. In the first hour, we tried to cover it all. We obviously missed it because we have ADD and we had to talk, and by we, I mean me. I had to talk about St. Patrick's Day because you know how much it means to my family, the city where I come from, and my liver, which lost years off of its life.
Oh, yeah.
Strictly because of St. Patrick's Day. So we talked about damn near everything, but it is worth re-mentioning. Russell Wilson was damn near traded to the Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
The Seattle Seahawks were listening to an offer to go to the Chicago Bears. Now, we talked about how Schneider, the general manager of the Seahawks, who's very tight with Pete Carroll, I do believe, met with Pace, who's the general manager of the Chicago Bears, in Fargo, North Dakota, at Trey Lance's pro day. And we talked about how it's interesting that Schneider's in Fargo, North Dakota, because is the GM go to every single pro day, including one in Fargo, North Dakota, where everybody just assumes the only player that's going to make it, even though I guess there's a good offensive line. But why would the GM be going just for an offensive line who's potentially going to make it out of North Dakota? Not saying other guys won't make it, but we're talking about the GM taking time out of his scouting days, taking time away from film negotiating to travel to Fargo, North Dakota. Why is he going there? Well, were they going to look at a quarterback? Was the meeting with Pace set up before then, and they said, we'll just meet here or whatever? Is that how it went? Because Washington, Chicago, maybe it's just a geographical good meeting, so we don't have to do this via Zoom. Maybe that's the case. I just think the fact that a conversation was had about Russell Wilson moving on from Seattle and then not being decided upon until yesterday, I guess, that they were not going to trade him to Chicago, which is why the Chicago Bears signed Andy Dalton, which is why Bears fans are fucking heartbroken, because 24 hours before that, when there was real smoke, real conversation happening, Bears fans were under the belief that Russell Wilson was going to be a Chicago Bear. Then Andy Dalton come waltzing in from Dallas via Cincinnati and says, no, it's me, guys. What a terrible position for Andy Dalton to be in. Okay.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton is no stranger to being in an interesting position, though. I mean, there's been a few of them throughout his career with, the places he's gone. And I'm not saying interesting as a bad thing. I'm just saying I think he would be used to some adversity. This is a massive adversity for the Chicago Bears and Andy Dalton's relationship beginning here. But if Nagy stinks, and if the offense stinks, which was Andy Dalton's offensive coordinator from Cincinnati, I guess that's how this big tie, Lazor, he's the offensive coordinator. If that thing stinks, they're going to get fired anyways, is what they have to think. So I would assume that the Bears were like, we're getting Russell. We went all in for Deshaun. They won't answer our phone calls, which, by the way, stinks for them. The day they sign Andy Dalton, it seems like there's potential chaos erupting down in Houston. It is very interesting motives and what's going on between who and where and how it's being portrayed. So maybe Deshaun Watson is on the trading block now. 3 ones, a third, and 2 starters. I wonder if the Houston Texans were able to answer phone calls a week ago on Deshaun Watson if he would have got traded. So they don't answer calls. They okay, we are turning our attention directly to Russell Wilson then. They have that conversation with Russell Wilson. That doesn't work. The Bears, right before league day starts, a lot of money, a lot of people potentially going off the board. They're like, we got to sign somebody. They sign Andy Dalton, and now Bears fans are like, we got bamboozled. Zito, Andy Dalton's your quarterback in Chicago, okay? The Bears are staring down a potential another bad season. Who knows if they're just going to be able to flip that thing into a winning operation. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about Andy Dalton? And how should Bears fans, really look at this entire situation?
Well, I'm not going to say I love it. I'm not going to say I hate it.
Okay, Zito, that boy, Zito.
Right there in the middle.
Okay. All right.
No matter what, it's a cheap contract, 1 year. We fire everyone if it's a bad year. It's a win-win.
You're thinking we got no big deal. We'll rebuild this thing.
Yeah.
Even if it's bad, we got 1 more year to rebuild. Listen, the blocked field goal that ended that playoff game. The blocked field goal. Okay, double doink, Cody Parkey. Commentators, it was very clear once you saw the video on the internet post game.
His practice video didn't help him out, though.
Yeah, I was never a fan, by the way. I was never a fan of aiming at poles, okay? And by the way, and this is probably why I was never, I never reached my full potential in field goal kicking, probably because that was the case. Everybody's a game small, miss small. I'm like, hey, if it goes in the fucking net, it's a goal in soccer, okay? And if it goes through the uprights, it's a fucking field goal. Yep. What do we... Like it would kiss in or whatever there and like, oh, got your sweat there. I was like, no, I mean, fucking went in it. Hey, that's 3 points. What are we doing? Now, if I was a little bit more dialed in, probably a much different story for my entire life in that whole thing. So when guys started aiming for poles, I understood the like aim small, miss small, don't need a field goal setup, which is tough to find sometimes with a field and everything like that. I'm like, I'd be kicking in between the two poles that are next to each other. Just that's what I would be doing because I'm mentally weak. Those guys are mentally strong enough to do that. But that ball was tipped at the line. It was going through. Robbie Gould was sitting there. He saw it himself. He was in the stadium. Robbie Gould was in there. That thing was going through. But since the blocked kick that led to 2 out of the 3 uprights being hit in heartbreaking fashion, which led to some of the most epic fan rants I have ever heard in my entire life. Poor Cody Parkey having to be on the other end of that. He's a friend of mine. But those were some epic rants. I mean, there were some epic rants there. Terrible, very mean, especially because it was a blocked kick, but absolutely epic rants. Since then, it has been absolute chaos in Chicago. It looks like a franchise that has no idea what the fuck it's doing. They had a young quarterback that was playing great football, number 3 overall QBR. Then he fell completely off the map. He is now cut. He had to go see doctors, I guess, or something was going on because he was broken up there. The Chicago Bears organization is one where will they be able to succeed no matter who? If Russell Wilson comes in there, you think they win next year?
Yes.
Super Bowl?
Playoffs for sure.
See, that's a problem already.
Yeah.
Bears fan base, most loyal one. Well, yes, we'll win. We'll go to the playoffs. It's like, oh, that's where Bears fans are right now. How do they get out of that? Because Bears fans are some of the most entertaining fans on earth. I would like them to have a chance to get a little bit more spotlight. And to do that, you have to have a consistently good squad.
Well, and for the Bears, it's like Zito said, if this doesn't work, Pace and Nagy are gone. So
you would think, who knows?
Maybe, yeah. But if they
said that in the press conference too, that he's completely gone if they have a bad year.
Who said that?
I can't remember if it was.
Who said it, about Dalton or about Pace?
No, Pace and Nagy.
Virginia?
So
they were hanging by a thread this year. I mean, why wouldn't you just get it done and start fresh this year? Draft a quarterback, start all anew.
Well, because if you're going to get fired, if you think you're going to get fired, it's kind of an all-in type thing you have to do. It's almost like what Patriots are doing. Like what the Patriots are doing, you would think they would try to do, and I guess they were. They just didn't have enough ammo to get Russell Wilson. How many picks were they allowed to go into the future, though?
That's what I mean.
To give away if this was potentially the final year of their. All right, we'll give you, how many? You want 15 of them? Sure. 2030 to 2045.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have all of our number ones overall. Go for it, pal. I wonder what all was, because who's the owner? Virginia?
Yeah, Virginia, but George McCaskey's in charge of it.
Yeah, but I wonder, they have to have all those thoughts too, because I would assume they're running the business and they know that it hasn't been fantastic, and the outside perception of what has gone on in there isn't fantastic, which is not good for your business at all. But winning is great for business. I mean, great for business. And if you're not looking at it as strictly a business, I respect that too, but you got to think to yourself okay, our team, something's been going on. Then if you don't look at it as a business and you're just a pro football person and you're just in the game because you love it, even though you're making billions of dollars somehow every single year when nobody else is making money, you would think that they know that this is potentially the last year for Pace and Nagy. The fact that 3 number ones were offered up, I wonder how much they were, because they're probably going to the owner saying, we can give them 4 ones, right? We can give them 5 ones if we want, right? Can we do that? How did it end up with 3 ones, I wonder? What do you have, Nick?
Think about it. they go, we know it's they're that mindset of all in last year. You go and take a swing like that. You try and get Russell Wilson. You offer up, but you go to the owner and then you miss. You swing and you miss, and you come back with Andy Dalton is your best back. How at that point do you at the owner not go, oh, well, these guys are done already?
Well, that's an interesting question, because the fact that it was Russell Wilson, or, by the way, very disrespectful to Andy Dalton, what you just did.
Come on.
Very,
we watched him play last year.
Oh, I watched him play his backyard. You remember those nuts?
Oh, slinging
well, he's ripping nets. Ripping nets. Zito showed me that video this morning. He's like, huh? People forget.
Remember?
People forget. It's like, well, there was football played in between there that was on a field, but he was in a situation that was not great. But I wonder if they asked, like, can we get 4 once? Like, how many years was the owner allowing that? They were potentially not going to be there, by the way. These two are not potentially going to be there. Then we're going to have maybe 3 more years with no number ones. Like, I wonder how that conversation. What do you have, Z?
So basically, the beginning of the year, like a couple weeks ago, whatever, they basically said that they handled nothing with football at all. So it's all in Pace and Nagy's hands. Everything.
I did some digging to see if they said, like, hey, this is their last year, but they just didn't re-up their contract. Both of their contracts are done after this season.
Yeah. So big prove it year, we like to call it.
Yeah, but I'm talking for like the. We do like to call it. Well said. Well said. We do like to call it that, don't we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're big in calling it that. It's interesting though, because how many years were you going to give them? Like, if you bring in Russell Wilson and they don't succeed, do you not think to yourself, we can get a coaching staff that can succeed with Russell Wilson?
Yes.
Maybe you bring in Shoddy, who was just fired as the offense coordinator, who may be pissed off. Like, how do you, and then, okay, whenever we hire that person, we're also going to have 3 first-rounders gone for the next, like, you know what I mean? Like, how did that's an interesting, hey, that's why we don't own the team. Huh?
That's right.
That's a decision that has to get made way higher than anywhere I will ever sit, and that's good news.
Do you think it's safe to assume that Khalil Mack was not one of the 2 starters?
Well, everybody was saying Khalil Mack was
right because wasn't of the salary offset.
Wasn't the smoke that led to the fire was they're thinking about trading Khalil Mack to Seattle, and everybody's like, well, why would you do? Well, you're bringing in Russell to be good. Why would you just automatically eliminate a game changer on the defensive side? And they're like, well, salaries, they have to do this because they're still over, I guess.
Yeah.
Even with signing Dalton, you sign Russell Wilson, the salary cap gymnastics that they would have had to pull off today would have been, I mean, probably that lady with the broken ankle that did the fucking double McTwist and landed.
Gymnastics?
Yeah. What was that?
Carrie Strug.
Oh, Carrie, yeah.
What's her name?
Carrie Strug.
Yeah, she had that broken ankle and she's running down there.
Yep.
Sticks it.
Yep.
One-legged or whatever. No way in hell, by the way. No way in hell. That is something. How many humans could do that? I wonder, with a broken ankle, like in the history. I want to, like, you know, we learned about that 8'11" guy yesterday.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming he could do some good stuff. I don't think he could hit that. Boom, pow.
Byron Leftwich, maybe.
Bet Belichick could get it done.
Byron Leftwich. Brian, is that because you're thinking of him getting carried down the field or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
There's some football moments where people, you know, there's like, oh, that guy, his shoulder is dislocated. Well, we need a dive right here. Okay, well, just pull, just get it. It's not going back in. Well, lead with your left arm. There's some moments like that. I don't know if the salary cap gymnastics that the Bears would have had to pull off with getting Russell Wilson in there, even though they're already over right now, it would have had to been on par with that double McTwist broken leg thing land. And maybe even Kurt Angle winning an Olympic gold medal with a broken fucking neck.
They need Tanya Harding and the crew for that one.
I watched that doc. What was
good.
it? Yeah.
Hi, Tanya.
Was it a doc?
It
was a movie.
That was that. That's what I watched.
Yeah.
They set it up like it was a doc, but it was actors. That was an awesome movie.
Yeah,
Real
good
good
stuff.
I did not know that it was
When that
story.
story
Hey,
popped off in '94, it was electric.
bro, I wish social media was around then. Oh, the outrage!
Yeah, Jeff Galooly.
They were bad people.
Uh-huh.
Hey, that was happening on a grand scale. People were like, people made a mental decision like, yeah, nobody will even know what's going on.
Who cares?
We'll be able to get away with this for sure. We should definitely do this. We should just completely ruin this person's life. Yeah, absolutely.
Why not?
Those humans, those are tough humans. They exist.
Oh, yeah.
They exist.
Well, some say it was
Win
the
at all
mother's
costs.
fault.
Olympics is a dirty game.
Mom was tough.
She was a weapon.
Yeah, let's go to John in Denver. What's going on, John?
What's up, Pat and the boys? Happy St. Patty's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day to you as well, John. I hope things are fine in Denver. What do you want to talk about?
I had a couple questions.
Here we go.
First thing was, when are you going to make it out to Butte, Montana with Colt Anderson to get a St. Patty's Day in there?
Oh, I heard about this.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of Irish out there, I guess.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Montanimal has told me, Colt Anderson, the Montanimal from Butte, Montana, I believe it's the same hometown as Evel Knievel, by the way.
Yep.
And the guy that killed Osama.
Mikuya, Rob
Yeah,
O'Neill.
Mikuya, that Butte, Montana, I guess, is a pretty great group. Yeah, Colt did tell me that St. Patrick's Day there, which, by the way, I would believe it if that's where the Montanimal, Colt Anderson, Evel Knievel, and Mikuya come from. I would assume that St. Patrick's Day is awesome, so I guess I should slow my roll on deeming Pittsburgh the greatest St. Patrick's Day place of all time until I go out there. We have to make that happen. That is something we will do as a show. He used to tell me story. I guess it is. It's very similar to Pittsburgh from what I've been told.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the entire state, though, just kind of.
One area.
Yeah, instead of a city, it's the state.
Which makes the city.
You see?
There it is.
Montana.
Yeah.
Is that their tagline?
I think so.
That's St. Patrick's Day. What do you want to talk about, John?
And then another thing was, what are the odds we can get Foxy sent out to Ohio for a few days, make a little 30 for 30 documentary on Coach Hawk coaching some track?
Listen, I don't know if it'll be Foxy, but that is something we should definitely try to find somebody to do. I FaceTimed with him one time, or he sent me a picture. I forget what it was, but I saw his Zoom call.
Oh, man.
I saw the Zoom call that he was sitting in, okay? I forget. I think he sent me a picture, and he said, look at this. And this was, I looked at the Zoom call, and I guess there's people that are living in Zoom right now. Like people's entire days are spent in these Zoom calls. I had no idea. It said that there was like 100-some people, and I think it was all the track coaches from the entire area that they're running against were in there. And the person I saw was a very, very old white. In the way they were speaking to the group, I would assume it was like, here's the rules, here's how all this thing goes. I don't think AJ has any clue what the fuck he signed up for.
Sitting there with a cigar in the Zoom.
Yeah, it probably at the track. Like, how's he going to get through an entire track meet with, 4,000 kids with no cigar? That ain't going to happen.
I mean, they'll lift the no smoking ban for him, maybe.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, JJ.
Right.
Let's go to some phones. Let's go to Tyler in Seattle. What's going on, Tyler?
Pat, boys, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Dude, it is. It is the Thanksgiving of drinking. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, what do you want to talk about, pal? He's had one here.
Hey, man, well, as a season ticket holder of the Seattle Seahawks, I got a call. I got to thank you because I do think you talk well about the Seahawks. All the people that tweet you and say you don't, they're stooges.
Thank you.
So, aside from that, Russell Wilson, big conversation, obviously. Looking back on your shows, I can't find the show where you talk about players that go over the salary. They take a percentage over the salary cap, and once they do that, it's a Super Bowl. It's pretty much gone. Now, I think Tom Brady this year, that's what it is. I think Tom Brady this year actually finally did that, right? So
he upped it.
So here we are. We got Russell Wilson who, laying in bed with old Sierra and says, we got a deal, right? Okay, that's great. You got a deal. Go get your money. I'm all about it, just like you.
Hey, do what you got to do.
But aren't we in this to win a Super Bowl at the end of the day? I mean, that's why I go to the games. I love the Seahawks. I want to someday be able to go as a fan. On February 2nd, 2014, I wasn't there, but it was a great day.
Missed it.
And that Super Bowl was won by the defense.
Legion of Boom.
Legion of Boom. Yeah, the MVP.
Yeah.
Let's not forget it. Malcolm Smith.
People forget.
A dog.
That's right.
Hey, he was. Absolutely, Gumpy. I know you watched it from up in the Northwest.
Yeah,
so
north left up there. You saw it front row.
Ken Chancellor, all the boys.
Come on, Legion
Absolutely.
of Boom. That was a great name,
Thank you. Yeah. Hey, Pete Carroll built that team.
This is what we were waiting.
Pete and Schneider.
Oh, okay.
Guess what? Russell, I respect you, buddy. I respect you, Russ. Hey, buddy, you're holding the team handcuffed right now.
Hostage, some would say.
Tyler. Is that all Seahawks fans?
Feels like
Is that how they feel?
I was
I'll tell you what.
born in it.
In the next hour, we're going to break down a training video from Russell Wilson.
Ooh.
And if you're a Seahawks fan that doesn't want that guy on your team, you're wrong.
Fool.
31 other teams saw this video and thought to themselves, we're in trouble, boys.
Oh, shit.
Russell Wilson's back with a vengeance with the Seattle Seahawks. We'll break down the third hour alongside AJ Hawk because he wanted to. He actually requested that.
Yeah, he did.
Please.
He requested that we do that. Let's get to a break, shall we? On the other side, we got Trent Dilfer, maybe.
Let's
who
go.
knows?
Yeah.
Dilfer's dimes?
You know, Dilfer, the last time, he was on a plane whenever he was scheduled to be on our show.
Whoa, recruiting?
Probably.
Yeah.
For that high school.
Yeah.
Probably on a plane recruiting for that high school.
That's right.
Would high school?
Nah,
I would assume there's some, huh?
High school's recruiting.
A little, well, yeah, but I don't know if he's
Out of
flying
state?
somewhere
Not on
recruiting.
plane.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, that'll be our first question. That's where we'll start the conversation. I have no idea where it'll head to. And that's kind of how the convos go. Trent Dilfer is a man who, when he was on TV and I didn't know him, you know, I was like, okay, would be cool if I never met that guy because he just buried kickers all the time. Then no! Brinks Week continues here. March 17th, 2021. Ian Rappaport is reporting the Arizona Cardinals are working on a deal to sign former Bengals wide receiver A.J. Green. So now they have Nuke, Kyler, and A.J. Green on that offense. In the backfield, they have a great running back.
Kenyon Drake.
He's a free agent.
Chase Edmonds.
Chase Edmonds, yeah, there it is. And that offense that was very dynamic and very explosive at times last year. We talked to Budda Baker, who is a stud on their defense. We talked to Kyler Murray since the season ended. And basically they both said, like, we just got to concentrate on, like, the day-to-day, like, little things every single day, dialing it in every single day. Because when they were playing consistently good, it was unbelievable. But then that consistency started to wear off, and there'd be some bad games, there'd be some bad plays. Then every once in a while, you'd see their potential. Then they would lose the game because a bad play would happen all of a sudden. If that team with J.J. Watt now bringing in some, I don't want to say veteran leadership because they already got Chandler Jones over there, and Budda Baker, I think, is going to be an incredible leader for them. They add another weapon to that offense, and if Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury can continue to learn the NFL together, Cliff Kingsbury, I know he was in the NFL, he was a great offensive mind, but I think everybody would automatically assume from watching film the first year that maybe the offense wasn't exactly ready for everything that the NFL had. They're changing that over the last year or two. I assume it's going to change a little bit more. Kyler's going to get better. That team could be fucking really good all of a sudden. I don't know if they're in Super Bowl conversations, okay? I'm not sure anybody's going to have him in there, but I like that they're going for it out there in the
Does this mean Larry is retiring?
Oh, fuck. I forgot about Larry Fitzgerald. No, I don't think so, right?
He's a free agent.
Yeah, but his deal is like if he wants to come back.
1 year every year.
10 million. I'm still in the same exact shape I was in 10 years ago somehow. Larry Fitzgerald is always in shape. How does that happen? He loves golf, that guy.
Yeah.
Lives golf.
For it.
Loves golf.
And taking pictures, I think, right?
Well,
isn't that what his degree was at Phoenix
really?
EDU or wherever he went?
University of Phoenix.
That's awesome.
I will respect.
Please, I'll probably be a doctorate from there.
But that's what it was, right?
Yeah,
Photography?
we don't need you burying this
I'm
thing.
not. What are you talking about? You went to Pittsburgh, too. You just finished it.
Do you know anything about the rule of thirds? Huh?
Yes, I do, actually.
Yeah, do you?
But
you ever take a photo class?
Listen.
You know how miserable that class is? We had one of the best teachers of all time in high school in our photo class. What was his name? Mr.
Schlager.
Schwager?
Maybe, I don't know.
What was his name?
Bob Lee Schwager?
He was a real big hippie.
He was a massive hippie.
Definitely him.
Legend.
Curly hair. Had a Volkswagen van.
Ooh.
That he parked. Love that man. His class was the fucking worst. You had to go into that thing, the room, the dark room.
Oh, yeah.
Put it in the water, do the whole thing, and if you mess it up, it comes out this. It was a lot of work. That degree, I'm sure Larry Fitzgerald would say he's more proud of than his NFL career.
That's right.
More power to him. I'm glad he got it.
But you're just saying.
No, I just know that he loves doing that as well as the golf. He's always got the digital camera with him as well.
This is the Pat McAfee Show. Trent Dilfer might be on the other side. We'll see you then. Hopefully our show will be better as well. 4 minutes or so. See ya. got to experience so many things, both as a businessman off the field and on the field. Is there a moment when I ask this question that pops your mind, like, what's the craziest shit you've ever seen in your entire life? Because there was a time there where it felt like you were just getting dropped into insane situations and the world was like watching you do things. Man vs. Wild, you and that Bear Grylls guy, fucking electric. That was maybe the most electric shit I've ever seen. Is there anything that you think of whenever you think, like, what's the most ridiculous thing you've been a part of?
Probably some of the most ridiculous shit I ever been a part of was, you know, I had got the restaurant which I'm in right now, and you know, when we first got it, I would come in here and I would, you know, clean up and go outside in the front, sweep up, you know, make sure everything looked nice and shit. And one morning I got up here and I noticed, you know, like, damn, this is a funky ass smell. And I looked, you know what I mean, to the side of my front door, and it's a big ass pile of shit. And I'm talking about human shit.
Yeah,
and it's right on the side of the door. So I was like, somebody done came and popped the shit right in front of the door. Like, oh, this shit is crazy. Like, I can't be in here serving food. Motherfucker come walk in and they smelling straight ass cheeks when they come in there. Like, I don't think that's the restaurant I need to eat in. So, man, I get the water hose and I'm hosing it down. And, you know, I see, you know, we got a couple, you know, dolphins that usually walk back up in front. Hey, man, did you do this? Like, oh, no. So, you know, one of them owned up to it. I said, look, man, check it out. So you don't do this no more. Look, you come by here, we get you a, you know what I mean, we get you a broom and, you know, you help us, we help you. You feel me? And, you know, we put together a little, I put a proposition together for him, and I ain't cleaning up shit no more.
It's a win-win. It's a win for everybody on that one. Hey, one of your former teammates. Yeah, hey, everybody wins. You're helping the people, man. That's awesome. That's why people love you. But hey,
one of them owned up to it. Just a line of questioning. The line of questioning.
His name was Willie owned up to. Matter of fact, he just left out. He saying sweeping up. He like, hey, what's up? Oh boy, I've been looking for you. You feel? Okay. Yeah, we bust down together up in the front of the restaurant to get it all cleaned up and everything.
Hey, you're helping people. Hey, Willie went from shitting outside to working inside. Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go, Willie. Let's go.
Give it up for my boy Willie, man.
Every day is game day for these guys. It's showtime on the Pat McAfee Show.
Welcome back. This is that show here on St. Patrick's Day 2021 years after zero. Big time back then, big time right now. The NFL league year begins today. There are moves being made, people being paid, people being cut still, salary cap gymnastics. Joining us is a man who's the head coach of a team in Nashville, Tennessee, in which I wear their merch literally every weekend. They sent us, they got Jordan merch, by the way.
What?
Yeah, they got Jordan.
Nice.
And I believe they won a lot of games. I'm not sure if they won them all, so I don't want to declare him something he's not. Formerly of ESPN and obviously Super Bowl champion in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen, Trent Dilfer.
What's up, guys? Hey, sorry about the other day.
Yeah, you buried our show, Trent. Buried the show. No worries.
I had to take a last-second free agent trip when I saw this backup money being thrown around. I had to jump on a plane and go negotiate.
Hey, I still got it. I'm coaching now, too. I got a different view on this whole thing. I can still sling it. How do you now, that led to a question that I'm not saying you have to tell us where you're going, but is Lipscomb Academy a place where you do recruit? Do you recruit people to go to Lipscomb Academy?
Nah, we can't recruit. We try to make our place really attractive, and a lot of people around Middle Tennessee are curious about the education and the football opportunities, but we can't go recruit.
But when they get there, you can make them say, look, huh?
Yeah, when they get on campus and they are looking for a place to go to high school, we try to make it really attractive for them to come to our place.
Hey, you ever heard of this guy? He kicked in the NFL for 45 years. He's one of the he's one of the coaches. He's got super. We got a pretty good little squad here. I know you're probably going to go to some other places. Just know that when you walk out of this building, you're probably not going to see another one that's better. That's good for you. I'm happy you got in the coaching game. You said that it was your calling. Can we talk about your Super Bowl championship run you had as a quarterback right now with free agency beginning? Did you ever experience free agency? Did you? What was your business dealings like throughout your career?
Not as glamorous as going on right now. I was a free agent after 99 in Tampa, ended up signing with Baltimore. Again, a free agent after that season, signed with Seattle. But not like these guys are going through it. It's an incredible experience. I'm glad for the players. I think what it's done to reward them with generational type wealth if they play well is an awesome opportunity for athletes. I think it allows teams to get back in the mix pretty quick. You know, if you have some cap room, I look at the Jacksonville Jaguars who, haven't played real well the last couple of years under new leadership, and they're able to go spend some money. They have a lot of cap freedom. They can go get good players and also have a lot of draft capital. So I think you can turn your organization around rather quickly because of free agency if you partner it well with your draft capital.
How about Bill Belichick doing what he's doing, man? They're saying he's not done either. That team went from very average last year to potentially every skill position is new. And the old adage is you can't win games in March. I think Bill Belichick won some games here. I think he won some games this week.
Yeah, you definitely set yourself up to win some games in March. I too agree that it's been out of character for the Patriots and Bill, but I love what he's done. He's recognized what life after Brady looks like, and they got to spend some money. I like what they do with the tight ends. It's having two tight ends that are versatile like they have now gives your offense a lot of flexibility in the run game, play action game, passing game. We know that Cam is limited at this time of his career. But being able to play with big people on the field, I think, can enhance his skill set. They obviously haven't drafted receivers very well, so getting them in free agency helps as well. I really like what they've done. And then they're obviously getting the pass rusher and things on the defensive ball can make them even a more dynamic defense.
Okay, they have you talked about that double tight end set, and I agree with all the moves they made. I feel. Now, I'm somebody who is, very much prisoner of the moment, though. So, if you win right now, I'm like, yeah, we got better. I'm like, hey, we did it, So I very much believe that you can get better quickly. Everybody that was talking anything negative about the Patriots, they were just like, well, they still got Cam Newton at quarterback because they watched a lot of Cam Newton football last year. Cam Newton at quarterback last year, there was moments where he looked unbelievable. Then there were some throws where people think, it doesn't matter if they got 5 tight ends that are good. He's not going to be able. How do you view Cam Newton and how big is him being in that offense for a second year and now actually having some weapons? Do you think you're going to see a big jump out of Cam, or do you think they maybe get another quarterback?
I think the answer can be both. I do think they'll get a lot out of Cam now. They'll make the offense much more quarterback friendly, more Cam friendly. I think he did add an element with the quarterback driven run game, the misdirection game. They did some pretty cool things offensively. They weren't consistent at it, and that's really the key. You have to be consistent, but they showed flashes. I do think Cam is taking this offseason very serious, wants to get back to his days when he was healthy, when he's a little more fluid as a passer. And I think you can generate some freebies offensively when you're in 12 personnel. That's the 2 tight ends, especially when they're versatile. I think they'll be able to throw the ball down, run the ball, play action. I think it's that simple. But I think the both comes in that this is a pretty deep quarterback draft. And I could see them targeting one of these young bucks and getting them ready to play really quick. So I really believe the answer for the Patriots is both. Is you get Cam to come in, play better, support him better, play 3-phase football, which, your quarterback doesn't have to go win you the Super Bowl. You can play 3-phase football and be very successful and then draft the guy of the future.
Whenever you don't have a guy, you said that Bill Belichick is realizing what life is like in the post-Tom Brady era or whatever, and they had more money now, it seems like, than they've ever had because of the opt-outs and everything like that. But if you're on a team and you lose your guy, I mean, that can be quite a gut punch to everything. The Seattle Seahawks, I guess, were pretty close, like very close, to trading Russell Wilson to Chicago for, now Dan Patrick's reporting, and I would assume if Dan Patrick's reporting it, it is good because Dan Patrick's OG, but in this entire world, there's 3 first-rounders, a third, and 2 starters were allegedly going over there. That is insane if that's what's happening, but the fact that Seattle was really thinking about it, I think that's a big story as well. Don't you think, Trent?
I do, and I think quarterback in the NFL, it's more than just playing the position. I mean, you also are the brand. You're the face of the organization. You're the biggest part of the organization, like a Russell Wilson. And you at times you're bigger than the organization if you're that type of superstar. So you can't take the gut punch of losing your headliner. Not just for what he does on the field, again, not just what he does in the locker room, but what he does for your city, what he does for your fan base. And you have to remake yourself when you lose a franchise guy. Let's not forget this too. The quarterbacks are co-offensive coordinators. So a lot of what you become offensively is because of who your guy is. So if the Packers lost Aaron Rodgers, it's not like the next guy can jump in and do Aaron Rodgers things. The offense is built around him. He has a say in how it's built. Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady when he left the Patriots. Anybody that said that they're going to get another quarterback to come into New England and run that system was crazy. Tom Brady was the system.
And to your point, Trent, to your point, Tom in Tampa, that offense changed through the year, to your point.
Dramatically over the bye week. You know, you look at them pre-bye week last year in Tampa and post-bye week. And now we know that Tom actually, he sat back and was real quiet up until the bye week, kind of let everybody do their thing. And then the bye week happened and he spoke up. And then after he spoke up, they changed. And after they won the Super Bowl, their head coach says it took one man. That one man was Tom Brady, and he exercised his authority to become the co-offensive coordinator and say, this is who we're going to become. So that's what all these great quarterbacks are doing. So you lose a great quarterback, and you're really blowing up what you are offensively and having to remake it.
So, like, for instance, the Houston Texans, and it's obviously a firestorm around there right now because of literal he said, she said allegations that are potentially manipulative in this. I don't know if it happened. I hope justice is served, but the timing seems weird. But anyways, Deshaun might be out of Houston. Okay, this seems like the perfect time to move on from Deshaun, though, right? If you were, because new coach, new GM. Now, granted, you don't have a lot of picks because you have already given those away for other things in the past. But it feels like Coach Dave down there, David Culley, he's like, would like a new start with whatever they can do and whoever's in their building. Do you think they move on from Deshaun? Or do you think the Texans have all the power here to make him either hold out or be a Texan? Because they just signed Tyrod Taylor down there.
Yeah, I think it's gotten so toxic now there's no other option but to break. Yeah. I think both sides. I think Deshaun's made it very clear he's not coming back. He's been steadfast in that. I think if you're the Texans, you should probably listen to that. I think Deshaun sees what's going on with the changes in the organization, the lack of draft capital. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. I think it's probably best for both sides that they split, and they need to get a lot for Deshaun. I mean, they need to get back into this game and start rebuilding. So Tyrod Taylor can hold down the ship. What do you get? $11 million?
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Just without playing last year. So he's a great team guy. I'll say this about Tyrod. Everybody that's played with him raves about the type of leader he is, type of person he is. So you're going to kind of create some momentum with your young guys, how to become pros. You know how that works. And but let's not think the Houston Texans are going to be competitive without Deshaun Watson for a couple years. They're truly in a 2 to 3 year rebuilding mode.
Do you think that they were actually not answering calls? Because now that it's alleged that the Bears were going to give what we literally just talked about at length, because that would mean the Seattle Seahawks would be rebuilding basically. So they would have to get 3 picks, a third, and 2 starters. Do you think the Bears would have made that same offer to the Houston Texans for Deshaun Watson? And at the time, the Texans were like, we're not answering calls. Maybe they missed a massive offer for him. Is there any thought of that? Or do you think the market is still going to be a place that's going to try to come get Deshaun?
I think people will still try to come get Deshaun. And it'll probably be some similar type deal that is being reported by Dan Patrick that the Bears offered the Seahawks. I think you can't. Let's just use Miami as an example, because I know his name's being floated around there. I'm a big Tua fan. We've had that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I think give him 2, 3, 4 years, he's going to be a great player. But you'd be crazy not to get to Deshaun if you can get him right now. I think if you don't have a quarterback named Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes, Wilson, there's probably a couple others I'm missing, then you need to be in the Deshaun Watson game. I think he can immediately make you a Super Bowl contending team. So I do think teams are going to go after him that way. Now, the Texans receiving phone calls, and this is cyber warfare time. You know that as well as anything. I mean, you guys are talking about free agency every day in the draft. I mean, this is cyber warfare. You have 35 people in an NFL building spreading misinformation every single day.
Every day, Trent. Every day.
So and you got to kind of dig through it and, go down the rabbit hole of where this come from, who's reporting it, what's their credibility, what's the relational equity with that organization, blah, 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 blah.
Narrative, why would this information be released? Who wants this for leverage purposes? There is so much. By the way, we're kind of going through this now at the highest level we've ever gone through it and realize it with this daily show. Oh my God. There are some things where if you were to just clip us talking about what was being reported at the time to what inevitably happens shortly afterwards, it's like there is so much bullshit out there. Right? I mean, it is. But everybody has a reason. I don't think it's the insider's fault. I think they're getting actual information. But why are they getting that information? What information is being held back from that? It's just very interesting.
One of their producers and their executives are telling them to go with the information they're getting, even when those insiders know that they're being played. I mean, you guys are huge right now. I mean, everybody in the world's watching your show, as they should. So you guys are a prime target for disinformation. And you have a big voice. You have credibility in the NFL. The people you have on have credibility in the NFL.
Guys,
so everybody's going to target your show to spread their misinformation. I mean, that's just how this game works.
Oh, so he is. So Trent, you just said like, hey, listen, young buck. Here, let me hear. You are being targeted. They are targeting you right now with things that they think somebody in this room will go, hey,
whoa,
hey, let's talk about this going on. That's something we have to think about, Coach. I didn't even think about it. Jeez.
Being used.
It's
mind
St.
blown.
Patrick's Day. Come on. It's unbelievable, Trent. Unbelievable. Ty, you've been bamboozled a couple times, I assume. What would you like to ask?
Trent, speaking of toxic situations, with the whole Russell Wilson deal, whether it comes from him or his team, if he's not leaving, how do him and Pete Carroll continue to work together? Because it seems like that, as time has gone on, that's almost reached like the Sean level toxicity.
I think, I have an interesting take on this. I don't know if I'm correct here. I have a lot of respect for Pete and Russell. I know them both well and think the world of them. I think if Pete just lets Russell cook, I think it's that simple. He'll be happy. I think this whole thing came about because mid-season they made a direct U-turn on how they were playing offensive football. We were talking first 4, 5, 6 weeks of the season, Russell MVP lock. Like, look at this guy. Look at this offense. It's open. It's going crazy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Pete's like, wait a second, my defense isn't playing very well. We're putting the defense in a bad position. I'm a defensive guy. We're not running the ball enough. We're having too many negative plays. Let's slow this thing down. Let's not let Russell cook so much. And I think that was really what happened here. I think as they come back in the offseason, they start having more conversations about the direction they're going offensively under new leadership. As long as Russell feels like he can have the keys of the car and he can control the game with the ball in his hand, I think he's going to be fine. I think head coach, quarterback relationships are one of the most overblown things in all football. I don't know many quarterbacks that have great relationships with their head coaches. I think there's always an ego thing there. You have the two most important people in the organization butting heads. There should be natural friction. I almost get uncomfortable when the head coach and the quarterback are too buddy-buddy. There needs to be a little discomfort there between the two of them.
Let's go, Trent. I've never heard this before. This is awesome. And this is not you saying like, I'm still working through this opinion. This feels like something you thoroughly believe as a man who was a quarterback in the NFL for a long time, has a lot of best friends that are quarterbacks in the NFL for a long time, know the quarterback game very well inside and out. You're saying it's weird to me whenever a head coach and a quarterback get along well. It seems like maybe one person doesn't have the alpha personality then, if that's the case, that you need to have and be successful at these positions. That's what you're kind of alluding to?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I'm not alluding to it. I think now there just has to be a super healthy respect. Don't confuse liking each other without respecting each other. I think there has to be a deep, deep, deep respect. And I do think the quarterback ultimately has to be compliant to the head coach's final words on things. But you said it. I mean, I don't want a non-alpha as my head coach, and I don't want a non-alpha as my quarterback. And usually get those two alphas in a decision-making capacity together. They both are the two highest paid people in the organization. They're two of the most powerful people in the organization. There should be some healthy conflict there. Without conflict, there's no growth. I had one of my favorite coaches of all time teach me that at a young age. You need healthy conflict. You need people to be uncomfortable. You need that friction in organization to be successful. If it's all farts and giggles, you ain't winning any games.
That's right. Yeah, I think you're 100% right there, because I talked about that whenever Tom and Bill, where there was interviews coming out and statements coming out, and my entire take was like, for 20 years, these dudes who are best in the game, these two were somehow figured out a way to make it work. I don't know how you're able to do it. Just like Aaron Rodgers, Mike McCarthy, even there. Yeah. People are always like, well, that was Aaron Rodgers' fault. It's like, that is just, you got two people, because in high school, for instance, you're coaching high school, okay? In high school football, and this is just me observing football world. I didn't really get into it until high school, kind of, then college and the NFL. I didn't really go to practice, but when you're watching and you see things unfold, high school, college, it's like, okay, the coach is smarter than every player. Okay, so his answer is like, he's been there, he's done that. This is the right answer. And that answer, by the way, is shaping people's opinions on what football is and what it isn't. By the time you get in the NFL, especially if you're a quarterback and a good one, and you're like year 8, 9, maybe even 7 earlier than that, you know football pretty fucking good too. So it's like, hey, you got some thoughts? Okay, I do as well. Like, let's go ahead and potentially share these. And I think that is something that doesn't get talked about a lot. And it comes into conversation whenever Pete Carroll says he had a philosophical difference than what that was the statement that was used or whatever. And I was like, oh, that seems like that is something that's going to be very interesting. I think they could potentially put their egos aside, hopefully, but it feels like he was very close to becoming a Bear, and now they got Dalton. Sucks for Dalton because he just walked into a firestorm in Chicago, but he'll win him over with his play. What do you have, Connor?
Yeah, Trent, just sticking with the whole conflict between head coach and quarterback, do you think that's why John Gruden traded the entire offensive line of the Raiders just to, get back at Derek Carr? And how is that situation going to work out?
I don't know what that's all about. I'm guessing it's more scheme related, that the fit of the offensive linemen aren't what John wants to become offensively. That's my only guess. I'm really pulling from right field here. It didn't make a ton of sense to me. I actually think that the Gruden-Carr relationship is probably about right, as it should be. I think there's a health of respect. I think John's been he preys on Derek when he's needed it. I think Derek's respected John's rebuild of this program, but I doubt they're going out and going to dinner 3 times a week. I mean, there's gonna be that conflict. I think this time of year especially, because quarterbacks sit back and they're watching what their teams are doing. And I've said this before, it's the most dependent position in football. You're dependent on so many people to be good at what you do. And when you're watching an organization make moves that you don't necessarily agree are, you're like, oh man, they're making my job harder. Then you sit back, you're like, well, when I get back in that building, I'm going to make sure they know that what you did in free agency made my job harder instead of easier. And I'm looking for I want to be successful at what I do. And it's your job as an organization, head coach, GM, to make my job easier to do.
The way this whole thing started in Seattle, Team 3 actually put that message out instead of Russell Wilson saying like, hey, you guys are not making his job easier. Team 3, who we got good video of, I think in his latest training video, they came out, the cardio, the body guru, the chef, the nutritionist, the Team 3, the barber, I assume he always has great hair and his hair always looks good. But Team 3 came out and they said they're not happy with what the Seahawks are doing. It wasn't Russell. Russell. It was team 3. And that is something I think that happens in a lot of places. And there's only a few quarterbacks that get judged harshly for those potential thoughts even occurring, not even publicly. Like Aaron Rodgers gets accused of hating the head coach, not being a part of the conversation, this, and this. And it's like, that all kind of paints a narrative that I think happens everywhere. It's just picking and choosing who we want to know about and who we don't want to know about. Diggs, what do you have?
Coach, say that a quarterback started his career great, and then he's fell off the last couple years, and then a team traded for him to bring him back to with his offensive coordinator that he's great with in Indianapolis. Can Carson Wentz be good again?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Dalton.
I do like the Dalton to Chicago move, but on Carson Wentz, I absolutely think that I think it's the best move of the offseason so far. I think Carson
Trent, he was broken, was he not? He's going to get back, you think?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good news.
So much of this position is the mental game. Physically, Carson has every single thing you could ever want a quarterback to have. I think mentally he just got broken down. I think, and again, I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I think there's true rehabilitation that can happen in the NFL around the right type of people. I think the Colts have those type of people. I think they know exactly who Carson is. I think they know exactly how it went sideways. And I think an off season to be able to address some of those things. Now, Carson's got to own it. He can't be defensive. He can't say it was everybody else's fault. He's got to take a look at the man in the mirror and be like, okay, I have a lot of culpability in how in the mirror. Woo! The great song. Yeah.
Great song. What you got to do?
I think he needs to recognize that. But I think that, one thing the Colts do better than most teams in the NFL is they really, truly have a family feel and a transparency between front office, coaching staff, and player. Players feel like they can go upstairs and have real conversations with their coaches and with their front office. I think that the Colts as an organization actually cares about the player first and not just the product on the field. And I'll let you talk more about this, but I think Frank's developed a culture there second to none in the NFL as it comes to that. And I think that's going to be good for Carson to be able to come in and feel that love and feel that openness and be able to have real conversations why he tanked so bad the last couple of years and what's going to take to get back to his MVP type play.
It's great to hear that because, as a big Colts fan, obviously, because of a lot of things you just said there, if he could go back and play great, that'd be fantastic. But he seemed broken. But whenever I asked, Chris Ballard about it, like directly, Chris Ballard, I was never a player for Chris Ballard. Chris Ballard was actually sent me a text after I retired and sent me this long text about how bummed he was that I was never going to be a member of his team because I retired, blah, 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 this whole thing. He is very transparent. He'll sit down and do a press conference. He's there for an hour and a half, no notes. He's just answering questions. I feel like there is a real trust in that building. That's that culture. Now, he's sitting on a lot of money right now, okay? But he has to pay a lot of his own guys, and he's remembering that, and that's how you build that culture. I got faith in Chris Ballard. I hope Carson Wentz does great. You know who does great? You blew us off last time, but, man, you were awesome on this show today, Trent. You were really great today. We appreciate that.
I really apologize for that.
No, we don't want to hear it.
I love coming on the show, man.
We don't want to hear it. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Trent Dilfer. Thank you, Trent. Woo! He's really good.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
He's really, really good.
Yes, he is.
You do wonder if they won the whole thing out there in Tennessee.
Yeah, we didn't get the answer, so I'm assuming no.
Yeah, because he probably would have had the ring on.
Yeah, that would have came.
Yeah.
Oh, how you guys doing today? I was wondering. They'll win one down there if I know anything about Lipscomb Academy.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Big thanks to Trent Dilfer. He just said a lot right there. Speaking of saying a lot, we got another hour to say some shit about what's going on in the world. Yeah. Here on SiriusXM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, YouTube.com. AJ Hawk will be joining us on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show, St. Patty's Day.
Hello and welcome to Office Championship Wrestling live in Indianapolis, Indiana. Tonight, we have a straight-to-hell match in which the Devil will battle against our office wrestler, Dylan Boston. You might be wondering how we got here. Let's find out right now.
And now, we have to make a deal with the devil.
Yeah, no big deal. Classic trial by combat situation. We got our champion, Dylan Bostic. All he's got to do, win the match, 1, 2, 3, and we're home safe.
The only man that would take the job to protect us from the devil himself, Dylan Boston.
Like you mentioned, Pat, there's probably about 5 or 6 other guys we'd rather have in this position, but we'll take Bostic, I guess.
Not only are all of our souls on the line, the Office Championship Wrestling Championship presented by Natural Light is also on the line.
Jesus, the devil's trying to put Bostic straight to hell!
I do not want to go
Good
to
God,
hell!
no!
Don't do
Good
it!
God, no! Come on, Bostic, Pat!
Oh, no! Oh, my...
I'll see you in hell, Pat. The goddamn Easter Bunny's out here! What the hell's he doing here?
The Easter Bunny is obviously here to help Dylan Bostic. Wait a minute. No!
No, no!
The Easter Bunny's been on the devil's side this whole time. Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ!
What the hell's Jesus Christ doing here?
The power of Christ is compelling Dylan Bostic.
Look at this, Pat! Jesus Christ is bringing Bostic back to life! Jesus is going insane! And now Bostic's kicking wholesale ass in the ring!
Jesus Christ has come to help Dylan Bostic defeat the devil and defeat the Easter Bunny. What's gonna happen here?
Good God Almighty, it looks like he's going up in the scissor lift!
Jesus is lifting the scissor lift! Jesus is now telling Bostic to come down from
Don't do it, Bostic! Don't do it! Oh, my God! Bostic's dead! He's dead! You can't tell from home, but that scissor lift is about 8 stories up, Pat!
80 feet in the air! Oh, wait! He's tuning up the bed! The devil!
Super kick! Into the casket! The devil goes down! The devil goes down!
Shuts the casket!
Straight
back to hell! The devil goes straight back to hell, where he belongs!
With the assist from Jesus Christ of Nazareth!
Dylan Bostic saves the PMI office's souls and wins the OCW Championship right here on our first OCW Straight to Hell.
Last night I was roaming around Canal and Bourbon, and it was a lot of purple. And when you get that Mercedes-Benz Dome, and it starts getting loud and it gets rompous, obviously, not only for momentum and swings like that it can help, but for the defensive line to get a jump. I think that is a big deal. A lot of freak athletes on the field, and kickers are a spectacle no matter what happens. Whenever you're in those high-pressure moments, you normally fall back on your fundamentals. You normally fall back on your technique. You try to take your brain out of it. Cade York gets a beautiful ball.
One person up in the parking garage.
And think about him warming up right now. There's just 3 dudes in suits breaking down every single move he makes during his warm-up. What a wild scene here for Trevor Lawrence.
Quarterback, number 9, Joe Burrow.
You're supposed to be some draft expert, and you say Joe Burrow was a 5th-round draft pick before this year. Now he's number 1 overall. What do you know? What do you know, Todd? Tim, you are so handsome, it's ridiculous. What do you think has been happening in this first quarter? Why has Joe Burrow been stumped by this Clemson defense?
I think Brent Venables is the best DC in the country, and it's honestly not a shock to me. He did this to Tua last year.
Odell Beckham just stopped by.
Odell's very excited.
Odell's happy with the 52-yard attempt coming from the kid from Clemson. I've seen Odell make this with a spinning ball. And BT Potter puts it through from 52 in Odell's. Not in your face. It wasn't in your face. It wasn't in your face. You weren't looking at it.
That's a career high for BT Potter.
Bro, imagine Joe Burrow just having to stand in there and know that Isaiah Simmons is scot-free right in your suckle. That's a bad call. No chance Alberto Riverrod would turn that over. He was in the Buccos organization.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the show. Down there in the Dolphins, they are in quite a disarray. Who knows what's going to happen or how people feel. But hour 3 here begins now. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. It is St. Patrick's Day. Hope you're having a fantastic time. Hope today is a yearly reminder for you to remember that you should and can allow yourself to have a good time every once in a while. And it's cool that the Irish, my name to be exact in there, is associated with a great fucking time. I know every St. Patty's or St. Patrick's Day, whenever there is, because negativity hogs publicity, you don't get a chance to see the videos of everybody in harmony having the time of their lives drunk before noon. You only see the videos of the boobs popping out, fighting. Hooks. Oh my God, everybody's drunk fighting. St. Patrick's Day has a lot of positive as well. And I like the fact that is what it is known as, even though there's a lot of OG St. Patrick's Day people that say this is not what it's about. It's like, well, I like that it's about having a good time. Yeah. Join us now is a guy that loves to have a good time, except for whenever Ohio State wins because he hates them. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. Yay! Great to have you, AJ.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate that intro.
Well, I just, here we are, day 9 or 10 straight here, where I assume that the trend will continue, but when I say 2 letters, for whatever reason, every other Buckeye legend, every other Buckeye alumni, every other Buckeye mascot, okay, which you kind of are every day, a Buckeye mascot out here, Brutus even.
Yeah.
OH.
Did you see that Matt McConaughey started a YouTube channel?
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's for real.
Exactly
I just texted Nick. You guys should check it out.
Matthew McConaughey, by the way, I assume his YouTube channel is going to do fantastic. I guess there's potential gubernatorial runs in Texas for him. I mean, what a life. He just released a book. He did 7,000 interviews, and I think all of them were interesting somehow while promoting that book. And Matthew McConaughey, I assume his YouTube is going to be fantastic. I am pumped he has become a YouTube creator. Welcome to the party. Probably, definitely going to be better than us in a matter of months. But with that being said, OH.
No, man, you know it. You know this.
Yeah, that's
you're not going to wear me down.
Just do it.
It's fucking March Madness. One time.
Yeah, it is. And the Bucks are going to be fine without your condescending fandom.
Oh, okay. I bet on them every single. You don't. I put my hard-earned money on the Buckeyes every time they step on the court.
No, you don't. You won, and they lost, and you won, and you were happy. So you obviously are not a fan. I would not respond to you.
I bet on Ohio State. Okay, we won. Me and the Buckeyes won.
Yep.
Now, they did lose by 3 in a game that it looked like they were going to lose by 6 all the way up until about a fourth of a second was left. But, man, yeah, we came through. That's what the Buckeyes do for me, except for you. A lot of things popping off right now. Russell Wilson, Andy Dalton. Okay, that happened after hours. We didn't get a chance to see your reaction. You're good friends with Andy Dalton. Like, you and Andy Dalton know each other very well. I believe you talked to Andy Dalton. I think Andy Dalton is going to do a great job in Chicago if that offense has or any chance of being worth a fuck with Nagy. I think Andy Dalton will be able to make it a good offense. Will they win? Who knows? $10 million? Nobody knows. This could be the last year for everybody. But the story out of this whole thing is the expectation by Bears fans, bear down, that Russell Wilson was going to be their quarterback was literally hours before finding out that Andy Dalton was their quarterback. Now there's reports that he was potentially going to be a Bear. 3 first-rounders, a third-rounder, 2 starters. That whole conversation actually happened. So now, what are your thoughts on Russell Wilson in Seattle? Will he be there? How's Andy going to do? And were you surprised to hear that they met up in Fargo, North Dakota?
I wasn't surprised. I know they were meeting up at Trey Lance's pro day. I think Seattle also, you're going there to meet and try to talk about, let's facilitate a trade. But at the same time, it's public that you are there watching another quarterback throw, too, if you're Seattle, to try to gain some leverage on Russell Wilson and what he has going on. When you say 3 first-rounders, I know the big hang-up was that Russell's going to make the Bears too good, right? And those aren't going to be high picks. Wasn't that one of the biggest worries for Seattle?
That's hilarious if that is the case. That's like a compliment. Wow. Potentially trying to get rid of somebody. So I do appreciate that. What I find interesting about the 3 first-rounders in the future, how many did Peggy and Nace? How many did Peggy and Nace? Jesus. Get it together. It's only Wednesday. Can't have these on Wednesday. This only happens on Friday. How big did Nagy and Pace pitch to make that? Like, did they go to ownership and say, hey, can we give away 5 first-rounders? Because they're on the last year of their deal. Where they, hey, can we give away 4? Well, how did they land on 3? And if you're the ownership, how are you just like, yeah, go ahead and give away the future that you're not going to be a part of probably. Go ahead and do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that feels like that's a rather large decision that had to be made behind the scenes that is potentially projecting what the future of the Bears looks like as well in this whole thing.
Well, I'm curious as to what was the first offer that the Bears made to Seattle, to where Seattle probably just didn't even respond. Like, hey, 1 first-rounder and 1 starter, and then they wait 2 days. Hey, we got no email back, no voicemail back.
I'm not
2,
countering.
And then 3 was the number, right? 3 was probably it.
I'm not countering, okay? I'm not countering, because if I counter, then I'm acknowledging that is the first offer. I'm not countering, okay? You can come back and a little bit more creative. Whenever you do that, then I will counter, because I'm not countering to that, because that would not be officially in the transgression of this negotiation as the first offer. I've heard that happens.
Yeah, I mean, now, like, how does Russell say that? I know you had Dilfer on, right? Does Dilfer think Russ can be back in Seattle?
He said that he thinks it's natural for tension between quarterback and head coach. He actually says it's weird whenever he sees a quarterback and a head coach that actually get along. He had this entire take about how your quarterback and your head coach, if you're going to be good, there's a good chance that they're going to be 2 alphas. And 2 alphas that are trying to guide the same ship, basically. Both are the face of the brand, basically, the team. Every once in a while, there's going to be tension. He said there's no growth without conflict. He went into this entire thing. So I think he doesn't think that maybe they'll be back to being best friends. But he said it's natural for those 2 to have a potential, budding beef or a rivalry within a building. And that's good for the team. I did not expect that take, by the way. In my eyes, I thought there would be like a private reconciliation, then a public one that would have to happen. But I guess there's a lot of people that are thinking like, if they don't get along, who cares? A lot of people hate their guy. Like, you just got to work together in this whole thing,
Yeah, that can absolutely happen. Like, they could be professionals and not really even. I mean, I'm sure they both have a lot of respect for each other, but not enjoy being in each other's company and still find a way to win football games.
That's what he did. That was the caveat. He said there has to be a large amount of respect for the other person, and as the alpha, basically. Like I understand that you are also, because. It's like my favorite superhero, Hancock. When Hancock gets around another Hancock, like they have to realize and acknowledge, like, hey, we there are two. You have to do that. And by the way, happy St. Patrick's Day, Hancock. He loved that holiday.
Oh, yeah.
He loved that holiday.
Wasn't that a terrible? I thought that was a terrible movie.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. He's my favorite superhero. He's my favorite superhero.
Is that a superhero?
Yeah. What?
He's not a superhero. He was a drunken buffoon.
Which, by the way, in of itself is a superpower. And then he actually had superpowers on top of it.
Yep.
NFL Films Top 100 show. I was supposed to react to the rankings of people, and it was a couple days after a knee surgery I had, and I was on, 10 to 15 painkillers because my knee, all of them, and they were like, hey, you want to do that NFL Top 100 thing? I'm like, I can't right now. I'm on thing. They're like, this is the only day they're set up. They really want you to go in there. They had me do a 3-hour set, basically. What's your favorite superhero? And I couldn't get it out of my Hancock, the drunk one. Thanks. Next question. And they released that clip, and it's like with the NFL Films background and lighting, and then it's me saying, Hancock, the drunk one. Next question. It is. I wonder if the people at the NFL Films were like, this motherfucker. Hancock. Do we put this out or not? But anyways, I love that movie. And it's, whenever there's 2 of them in the area, they got to recognize that. Russell and Pete are just going to have to recognize that, I would assume.
Well, think about any person that, anyone that calls himself an alpha usually is not much of an alpha, I think. But
Motor City Dan Campbell.
Yeah. If Motor City Dan, he has mentioned he doesn't go present it though. Like, hey, I'm an alpha. He doesn't do that.
Nah, he says true alphas no.
Yes, exactly. Meaning like, hey, it's not just me. There's other alphas in the room with me, and any true alpha knows. Like,
oh man, you just realized you disrespected Dan. You just I'm watching you realize right now that you disrespected MC. DC.
Not even close. What I'm trying to tell you is a true alpha person. I've watched it happen. When another alpha challenges them or pushes back against them, they may go back at him. They may fight with him, but deep down they absolutely respect it. It helps the relationship grow.
Yeah, I think so. Conflict brings
Conflict
growth.
is good.
Yeah, did you
Big
not
Mike
see,
said that all the time.
Did you not see
Conflict is
Russ's training video last night,
Great.
AJ?
That leads us to that. I like that Mike McCarthy said conflict is good because Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy was one of those situations where, there's probably a but if I had to guess. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, probably. And everybody's like, Peyton Manning and Tony Dungy got along. I wasn't there whenever that was happening, but I would assume that relationship, there were some disagreements. And I'm not 100%. I mean, Trent Dilfer says head coach Tony Dungy has last say. I would assume that's accurate, but Peyton Manning might have had a bigger vote than a lot of other people had, but I do believe that is something that's good. We'll get to that Russell. Do we have the Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson is preparing, okay, AJ?
Oh, and fighter pilot, looks like.
Yeah, let's go full screen on that thing, please. Russell Wilson's putting out these videos of him training. Through this entire.
Is this his house?
Yes. Oh, yeah. This is the Team 3 training facility, please.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I wish I had that.
Bro, he has that full football field in the back. He was throwing deep balls to Antonio Brown last offseason. He was training, he was getting Antonio Brown ready to score a touchdown in a Super Bowl in his backyard, wherever the hell his backyard is. But he's putting out videos ever since, his agent, Mark Rogers, came out and said, we're not demanding a trade, but if we were to, these are the 4 cities. Ever since Team 3 put out a statement about how Seattle has not been taking care of their guy, the guy that they work with every day, he's been putting out these fire-ass fucking workout videos saying, this is fuel, this feeds me. It's like, well, actually, you're kind of creating this as well. So I'm not sure that this is 100%, something you can utilize as motivation, because I think you're the only one. Actually, everybody's complimenting you right now. Like, yeah, we want him on our team. So I don't know how you use his motivation, but watching these workouts, Russell Wilson, the fact that he hasn't won an MVP yet is baffling. Ridiculous. I have never seen somebody with such dialed-in people working with him.
Because of this video, you can't believe he hasn't won the MVP.
Oh, my God. He's on a Peloton
right now with a gas mask on.
He's got a gas mask on that's probably testing for his resting metabolic rate and his VO2s.
Stuff, yeah.
He's got 4 different strength coaches around. We probably can't have a sound on that, right? Probably not.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, probably can't do that. Okay.
Is it future?
Jesus, ever. We can't do it. Is it future?
It is not.
You're a terrible guy. You're a bad guy. But
Russ isn't a fan? You don't think Russ is a fan of Future's music?
I assume he listens every once in a while, and his kid is obviously Future or whatever. But Russell Wilson is letting everybody know all these conversations that are happening about me, there's a reason, okay? It's because, do you see this guy right to my left? He's my cardio guy. Okay, you see the guy right behind him? He's my leg guy. That's my legs guy.
Wait, what's he writing? Can you pause it? The guy's writing down some little note card.
Oh, he's the leg guy. It's currently the cardio guy's time. Okay, this is VO2 cardio time. Leg guy's in the back, like, we got to dial up the pressure on the resistance on the Peloton here for tomorrow. We got to do that. And then obviously there's an arms guy that is right on the other side. He's like, hey, we got to kind of relax on this Peloton, maybe more standing riding, because when he's down, he's pushing too much. We got a full arm workout coming down later. And then you know the mask guy that's strictly there for the gimmicks and props. That person's not happy about how much sweat's popping off. He's figuring that out on the left side. He's like, we need a goddamn windshield wiper on this mask. Russell Wilson trains too hard for our device. I mean, if that entire team there is fully devoted to Russell Wilson being an athlete, this son bitch can start for the Yankees tomorrow if he wanted to.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable, AJ. I've never seen anything like this. He might be the most conditioned athlete in the history. 5 people taking notes around one Peloton. This might be the best athlete of all time. Russell Wilson MVP, doesn't matter.
Now that you're doing stair climbers again, you want 5 or 6 of us to come over and take notes and yell at you?
Yeah, everybody's going to look at you guys and know you're stooges. You see those guys? Those guys look like they got degrees.
They look like real human beings, potentially.
Hey, Pat, for real. Hey, that's an idea for you guys. You should get on the stair climber, put on the Laramie Tunsil gas mask, and start climbing and have all the boys around you taking notes.
Hey, listen, we have something in the works. All right, we have a potential idea cooking currently. Lo and behold, it would not be the Stairmaster, because at this moment, I don't believe I could do the Stairmaster long enough for us to make a good video. Okay, so it's going to have to be somebody else. But we have a response video as well. But I want to let everybody know that I think I disrespected my career in the NFL.
No,
I was nowhere near that serious. Imagine if I did.
You didn't work out, or you just didn't film it?
I didn't have 5 people telling me what I'm potentially doing wrong with
What are
every
they doing?
single.
What is that doing? That
They're
doesn't make
taking
you work
notes.
harder.
They're taking notes.
Yeah, helping them.
Notes, video, notes. They got notes out there, AJ.
I get it. Okay, I see what we're doing here. Continue.
What are we doing?
What?
What are you
going
talking
on?
about?
So what are your big? What's your
he's
big
getting
regret
uncomfortable,
then,
by
from
the
you
way.
as a player? What's your regret? You didn't hire enough staff on board to sit there and take care of you.
I don't think I took care of the finer things as much as I obviously could have after watching that video and knowing that there is probably an each body part specialist watching what's going on over there. I did not. All I had was one body part that mattered. I didn't even have a specialist for that. So I think I potentially missed the boat on some things.
You think they get in arguments too? Like, no, that body part can't do that.
Yeah, well, I do believe there's probably, alphas in the.
Exactly.
There's probably some tension in that room, I'd assume, on who does what. And that's why they directed their aggravation with everything at the Seattle Seahawks just a few weeks ago with how everything's going down, I think.
Hey, don't you think though? Yeah, not a great way to be introed as the next quarterback coming into Chicago if you are the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton. But the one thing he does have going for him, I feel like people are so distraught, whatever, expectations are low, and Andy can sling it, man. Like when he can play, if you could protect him, like he can play. So I think that's good for him going forward.
Hey, dude can play.
Yeah, that's right.
He won some games down there in Dallas, and that team looked like they were never going to win any game.
He got killed. He had COVID, and he got killed in one game, and he still came back and played all right.
Now, people will ask about nobody helping him out, but I think that's potentially because Dalton isn't like a super vocal guy, so it probably takes a little bit of time for him to win over all his friends.
Even so, you see that guy laying on
What
the
is
field,
this?
you're not
Come on,
helping him
take
up.
that What is this? Why is
Take it
this?
down.
Zito, you did this, it feels like.
Take it down.
Take it down.
Good Lord. I made a great T-shirt. That's what I did.
Oh, you did. The Red Rifle supporting
Buy now.
Buy now store.patmcafeeshow.com. But there are not a lot of Bears fans buying Andy Dalton shirts right now, I don't think. I'm happy you are, though, Zito. You're right. AJ, I think he can play some good game. Like, I think he plays
He's not. I think it's a benefit for him that he's not being brought in as, the savior, going to turn this thing around, going to save all the coaches' jobs and make everybody look smart. Yeah, I think it's all about managing expectations. I think Andy can surprise some people.
He was brought in, though, immediately following a potential Russell Wilson signing. So
do you think did the Bears leak a lot of that out, how much they gave up? Because that's not a great look for them. I guess they want to say, hey, we're trying. We're doing our best. Oh, here we go. We got Andy.
Yeah, that's the Bears. Everybody's burying us for signing Andy Dalton. Let's let them know we took quite a swing at Russell Wilson, please. Because there was some reports they were in on Deshaun. Then Houston wasn't answering phone calls. Then they're in on Russell. It's like, we want to let people know we actually were. But also, Dan Patrick reported it. We trust Dan Patrick. I was about to say that report could be completely bullshit too, but no, trust Dan Patrick.
Well, they must have known a little bit too, because remember, some books in Vegas did move the odds when. They got better when people were talking about Russ potentially going there.
Isn't it awesome to know that the sports books have insiders in Fargo, North Dakota, that saw Schneider and Pace talking, and they're like, "Hey, just want to give you a heads up down there. These guys are talking in North Dakota right now. What could they be talking about? Maybe I'll get closer to the conversation. Let me hear what I can hear." Yep, they're trying to talk and trade.
Heard Wilson.
Get that off the books quicker. That's how much money that the sports books are trying to make. Every piece of information they get, they're like, yep, let's change that. We are going to win here.
Hey, don't you think that like guys like Schefter and Rappaport, is it a conflict of interest? Like, don't you think people that set the lines of those books in Vegas, wouldn't it be beneficial for them to somehow pay like a retainer to keep those guys, hey, keep us in the loop so we can jump ahead of these?
I believe the insiders are a weapon for,
Can they get paid for that? Like, are they allowed to get paid to give them like, hey, this is what I know?
If I was an insider, that would turn into my business, I think.
Yeah, Rap Sheik should go to Caesar's Palace tomorrow and try and get something.
Or FanDuel, yeah.
Of course.
He doesn't even have to go. What do you mean?
They can fucking guy.
We're talking about the Vegas sports books here. It's the only one I could think
We're
of.
thinking sport. We're just talking sports book.
FanDuel, of course, was my first option.
Oh, man.
Let's go to a break. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Just doing it.
Are you going to sign a deal with another, basically gambling company?
Me? Me?
No, but people did that in the last couple of days, and boy, it was quite a stir, I guess. Not us. We're a FanDuel squad. And, we're starting to garner insider information as well.
That's right.
Broke the Travis Kelce news today, AJ. Don't know if you saw that.
That he was restructuring?
Yeah. I mean, that news was reported.
It was out there.
No, but it wasn't true.
Is it news, I guess?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, Travis Kelce's obviously maybe the best tight end in the league, and he's unbelievable.
He's
but
a hero.
He's not taking money away from him, though.
He's a hero.
Jeez, yeah, he is. I agree for many reasons, but I'm just saying it's not like they came to him and asked for him to take a pay cut. That's not what happened.
Oh, they said let's restructure this previous money deal we already had.
Travis said anything for the team.
Anything for the team. He's a hero. When it was reported,
believe me,
when it was reported a few days ago, it wasn't real.
No.
Then it turned out it was real. So maybe they knew before the source did.
Possibly.
Let's get to a break. This is Pat McAfee Show. Micah Hyde joins us on the other side. Hey, okay, here
Let's
we go.
go.
Buffalo Bills showing up. Let's talk to him. AJ, you excited to talk to Micah?
Yeah, I played with Micah.
Oh, you'll ask the first question then. Perfect. Can't wait to see where it goes. AJ Hawk leads off our conversation with Micah Hyde on the other side of this break. This is the Pat McAfee Show, March 17th. Happy St. Patty's Day. We have a bracket bonanza popping off. I think what I was most excited about for this show was the fact that we are giving away $51,000 to the winner of our bracket. Whoa! Wow. $51,000 bracket bonanza presented by us, obviously. It'll be in the March Madness Live app, I believe. It is something you have to download from the App Store. It looks exactly like this. It is the NCAA official thing, March Madness Live. Our challenge bracket bonanza will be up there as one of the ones you can join. There's a couple of different little things we have to talk about, though, with the $51,000 bracket bonanza. Although right now it sits at $51,000 to the winner, whoever has the best bracket. And we're going with traditional scoring, by the way. There is a new style of scoring. We're going traditional. If we become the biggest bracket bonanza challenge on the app, it'll go to $75,000. Yeah. $51,000 bracket bonanza will go to $75,000 bracket bonanza. Then if that thing gets to over 50,000 entries, which we do not believe is possible, that seems like a lot, that'll go to a $100,000 bracket bonanza. That's right. All you gotta do is fill out your brackets, get things right more than everybody else, and you could potentially win $51,000, maybe $75,000. And if we get 50,000 people to be a part of this bracket bonanza, that'll be a $100,000 giveaway just because we want to. Now, that March Madness Live app, you will see a lot of companies are at the top. A lot of people are at the top. They have their picture. They have it all beautiful. We do not, because we are not in association with them. There are other places that do bracket challenges. We cannot work alongside of them because of an interesting situation that popped off this weekend.
A couple people, one college kid, took a shot at my swag.
We noticed.
We know. We don't like that kid.
I don't think a lot of people understand what swag is. You know, some of this younger generation thinks, swag is just like the clothes I wear or whatever. No. Swag is a mentality. Yeah. Swag is a mindset. I tried to tell this to some of the guys in the locker room this week. I said swagger, which is what swag comes from. Swagger is a mindset. Swagger isn't that you have a Supreme backpack on. Or that you have your shoes, unlaced, walking around with, you got your new Louis fanny pack that you make sure it's not worn at your waist, it's worn over your shoulder. That's not swag. That's not swagger. That's fashion choices. True swag is owning your inner essence. It's a mindset. And my essence on the field is that I feel like I'm a throwback player and I'm a tough guy. What I've played through, how I wear my stuff, I'm kind of a no-nonsense, straightforward. To me, that's what swag is all about.
You're damn
all
right.
this fake swag out there. I got my special towel. I got this. I got that. I got this writing out there. A lot of you guys are just posers.
All right.
Giving the old white guys something to complain about. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
People go through many changes as we get older, isn't that right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For men, one of the less fortunate changes is that testosterone production begins to naturally decrease in the body. Did you know this, AJ?
I am aware.
For most men, it begins around the age of 30, and testosterone production declines by roughly 1% per year.
My God.
So if you live to 130, you ain't got shit left.
No, minus 30.
Well, if it starts around 30, this is one of those questions on a test where, begins around 30, and the testosterone production declines by roughly 1% per year. So does it start at 0 or does it start at 30? That's the thing. This is where they can get you.
It's one of them damn word problems.
This is one of those problems where you're like, oh, wait a minute. Can I ask a follow-up? Anyways, I was good at those tests because I always viewed it as me versus the fucking teacher.
That's right.
Okay? I don't know what's going on, but this is me versus you. Fuck you. That's how I view it. That's why friends at Roman have a new supplement designed to support testosterone production. I did not know this. They formulated their own supplements with transparent and scientifically backed ingredients. You hear this, AJ? Roman's testosterone supplement is for anyone who wants to support their own body's natural function. They formulated their own blend with transparent and scientifically backed ingredients. Getting started is simple. Just go to getroman.com/USA. Their supplement contains vitamin D3, zinc, magnesium, maca, and ashwagandha in a unique blend designed by healthcare professionals that you can't get anywhere else. To learn more about these incredible ingredients, visit getroman.com/USA. Roman is offering $15 off your first order and will deliver your supplements right to your door with free 2-day shipping. When you go to getroman.com/USA, get $15 off your first order plus free 2-day shipping. That's getroman, GETROMAN.com/USA. That's good news. Let's try that stuff.
Okay.
I've been looking for that type of stuff.
That's good news.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want.
Now we know.
Hey, Roman.
Thank you, Roman.
Thank you, Roman.
Thank you, Roman. I've been told, too, the vitamins that you potentially inhale in your body, that helps expedite that thing, is what I've been told.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not good.
You mean it makes your testosterone go down?
Yeah, I think it's probably like 1.1%.
Sure.
You had like a tenth of a percent. You know what I mean?
Jeez.
Oh, it sounds like that supplement that Roman has could really help your new diet out with your stair climber every day.
Well, that got pushed back to today. You got pushed back to this morning, but then this morning came. And the thing about it was, I didn't have it plugged in, and there was no St. Patrick's Day. So that Stairmaster is about to fucking get it tonight.
Hell yeah.
Nope, tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day. About to get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Joining us now is a man who recently signed a 2-year, $19 million extension with the Bills. Pro Bowler, All-Pro. Ladies and gentlemen, a man with a large bag in tote, Micah Hyde.
Yeah! How you guys doing? How you doing?
Hey, fantastic. I heard you were teammates with AJ. He was excited to chat again, pal.
Of course, yeah. Micah, what's up, man? Good to see you. Congrats on the extension. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Big money.
Hey, dog, man. Appreciate you guys having me.
Hey, Pat, he's an Ohio guy, so don't worry. He'll be good. He's already figured out. No.
Yeah, IO, baby.
Yeah! We're going.
I rep Ohio.
Yeah, you're damn right. OH, Micah.
I do it one time.
More than AJ.
I'm a Iowa guy.
That's right.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, Ty Schmidt in the office there. I'm sure he'll have a couple questions for you, Mike. He's a big Iowa guy. I saw you had some comments when you signed or whatever. You talked about, hey, like maybe in the past I tried to recruit some people here. They didn't want to come here, and now people do. Like, do you feel like you guys get the respect you deserve for how well you've played over the last 4 or 5 years?
I think it's slowly coming. I said that for a reason. I think that the build up throughout the last couple of years of me trying to recruit guys and bring guys in, and then kind of getting the cold shoulder and not taking visits to Buffalo, it's kind of disrespectful. So I let it be known. And Hawk, I'm sure you know a few of those guys that I tried to recruit. I'm not gonna say no names, but I think at the end of the day, guys are trying to come to Buffalo play with Josh Allen.
It was Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, possibly.
I'm joking. Josh Allen, though, let's talk about the quarterback position. Josh Allen, I believe, is probably a reason why it might be easier to get guys to the Buffalo Bills now with his growth from year 1 to year 2. It was like, damn, this guy. Then year 2 to year 3. Yeah. What has it been like on the other side in practice? To be like, oh, this guy's a different dude this year. Is that the feeling early, or just continue to grow like that?
Yeah. I mean, for sure. Winter practice gets a guy like that. Rookie year, he's kind of learning from the guys that are playing and stuff like that. But once he got in, he was making mistakes just like any rookie would. But I think that year 1 to year 2 jump for anybody, especially him, he took full advantage of it. He became a full-time starter, and he was learning each and every day, not making the same mistake twice. And I think that the confidence is there now, so it's dangerous for opponents that are playing against Josh Allen. I'm serious. He's confident. He's a leader on our team, and we all look to follow him.
Hey, Micah, when you first got in the league, you get drafted to Green Bay. I guess what was it like when you step in there and you're playing against Aaron right off the bat? Aaron came on the show every week for the whole season, and we got to learn a little bit about how he approaches practice, games, whatever. What was it like to try to defend him? Did he try to mess with you at all, especially when you were young?
I mean, you just know he's on a whole different level. You're out there trying to make it. My rookie year, I got thrown in the fire. First preseason game, I'm starting nickel. First regular season game, I'm starting nickel against the San Francisco 49ers. Hawk, you remember, and that's Kaepernick days and all that. And my head was spinning. But to go against Aaron Rodgers in practice, he's out there throwing no-look passes and just messing with the guys on defense. And I'm just like, wow, like this is the NFL. No, it's not the NFL. It's just Aaron Rodgers. He's able to do stuff like that. But it was a good learning experience being there for 4 years, going against him for 4 years, and now I have a greater respect for what he's been able to do.
You talked about Josh Allen's confidence, and I think confidence only comes whenever you fully know that you're prepared for whatever, right? And then whenever you guys had that playoff game, you guys were dancing in practice. It felt like the entire team is at that point. Like the winning culture is something it's not easy to build. It feels like you guys have built. Have you felt that? Is that something like now the expectations are like, hey, we got to go, especially Tom's out of there. Even Bill spent $140 million in day one or whatever. But the expectations now are like, this is go time. It feels like that in the locker room. You guys know that that's the culture and that's what you guys have set up?
No, for sure. From getting there in 17, I don't know how I say this to this day, I don't know how we made the playoffs in 17. But 18 having a down year, and then 19 kind of getting it back, and then last year having the season that we had, expectations for us is the Super Bowl. Like it's, we're not looking to just get in the playoffs and stuff like that. Obviously, each season is different, and each roster each and every year is different. There's going to be new guys, new pieces. Even if you have the same guys, it's a new season. You got to deal with injuries and stuff like that. So we know it's a hard process to get back to the top, but we're willing to take it, and we're going to put in the hard work each and every day and try to make it to the top.
Ty?
Micah, first and foremost, go Hawks. And
that's I love it.
That's right. I remember, I think I was reading that you won a state championship in baseball and basketball in high school as well. And I feel like you do kind of get overlooked for how athletic you are. Were you always trying to play football, or did you consider playing basketball or baseball at the next level?
Well, I didn't never win a state championship. I never even got close.
Wikipedia.
No.
Yeah. Wikipedia's doing you dirty.
Hey, sorry about that, man. We thought you should have won.
I was a three-sport athlete.
Oh, okay. We thought you should have won.
Got robbed. Jordan Poyer won.
Nah. Yeah, Poe was the truth. He did. But no, I grew up in Ohio, where it's very good football and very good basketball, so it's hard to make it, to win a state championship. But anyways,
yeah.
It was fun playing three sports in high school: football, basketball, and baseball. And I think that I played so much baseball when I was younger that it kind of died out for me. But my body's telling me I should have went the baseball route nowadays. And I probably would have picked baseball for football.
We had Jordan on last week. Is his nickname Poe?
I call him Poe. J. Poe.
That's a great name. Yeah, we should have called him that. We should have called him J. Poe. You two are a hell of a tandem, man. You two are. Is that on the field, off the field? Is that something that you guys like? Because wide receiver, quarterback normally have. You two though in the back there have to be on the same page. It feels like you guys have really done well together.
Yeah, I think that once we knew each each other before we got to Buffalo through a mutual friend, and he's kind of, Hawkey's like a guy that, you would like to play with. You kind of see things the same. He's a football guy, football savvy guy. Preparing for games, he'll tell you what he sees. I'll tell him what I see, and we kind of just coordinate off that. But it's been fun to play with, man. He's a hell of a player, hell of a person. I'm proud of what he's been able to do the last couple of years. He doesn't get enough respect to this day as what he should. But we got to Buffalo 2017. We found a way to get it done, and we're continuing to just work hard and make each other better.
Hell of a tandem. Diggs, what do you have?
Mike, are you talking about recruiting players? Did you recruit Emmanuel Sanders to the Bills, or was
I did not. That was a big baller Bean. That was him making some magic and getting him over.
Did you hear there was an offer for Gronk out there?
There was.
That alleged. Now listen, everything's potentially bullshit in the world that we live in on a day-to-day basis, but allegedly there was an offer to bring Gronk back home. Watching Bean bring in Emmanuel, and last year we talked to him and he said there wasn't even a thought about Cam Newton or anybody else. We're building this team around Josh, and then we're going to build this thing out. You have to love that your GM though is like very much in the game. Like you called him Big Baller Bean. There's a lot of teams that don't speak about their GM like that.
Yeah, I mean, Bean's a good dude. He's a man of his word, for sure. In my sense, just because we wanted to get something done, and he found a way. And I feel like if anybody can come to me as a GM, GMs don't have to do anything for any player, but we respect each other, and he was fun to work with, and I continue to be blessed to go to work each and every day and be around somebody like that.
How'd you spend the money? Anything cool?
Man, I haven't yet. I'm gonna put that in the bank. Let it grow a little bit. But I don't really need anything right now.
You gotta put it in Bitcoin. Listen, it's the money of the future. Okay, and then if you get in on AMC or GameStop, the next dog. I mean, something to think about. And don't forget about that dog, Dogecoin. Now, I mean, that's going to the moon as well. I mean, I'm no advisor, but these are just
you got my number. Call me after this.
Okay, yeah. We'll do some talking. Yeah, this is good.
Hey, Mike, I saw. Speaking of Poyer, I saw his Instagram post a couple days ago, or a week ago, talking about his whole battle through. I don't know if he claimed it. I don't know if he said he was an alcoholic. He said he had an alcohol problem and he's been sober for a year. Did you guys know like this whole situation was going on and he was battling?
Well, I think Poe he's an honest person. He let some guys know around him that are close to him, and I think that I was able to help in any way. I told him I was able to help in any way, just because when you see somebody going through something like that you want to help, and someone that is so close to myself, and I see him every day throughout the season, and we talk a lot. So I just have so much respect for him. I told him I texted him after he put that post, and I read it a few times because each and every time I read it, I was like, man, that was awesome. And it's good to see somebody, especially of his stature, just come out and say, that he's an alcoholic and he's working to get better. And it's been a year since he's had a drink. And, I just think that's so awesome. I have so much respect for him. I already had so much respect for him and his family, but even now it's even more. He's definitely an idol in our locker room, and everybody looks up to him.
I'm not close enough to him to call him J-Po. Okay, like I'm not close, but I have had a pretty good recorded conversation with him that happened while I was losing $10,000 on the West Virginia Mountaineers losing a game. But after that post, we had followed each other on Twitter or whatever. I sent him a DM. I'm like, that message is incredible. Like what you just did was incredible. Yes. Not because it's like he did it obviously to let other people know that are potentially in the same state of mind or were in the same state of mind, and be like, hey, it's okay to be like, you're right this, because when you stop drinking and you're a big time drinker, and I don't think I would, now granted they made me go see a substance abuse counselor for like 2 years because of my incident or whatever, but when you stop drinking, it's not easy. Like you lose all your friends, you feel like there's a lot of things that happen like that, like mentally, like am I even the same person I was? Did you realize while he was going through it, did he become like a more diligent football player? Did you see any positive effects from everything that happens? Because it is, for me, once I stopped partying, I was forced to by the NFL. But once I stopped doing it, I like, all right, like, now how do I spend my attention to different things? I started doing more work and things. Like, it made me a much, I'm not saying everybody has to be like that, but when I read that message, I'm like, oh, this probably helped him football-wise immensely as well. Did you see any of that?
I for sure think so. I feel like, and once you play long enough in this league, if you're blessed enough to be in here for, in the league for 6, 7, 8, 9 years. We're both going on 9 years now, but to see, we got into Buffalo in year 5, it's still that maturation process. He just had a daughter and that type of stuff. So he's maturing. We're both maturing. Everybody, in the league is maturing at one time. And to see him kind of take a step back from the party scene and focus more on football and his family, it made him a way better football player. And not to say he wasn't good in the first place, but I think it just made him better. He's mentally more squared away, and at the end of the day, that helps me out more, because if he sees something on the field to help me out, I love it, and vice versa. So I think that he's a much better football player because of it. And like I said, just a ton of respect for him to come out on social media and announce it to the world.
I think so too. You guys are unbelievable together. I'm excited to see where you go from here. The Buffalo Bills organization is an expected winner. What are you doing all offseason? We training?
Yeah, training a little bit, working out. I might go hit the links here soon. See if I can hit the ball straight for the first time this year, and,
nice.
And we'll see. My son's first birthday is tomorrow, so we're celebrating that.
Happy birthday, kid! Happy birthday!
Yeah.
He won't remember that.
It's crazy how fast he got.
It's a shame.
How big he got.
When you train, do you have? What's that, AJ? What do you?
I know where this is going.
What is he about to ask me, AJ?
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
It has to do with Russell Wilson.
Okay. AJ did have a good lead on what I was going to ask about. And I watched a video of Russell Wilson training, and there were 5 people around him taking notes. And I wondered if I potentially left, some yards on the table, because that is not how I trained, okay, throughout. And I think I kind of, when you're training, how is your workout? Because I think people see this Russell Wilson thing and they're like, oh, that's what professional athletes do. I don't think I know of anybody that has 5 people taking notes around a Peloton. I think that is next level. And maybe are you thinking about adding that to your game, Micah?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm on the Peloton. You can find me on the Peloton. I can get on there actually.
Russ is too.
But I don't.
Give us your username, man. You can race somebody.
What's your username on there?
Ooh, MRH1234.
MRH1234. CFO Phil, he's gonna get you. He's a fucking beast. Just know he's
coming.
But
look though, I gotta say, I just recalibrated it, so my last couple rides were not accurate.
Yeah, of course.
But now I just recalibrated it, so from here on, it's really me.
You stink on there, huh? You stink on Peloton. Wow. You stink on that?
No, I'm legit.
You were setting up some real excuses there. You know what I mean? Like, so
I'm thinking about becoming an instructor when I'm done.
Oh, you're gonna be, with the music? You're gonna be doing the whole thing?
Yeah.
The whole thing. Oh, that's awesome. Micah, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking time. Happy birthday to your kid, and good luck this next season. And when you buy Bitcoin, when that thing hits, 2-3 million here in a few years, you're gonna be swimming in it. You know what I mean? Designer frames for every picture.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'll throw some your way.
Okay.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, now we're talking. That's good business. Ladies and gentlemen, Micah Hyde. Good dude. Hey,
awesome,
that J-Post stuff was very cool.
Yes.
It was very cool to read it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I give him tons of credit, obviously, for what he did, but to actually go public with it, it's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah. Not only I'm excited to see what type of football player he becomes, because that's like a big transition. Like a lot of focus is potentially being missed out upon and doing somewhere else. Micah Hyde, he's a guy, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's a guy. We watched him to come on the show before. They come on just to kind of get reminded. He's a ball player.
Mm-hmm.
He's on that.
He wasn't lying though. Micah came in and got thrown to the fire right away, and he was ready. That's why why I feel like I developed a relationship with him early because I was like, man, how are you? I don't know. I was just impressed how he communicated. He didn't feel like a rookie at all when he came in.
Oh, he was talking out there.
Yeah, and it was helpful. I could ask him questions, let him know, like, hey, this is what we're doing. What do you think's going on here? Like, I was, always very impressed.
How much is that happening during the game? Is it
all the time?
In between plays, it's happening. Like, what did you see
during a play? Like, if you're carrying a guy, like, say I'm carrying, there's like a kind of a little in between what the coverage is we're playing, like, and I start to carry a tight end past 10 yards or something, and I blacked out and I thought it was man coverage, and safety Micah could be over top me yelling at me, like he could be yelling the coverage to me or yelling my name, and I'm like, oh, and I drop off and get the back or whatever.
Ah,
he was a 5th round pick too, doing that
out of Iowa. That's Iowa. Huh? That's Iowa football.
Kirk's dogs, baby. He probably would have went higher too, but I know he got arrested once, and then I saw that
for what?
I think public intox, ran from the cops.
Oh, see, now it is quite a problem whenever you are in college and there is a potential, fight moment there where you like, okay, I can definitely, fleet, fight or fleet, fight or flight.
I believe so.
Both work.
You get it. But there's those moments. You saw it in the Baker Mayfield video as well.
Yeah.
He saw that cop and was like, this fat stooge.
I'm going to dust him.
Bro, all of them. I've been up at 6 a.m. every morning training. I'm a human weapon right now with this college workout strength program, and you're a little bit intoxicated, you're not full, your brain is not fully developed, and you see what you think is potentially a big fat stooge, and you go, I can beat that guy, and then you forget that you're drunk, and that person that was working at 6 a.m. is not the same person you are right now, and you run, and stooge has quite an angle on you, and you get absolutely slaughtered. That stinks, but you can see how an athlete like Micah Hyde could potentially look at Paul Blart in college trying to give college kids public intoxication
ticket,
which, by the way, that is college. How you doing? Yeah, thanks for your service, sir. You can see how he could potentially go, get me the fuck. I'm not saying you should, but if you're Micah Hyde, you could see how that could potentially cross your mind. And it ended up, 5th round, ended up paying for it.
It was the same thing too, because Iowa won the Orange Bowl my freshman year. I was his class, and he played pretty much right away in college too.
I would like to let everybody know that I did get a minor in possession of alcohol, and I did not run.
Wow.
Did not run.
People don't talk about that.
I was in an alley. And I was potentially, now it is not documented, but I was potentially going to the bathroom in the alley because they shut down every bathroom in the city at a certain time because a lot of drunks go in there and break things. So
everyone's pissing it out.
There's no
gotta go somewhere.
Yeah, so I was potentially, I'm not saying I was doing that, I'm just saying the story goes I was potentially doing that. And I had one of my best friends, teammate, was supposed to be a lookout at the end of the alley.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Hey, if anything pops off, because they were coming after the alley peers because it was almost like a setup they had. We'll shut down all the bathrooms, and these guys just got out of penny pitchers, you know what I mean? And then we'll make them sit in the street, and there's only like 4 taxis in Morgantown. This is before Uber. It was almost a setup for those of us who potentially have an active bladder, okay? So I thought enough that I have to have a lookout, okay? Lookout would go on to have 4 or 5 degrees, okay?
Wow.
Yeah, smart guy.
Genius.
Would go on to be in my wedding. Okay, good guy, great guy.
Yeah.
Okay, lookout gets distracted. 14 seconds into being lookout, goes opposite direction. All of a sudden, while I'm potentially wrapping up, I get a tap on the shoulder. I think it's my friend. It's a baton. I'm like, oh, whoa. And it's flashlights right in the eyeballs. I'm like, whoa, jeez Louise, where's the lookout? He must be in jail.
Yeah, they already got him.
He must be in jail. So they take me down to the end of the alley. I get put into the back of the car. They're asking for my ID. I say, I don't have my ID. I apologize, which I did not. They're like, we're going to have to take you to jail if you don't have your ID. I only had my brother's ID. So I just gave him my brother's ID. My brother could have got a public intoxication right there. Instead, they said that they know it's not him. They took the ID. I get a minor in possession, which was like a $50 fine. As that whole thing's happening, my friend, comes waltzing back, walks down the alley. Okay, I think he probably thinks like, oh, where'd Pat go? I'm going to go. And then he comes out. I'm in the back of a police car right outside of that alley, tinted windows, and he's skipping basically out of that alley and just turns the corner. Then he gets into the car that was supposed to drive us home, and I'm getting text messages and go, where are you? Where are you? And I literally open the door. They open the door. I get out, and Reed goes, Bud, where you been?
Oh, boy.
Where you been? You just saw where I was.
Come on.
Had to go tell Rich Rodriguez.
Did you have a drink in your hand while you were peeing?
No, it was pretty apparent, though, I believe, if you had a conversation with me, that I had drank something at Penny Pitchers that evening. Yeah. Yeah, I spent at least $1 in there. They I think they had a good inkling. But anyways, what I'm saying is, things like that happen in college. We need not punish Micah Hyde and make him a 5th-round draft pick because if somebody missed out on something great, and he's been a hell of a player.
Would have been clutch if the lookout did come around the corner. Hey, where's Jay? You guys seen Jay McAfee around here? Or?
Knock on the window.
Well, yeah. Jay, get out of there.
For Jason. Jay gets a public intoxication in Morgantown, West Virginia. He almost got caught up in Panama City, too.
Oh,
Jay almost got caught up in Panama City.
PCP.
I actually read his social security number to a group of police.
It must be him.
Yeah, I got questioned in Panama City. I was the youngest. I was very young for my grade. Okay, like I should have probably actually just gone into the next one. I didn't know people were doing 5-year high school
Should have
up
done
in
it.
the Northeast. But
Good
I was very young for my grade, so we went on spring break, and I was the only one that wasn't 21. I was 20, but my ID was. I mean, this thing has been tried and true internationally. Jason and I in the face look exactly alike, but size-wise, I'm 5 inches taller than him, and that does say on there, you know what I mean? So some guy, all my teammates basically get in there. I'm last bebopping in there, and the guy just grabs it and he says, give me your hand, puts an X on both of my hands. I'm like, what is that? He goes, this is a fake. I go, no, it's not. And then bang, all of a sudden, you want the police to come over? I do, yeah. I do want the police to come over. Police come over, quite a scene. My teammates are right there. They put me, and I was sober at this point, they put me through a line of questioning on that ID. And people say, like, be prepared or whatever. It's my goddamn brother. His social security number is one off.
Yeah.
I run through an entire thing as if I was Jason McAfee. They handed me the thing back, and then I tried to force the door guy to wipe the X's off. Like I was like, wipe it off. Do it. Do it. And he was like, get out of here. I was like, you got it. Just walk. It was a good time. But Jay almost got caught up in Panama City as well. He did get booted in Canada.
Ooh.
Canada, they asked what my zodiac sign was.
Come on.
What? Is that what it is, zodiac?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I actually said, great question.
Well, a lot of
and he
normal
just
people
took it. And I was like, fuck.
A lot of normal people don't know there.
Well, he was a Leo, turns out. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I found out about the Leo, yeah.
I mean, that's not a real question.
Yeah.
Like, law enforcement asked that question?
Oh, a bouncer at a club. Somebody got paid.
Great cash, homie.
Here on St. Patrick's Day. Shout out to Jay for being 4 years older than me and having a hell of a time in numerous cities. Somebody got paid. Somebody got a deal. Ian Rappaport is reporting that the Raiders are re-signing Denzel Good for a 2-year deal. So with all the likely departures, they keep one home. Denzel, former Colt. His locker right next to mine. Massive human being. Incredibly athletic. Very good guy. For whatever reason, he didn't become a star in Indianapolis, but I think he had to maybe learn some things. I don't know why it didn't work in Indy, but he became a vicious people mover whenever he went out there to Las Vegas. We reported yesterday that all the offensive linemen have been removed. That was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Good remains. He's a stud. I believe Gruden's going to be pumped about that. Carr's got to be pumped about that. Now they just need a tackle, a guard, a center, and another tackle.
That's right. It's open. Kyle Long, man, he's got to go.
They let him leave the building, and I think Kyle Long potentially learned yesterday the demand that is potentially for Kyle Long. You know, Kyle Long was in these meetings, and I think he was coming out of retirement to be like, you know, the Raiders or my dad, like maybe they reached out to Howie or something, like maybe something happened because he's a Raiders legend or something like that. And I think he went on the visit, and there was rumors that he was available, and I assume there was a lot of teams that were like, Kyle fucking Long's playing football again? Like, we would like to get on that. I think he's going to get some money. I don't know if he's going to go to Las Vegas. I don't know how much money they have, but I think he potentially gets some money, and I'm happy for him. He was just on a show 2 weeks ago.
I'd try to go to the Chiefs if I was him.
They need it?
Yeah.
They have cap space because hero Travis Kelce, which is how we let off the show with a news break.
That's right. Hero.
We end the show with telling you that Chris Mad Dog Mad Dog Unleashed will be next. AJ, anything to say to the SiriusXM listeners that will not hear us for another 21 hours?
Nope, I'm good today.
Really?
Jeez. Yeah. Does the tournament start? When's the tournament start?
Thursday, playing games. If you have not, do it. FanDuel Sportsbook, spread the love. Michigan State's at plus 85 or something. Woo. Plus 95, I think he said. Couldn't hear him. Great job today, boys. Okay. We appreciate everybody. Thanks to our guests. Thanks to you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with another below average show. Chris Mad Dog Russo, legend, is next. I will still say nice things about Chris Mad Dog Russo. Of
course.
Even though the nice things weren't necessarily flowing when he was asked to speak about us.
Not reciprocated.
He just didn't say it the way you wanted him to say it.
No. That's not the case. That's not the case.
At least he didn't call us Bugle Boys.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You
Call
ever
you
see
what?
Bugle Boys. Somebody called them the Bugle Boys. Somebody called the guys the Bugle
Young
Boys.
Rock, Vince McMahon, right?
Yeah. Adam Ray.
How was the episode
Oh,
last
yeah, I
night?
saw
What's
that.
that?
How was the episode last
Well,
night?
the Pens were on.
Oh, how'd they do?
The Penguins were on. Well, and I couldn't turn the game off because they were playing against a team that was headhunting on the ice, trying to injure players.
That's hockey.
And that's the Boston Bruins. No, it's not hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey is when you check somebody so hard into the boards that they potentially lose consciousness and they come back healthy. And then that player all of a sudden gets ejected from the game, 5-minute major.
Yeah.
That's hockey. Pittsburgh's too tough for modern hockey. We're going to have to deal with that. We lost a lot of great players yesterday playing against the Boston Bruins. One of them being a guy that was attacked by a vicious and nasty and Tanya Harding-like attack on Evgeny Malkin from the Boston Bruins, who inevitably get a win at the end of the night.
Yeah, that's right. 2-1. It was a clean sweep. There's no doubt in my mind that they're going to win. But, I mean, Gino, he's one of the best players in the league. The Bruins know that. They had to go after him, play some mind games, you know. And that hit on the Bruin guy, it was a late hit. The puck was gone. Give me a break.
It was bang, bang.
It's fucking hockey,
Bang,
boys.
bang. Thank you.
The Bruin guy.
Yeah. The guy.
You don't even know his name.
Yeah, I do. He's the Bruin guy.
You don't even know the guy's name.
Yeah. All I know is Vladar had that save. I mean, you guys should have scored, but couldn't even score on a third-string goalie. What do you want me to do?
It was his first game in the NHL. That guy might be the next fucking Tommy Barrasso. Dude.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
that guy might
Patrick
be.
Timmy Thomas?
Yeah, Patrick Wall, maybe Dominic Hasek. Yeah. Or
Fucking
maybe even
Marty Brodeur.
Marc-Andre Fleury. Dude.
It makes sense. Bruins just churn out talent.
That is something you guys do.
Yeah.
Hey, in that deck hockey, do people choose to be goalies in that?
Yeah.
Or do you like rotate through because no one wants to do it?
Normally the heavier.
I would not want to be that guy. Hopefully they're padded. Are they padded up like a normal goalie?
Oh yeah, they got full pads on. It's hockey, but just on Grant.
Yeah.
That's right.
They got shin guards on too. The shin guards are the biggest. The shin pads are the biggest deal because there's a lot of assholes with sticks. You know.
Oh yeah.
Assholes with sticks
Checking
down
you.
there. Yeah. There's a lot of. You wear gloves. They wear gloves.
A lot of the Canadians don't wear shin guards. They just eat it right in the shins. They're all about it. The farm boys out there. They don't give a shit.
Animals.
Let it eat.
Canada's awesome.
Let it eat.
They're just running around there getting sticks to the shins.
Sticks, blocking shots. They'll stand right in front of it.
Hey,
They don't care.
Was that video or GIF I seen from Karate Kid real? Do they really go kick bamboo trees with their shins in the karate world?
I bet.
Toughen up.
That's wild.
People hit they bang their shins with bottles and pipes and stuff to try to toughen up and deaden the nerves.
That's going to take a long time to deaden that. That's going to be a lot of pain, right? I mean, that's
I assume it's very painful. Yeah.
Because I get hit in the shin. I mean, it is the worst.
Night over.
What are we doing? Now, when I played soccer, tough guy, you know. Tiny,
Hey, I bet you
shins.
Shinigami does it for sure. Shinigami blasts his shins. There's no way he has nerves in there.
Well, his name's Shin Agami, yeah, which is his biggest weapon.
Is he fighting again?
I think so. He did apologize for the mispronunciation of the name. You know, he's in the zone.
We had big smiles getting flown out to the West Coast.
Yeah, which I'll happily pay for. He says.
I thought he was fighting Stipe in May.
That was the plan. That was the plan. If he would have beat Big Smile, it would have been a unification title bout.
Okay, that's what.
With the UFC and Street Beefs. So
BMF too.
Can you imagine Stipe and Shinigami?
You see Dana?
War.
What's that?
No, well, first off, I wonder if Dana would be a huge Shinigami fan. I think he
would be.
Didn't
I don't know
Dana
why they
announce
haven't
that they're
hired
gonna-
him yet.
Come on.
He should be a content creator for the UFC. Yesterday, dude.
Well, aren't they gonna have 40,000 people for a fight in next month?
27,000, 40,000, I think, or 17,000, whatever that arena holds in Jacksonville. 40,000 is the Texas Rangers, which is interesting because I was told that by 4th of July, maybe we can have small gatherings in this country. In Texas, which is a part of this country, 40,000 people going into a baseball park, and then 17, whatever it is, down in Jacksonville. That is what we're all watching, right? We're all just seeing how that goes, and then, okay, we appreciate your services down there doing what you're doing. The rest of us are kind of, I think, seeing how this whole thing works out, and then maybe hopefully that'll kind of just you know, it was everywhere else. If everybody doesn't die, obviously.
Well, and
We
do
don't
they
want-
have
We
COVID?
want nobody to die, obviously.
Do they have the COVID sniffing dogs? Because on that front, it's been kind of quiet.
NASCAR was using them this weekend.
Okay,
nice.
Has it sniffed COVID yet?
Has a dog.
Have we sniffed? Do we have somebody that has got the thing shoved to their brain, come out positive, and then have that person stand next to a non-COVID person, and has the dog successfully sniffed COVID? I would assume it has had to, right? If we're putting COVID sniffing dogs in the title of the dogs.
Yeah, if they got that label already, they must be, you know.
Oh, they detect it in sweat.
How come we're not?
You
how
think
come
they'd
we're
have
not
it for the tournament?
How come we're not? Yeah, exactly. How come we are not trying to produce COVID sniffing dogs at a like nobody has called me to ask Chuck, who is my corgi, who has one of the best noses in town. Nobody has called me to say, hey, we need Chuck to serve in our COVID sniffing dog army.
Well-
You know what I mean? This should be something we should be doing a lot more of.
Well, it's
What?
not really needed anymore.
Tony.
What are you saying?
Tony. We just said we're not sure if that's
Tony.
Don't get into this.
Some of you may not be sure, but
What do you mean?
What are you saying, Tony?
as someone who was on the front lines,
No, you weren't on front line. You were actually in the air. You were in the battle.
you're right.
Yeah, you were actually being used in the
In
battle.
the trenches.
You were a casualty.
I was
You
behind.
stormed the beaches.
I was
and you were-
behind. I was behind enemy lines.
You did get held captive there. You're a prisoner of war there for a bit.
POW.
You were. You were a POW in this COVID battle.
Shout out me.
So you think it's all?
No, I mean I just think I think we're back.
I do believe there are some places that think that same exact thing.
Yep.
Then you look at some other places, and I don't think that's accurate. It's very. The other side of this thing is going to be just as interesting as now. Granted, stopping the world is a mind blower, but coming out of this on the other side is going to be very, very interesting. This is going to be very interesting to see how it works.
Yeah, I would say the next year is going to be very interesting and weird as to how different parts of the country try to reacclimate back in and how angry certain groups get at other people.
Think about whenever there's an inevitable documentary about everything that's happened in this office, and we visit back to some of the things we've said during these last year. Like, it is going to be wild to look back on just 5 years from now, because it's such a what have you done for me lately society. Instant gratification. What's happening now is the biggest thing of all time. Just a couple years ago, it'll be completely forgotten. Like, it'll be completely reimagined or returned. Just imagine 15 years, 20 years from now. Oh my God, the conversation about this year is going to be wild.
Imagine though,
the documentary.
Pat, imagine talking to someone that isn't born yet in 10 years from now and trying to explain what COVID did. They would be like, come on now, like there's no way.
Yeah, we used to like embrace people, hug people. Yeah, like the new standard is gonna be like fist bump, keep it moving. Not in, like there's gonna be a lot of things.
I don't know. I think it may go the other way. I think more people may be coming in for the hug every time they see somebody.
Gumpy, what were you gonna say?
The
pal?
documentary, either way, would have to start with Haji.
Yeah,
has to.
With what?
Merrill.
Mr. Hodge.
That conversation.
Wait, what did he say about COVID?
He was very early in
yeah.
denominator game. It was very early, and boy, I had not done enough research. When I had that, by the way, still have not.
What did he say though? You're not saying. Can you relay to me what he said?
Basically, everything that Connor tries to allude to every time he opens his mouth about this subject, and Diggs just alluded to. He was very.
You need to look at the denominator.
But
he is Captain Denominator.
Bro, he did research on it. He had actual names of people and everything. And I was just sitting there, sports stooge. I thought we were talking, maybe anything else. And he comes in flying. I'm like, all right, man. I feel like you probably just pissed a lot of people off, but thanks for coming on.
There was one doctor in particular who he was not too fond of. If I
She did
remember
not
correctly.
deserve
He
that.
was just trying to golf in Vegas.
He was equally as aggressive as General Bob Carpenter was in getting the Big Ten back.
Really?
But it wasn't like Bob Carpenter was calling the troops to go storm Normandy. You know what I mean? That's what he was doing. Merrill Hodge was not. He was like, just go on the internet.
He was on Normandy with a turret, fighting off the army that was coming his way.
He was flying a drone, I think.
I wish we could have had a camera on Hodge when he found out about that 130-year-old nun beating COVID. Man, he would have went ballistic.
It was quite a day for our office. We know nothing about any of
Probably
this.
harvesting her genes right now.
Actually.
All right, the show's over. Can't have it. Can't do what we just did there.
Speaking of them, what's her name's back at the tournament this weekend?
Who's that?
Sissy Jean's going to be at the games.
No way.
Uh-huh.
She put up a shot?
Yeah.
They flew her in.
Oh, yeah.
Loyola,
From
Chicago,
Chicago?
went on an absolute run. And remember, Sister Jean, the nun, was like the mascot for them. And she, like, you know, talked shit, had good energy.
Yeah. What team was that?
Loyola, Chicago.
Shut up.
She's back. She's back this year.
Oh, by the way, you just tried me there to see if I knew or not. I do. I'm a sports stooge, dude. Okay.
No, I didn't. I thought you already said it. I didn't hear you.
Okay.
Do you
I
fill out
remember
your
her.
bracket,
I remember the
AJ?
phenomena that was her.
Did you fill out your bracket? And with Sister Jean being in the bubble in Indiana, which I don't know how they have everybody staying in these places. I've heard there's been some complaints. I can understand that because I've seen some of the hotels around town. You can see how some of these guys are potentially like a little bit better. We're not even getting paid here. But to a lot of those guys that are in shitty hotels, I would assume that they're probably out after first round. So it's coming to an end soon, right? I mean,
yeah.
But you could see how people would not be happy potentially being locked into somewhere.
I mean,
they're trying to get a tournament done. I mean, there's anytime. What's that?
let's win a tournament.
You're college
boys.
kids.
Rally
I
the
mean,
troops.
come on.
What are you saying?
I mean, you got a chance to win the tournament.
I believe some people said last night, like, yo, give them good Wi-Fi. Make sure there's good Wi-Fi in there. Try to make as good as the world you can make. You gotta remember, these dudes aren't being paid. Okay, they're getting a chance to potentially have their one shining moment. And a good NCAA run is good for the brand, whatever, because everybody's watching. I very much understand that. But just like we were talking about with the NBA, anytime you're trying to lock people into a place, it is not going to go well.
Our TikTok generation kids in here, Foxy and Mitt and all them, are very much against these kids coming out and saying anything.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, how many sports trips did you go on and play in tournaments where soccer, all we did was went and played, back to the hotel, we played 3 games a day. That's all you did.
I mean, if we're going to get into that, I slept in bathtubs and closets in the hotel rooms because my dad snored so fucking loud.
Exactly. Trying to win a tournament.
If I wanted to sleep at all, I had to go into the bathroom with towels underneath the door so we couldn't get the noise in, with a pillow in the goddamn bed. Happened the night before my first ever fucking NFL game, too. I was prepared for it. I had a roommate. It was a guy who was a good dude, would go on to play games and everything like that. And I did not have a room. I did not room with him all training camp. Then the night before the first game, I get in there. This is sawing down. I'm like, this guy's not even playing tomorrow. I can't sleep. I go right into the bathtub. I slept in the bathtub the night before my first fucking game. I was like, I am paying whatever extra money I have to pay to have my own room, please. I cannot live like this. This was my entire childhood. With that being said, I mean, these kids are being locked in hotel rooms that are shit, I would assume. I assume there's some hotels that aren't fantastic that these kids are being locked in for, maybe a week or two.
I sent the ones in last night. It seemed like they were the
those
nice
hotels
ones
are nice that were put into the.
Oh, is that right?
Well, shit.
Oh, is that right? You've seen the rooms in those hotels?
Well, Gumpy lived at the goddamn Holiday Inn Express for like 2 months. So, I mean,
yeah, and by the way, when I FaceTime with him at the Holiday Inn Express, that place looked nicer than one of the hotels that was on that list. That was the Colts home. We had to move because there was bed bugs at one point in that fucking hotel. So let's not listen. There's a couple really nice hotels here. Couple really nice, but for 64 teams, right? 64. Well, I guess 2 more on 66 teams. Their entire staff, everything like that. I mean, this is a hosting city and everything like that. But there's going to be some people that are in much different housing than the people that are like the JW Marriott that's brand new, and there's a lot of I did have those questions early when they talked about the bubble, but it'll all end soon. Half the teams are gone. I mean, as soon as we start this thing, but that has become a conversation. But now Sister Jean's in there. Are you betting on Loyola Chicago in your bracket?
I forgot about Sister Jean and her run. Was that just last year that she had her run?
2018.
Well, there wasn't a tournament last year, AJ.
Last year was canceled, AJ. Welcome to a sports show, dude.
Yeah, good for me. I've watched a bunch of college basketball.
OH!
Nah, but do you think the hotel rooms go off of seeding? Like the if you're number 1 seed, you get this one. If you're hey, if you're 16, see ya, bud. You're sleeping under the subway.
That's like LeBron's room.
Yeah.
LeBron's room was much different than I feel like a lot of people.
6,000 square feet.
Suite.
Hey, that's life though. Hey, that's how it works.
Be better at basketball.
This is how life works, okay? But it does stink for some of those guys that are being locked in there. Now, openly complaining about it, you're inviting people to be like, oh, fuck you, basically, which is exactly what happened. But if I was in there, you probably would have heard a tweet from me at least in a a fashion that didn't hit it on directly, but pointing out some of the things that are currently happening. Like, okay, just want to let you know, a light in my room is dangling by a wire. It doesn't even have a thing around it. It's like, okay, that's maybe something I don't love happening. You know what I mean?
What were these teams doing for away games all season, though? Like, in theory, don't you think they should have got tested and then been locked in their hotel room? And I get that this is a longer extended period of time, but shouldn't they be used to this, or am I missing something?
Well, they're in Indy. They're in a new city, I think, right?
Do they do day of travel too?
Yeah, it's not like 1 or 2 nights like you would do for a normal trip.
Yeah, they're living here.
They just got here, though, I think is what a lot of
Sunday.
people
They
are
got here
saying.
Sunday, right?
Yeah.
But they're saying in their mind, they're like, I'm going to win this all. If we win this whole tournament, I'm going to be here for a while.
I
So
assume
that's
there's a
what they're
lot of kids. I guess allegedly the reason why this is becoming a conversation is because some people in the bubble are saying some of these kids just want to lose so they can go home. It's like, well, these kids need to fucking learn how to compete. Then now we need to talk about those kids.
Yep.
Now we need to talk about those kids.
Some just got here. The Big Ten kids have been here
since last week.
All week already, right? Like I saw one of the Hawks was crying his eyes out on Twitter.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he was.
Hawk? Can we pop it up?
An Iowa Hawkeye was?
Yeah, it's Jordan Bohannon.
Oh, that's a point guard.
Oh no.
What did he say? He said that they said that he said that the
He said, so what? We should just shut up and dribble?
and Ty said something along the lines of,
What did you say?
No, don't do that. Just when you dribble, don't give the ball to the other team.
Yes, just don't turn over the ball as much. But no, Bohannon's a stud. I mean, who cares? For the Big Ten players. Well, yeah, we didn't want to bring
Ty took the cheap. There was a joke sitting right here, you know? When that tweet got sent to the group, there was a tweet sitting right here, and Ty took it. You know, like Ty took that hack at it. He did. He took a big old hack at it.
Yeah, well, listen, the Hawks play on Saturday. We need all the boys ready to go, all right? Because he does have a gripe because they are going to be here a while, and they were here, before last week. But also, I mean, let's win the goddamn thing, all right? Let's stop complaining about it. Let's fucking pound the rock inside the Garzilla and let's win this thing.
Speaking of Ty, okay, with Luca down there. By the way, he's got those Claire's earrings. I like
know.
his swag out there in Iowa. IO.
WA.
Yeah. What is it? Go Hawks? That's what you guys say?
Yeah, they do the IOWA and the like they'll fucking wave the flag in the sections of the stadium.
Way better than the OH.
Well, especially because I would assume people at Iowa would know that whenever you say IO, they know.
We don't really do that though.
What do you do? Just I.
Oh.
W. A. That's what you guys do?
Yeah, just do it again.
Oh, just put that son bitch right
Put it on repeat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the wave for the crowd.
Pretty
But your
much.
mouth, put your arms down.
Pretty much.
Unless you're holding a sign that's a part of the I, then turn that thing over.
I'll tell you what, when it gets rocking, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's go to Kevin in Texas. He has something to say about this whole thing. Kevin, what's going on?
Yeah, hi guys, how's it going?
Hey, not too shabby. Love your style. Love what you're about. What do you want to talk about?
I just found it curious, y'all. Over the years, we've heard Ty criticize everybody. Everybody. Mr. Rogers, various Popes, George Patton. You know who I've never heard that silly bastard criticize? Osama bin Laden.
Oh!
You hate the truth, dude.
Is he a terrorist sympathizer?
Holy shit.
Oh, my God. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin, to point that out. He actually... I mean, he dropped a y'all in there, too, to make sure that we know that he's real or whatever, you know? But, Ty, he's right. I have not heard you go after Osama bin Laden once on this show.
Sure, because we were talking about McHooya earlier today. He's the guy who fucking put a bullet hole in Osama's head, and I love that
You didn't
guy.
mention that,
But
though.
you didn't mention that is what we're saying. Because you just said, oh, McHooya? And then...
Yeah, Rob O'Neill, McHooya.
You didn't really
we had a guess on what you want me to say. Oh, yeah, he's the guy who splattered bin Laden's brains all over that frickin' tiki hut he's living
But then
in.
you would have said bad brains, bad person, but you didn't even get into that. Wow.
Ty loves bin Laden.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Thought I knew you.
I thought you loved George Bush's
The
first
COVID
pitch, too.
cowboy, too. I mean,
Good
oh,
Lord.
man.
I mean, what? Me and Mikuya had a couple beers one day. It was nice.
No, you didn't.
We were on a plane together.
Were you really? Were you really?
Did you get kicked off of a plane?
I don't know.
Yeah,
For
he
not
did.
wearing a mask.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he did.
got
Delta
followed
banned
along.
him.
Early on, he was not about it.
Delta banned him?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, don't ever come on here again.
He's Team Hodge. Yeah.
You blast Bin Laden. I'm sure you're not too worried about much.
Bro, at one point, I would assume a lot of people would like to have him dead at one point. I would assume he was sleeping those nights. I'd assume there was a time where he's like, there's so many people that want me dead right now. I never really have talked to him, by the way. I met him down to Miami Dolphins. We played the Miami Dolphins. I guess he spoke to the team or something the night before. Colt Anderson, Montanimal, special teams animal. Now I think he's a special teams coordinator or a special teams coach or assistant coach. Yeah, because Darren's still over there at Cincinnati Bengals. He goes, you want to go say hello to the guy that killed Bin Laden? I was like, what's that? yeah, for sure. And I go over, I say hello or whatever. He goes, hi. And then Colt and he know each other very well. And then kind of walked away. And then the thought was like, oh, he'll be on the show at some point. He's never come on.
Oh,
he'll come on though. He'll come.
Yeah,
on.
we can get him. Yeah, let's have him on.
I've asked a few times. I feel like I have over the years. Never happened.
I don't think it's your fault. I think it's because Ty won't denounce the guy, and he loves Bin Laden so much.
Oh yeah, Team Bin Laden.
This guy.
Nah, I've given McHuya his props enough times. So guys said guy can fucking shoot a quarter from 65 miles out. So I mean, he knows that I respect his military warfare and whatnot.
Think about military warfare and whatnot. Shout out
His military acumen.
Shout out to the military warfare and whatnot. Think about those dudes though. SEAL Team 6, right? They're called upon to go in there. They have this entire thing. He's the pacer, right? They saw him walking via drone. They had to make the call, go do it. Then they're flying in there. A helicopter crashes right into the guy's house, basically. It's like, well, he knows we're here. Okay, an alarm clock just went off. What a moment that had to be. I would have shit my pants on the helicopter, let alone when one crashes where you're supposed to go to.
And when you're leaving, it's like, oh, shit, we should be on a chopper right now, but this goddamn thing crashed. What are we supposed to do?
I think they walked out, didn't they?
They had to blow it up, though. They had to blow up the
because
helicopter, too.
intel and information potentially in there.
Hell yeah.
What is that? Oh! Somebody got paid.
Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie. Where's it going? Who made a move? Dove Kleiman is reporting that the Bucks have re-signed offensive guard Aaron Stinney. He started their final 3 playoff games, including the Super Bowl. Congrats, Aaron.
Yeah, Stinney!
Mike Greenberg is their salary cap guy down in Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Really? Not AJ Hawks Greeny. We're talking about Mike Greenberg down in Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's making magic happen. They bring back Gronk. They're restructuring Tom. They're somehow going to be able to keep everybody down there in fantastic fashion. I'd assume there's voidable years coming for everybody, but good for the Bucks keeping their team together.
Have the Bucks lost to anybody?
Antonio Brown is a free agent right now. Nobody really knows what's going to happen there.
Sue, they haven't re-signed.
Leonard Fournette, who knows what's going to happen with him?
That's pretty much it. They kept both linebackers. Well, JPP has not officially.
But he put something out that he was going to go back, and then that got deleted. There's
apparently it was a memory from Snapchat from a year ago.
But JPP knew what he was doing when he put it up.
Yeah. Good troll move.
Great troll move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I was any one of those guys, right now, I mean, as soon as somebody says that I'm coming back to punt, I'll put a video of me punting in my backyard.
Patrick Peterson putting a picture of himself in the Cardinals.
In mood, he said mood. Like
Patrick Chung did the whole big news coming.
And then he saved a bunch of money with State Farm.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That was so funny.
I thought it was pretty clever.
I hate it.
Well, I saw your reaction. Yeah, your reaction was so greedy. Like, you guys spent $140 million.
Yeah.
What did you want? What did you want?
I mean, I think there's one guy who throws the pigskin.
He thinks they're getting Deshaun Watson into England.
He really does.
I'm with him on that as well.
They think they think that
There's
Deshaun Watson.
There's only a few teams that can actually afford his contract, and we happen to be one of them.
And they're doing
too.
deals. Yeah, they're doing deals between New England and Houston, Miami. It's like common stuff. You think that it's going to possible as well?
Yeah.
That's because Miami has. They've done deals with Houston already.
Yeah.
They know each other. B-Flow, Cesario, Jack Easterby prayed probably with B-Flow, the whole thing. So they know each other. They have 3 picks within the top 40 picks. I mean, if you're Miami, it feels like they can put together a package for Houston or even Seattle if they want to go get Russell for this year, as opposed to 3 years down the road or anything like that. I'm eager to see who makes a play with what and how this whole thing turns out. That Deshaun Watson stuff last night got real crazy, real quick.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be like an ongoing situation that over the next week or so will. But I know he came out right off the bat and denied it right off the jump. So yeah.
Well, and then the lawsuit is literally a he said, she said, he said situation.
So how does it end? What's the conclusion? Like, how do we ever know?
I hope justice is served. I wouldn't let that be known. I hope justice is served. Okay, that is something that is being alleged is not cool. It kind of breaks the code of the entire profession. You get it, like that whole thing, which is very vital to the success of a professional athlete. Now, with that being said, I did not know that lawsuits were capable with a literal, she or he said that he said this, and then he said it didn't. It's like, I didn't know that you could do that. Is that like Judge Judy? And that's like,
basically.
Is that... Can you do that? I don't know how. Because what are they going to do? Because when you get a massage, there's nobody around. I mean, that's like kind of a part of the massage. It's kind of like a whole thing. Now, granted, they might be doing it in a public area, but if there's nobody in the room, nobody in the building, is there a recording? I guess
it was at her house.
So is there a recording?
I mean, unless could she have illegally recorded it, or is that illegal if she did for some reason record it?
Yeah, and it is a she. You're certain of this?
The masseuse?
Yeah.
Yeah, from the story I read. Yeah.
Okay, good. I just didn't want to. Hey, I didn't want to. Misrepresent any situation from an assumption. Obviously,
Can't be doing that.
But that seems like there's a potential narrative behind that as well. The timing is interesting. I guess old buddy who did it is a neighbor of Cal McNair or something. I mean, it is. There's a lot of conspiracy fodder around this entire thing, and it sucks that you have to go through that if you're Deshaun. But
they can't show video in court though, right?
Well, Kraft, right? I mean, the illegal.
Well, they bury that, so that's pretty easy.
Well,
to bury,
it wasn't deemed eligible because it was an illegal recording. But if it's in the person's house, what is the?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can't be.
You would still have the person would have to consent to that, though, right?
In the house? I don't know. I have
The
no
only
idea.
way it's probably released that like on a porn site. That's be like the only way.
You think the internet's going to have to do the
back end, the back door? People
the
like to
internet?
call it.
The coders are going to have to go find the clip from in there, release it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a sad situation, that whole thing. But if Deshaun goes elsewhere,
What do you think that would the Texans want to trade him to the Patriots? I don't know.
AFC, I don't know if you would want to do that. I guess the Dolphins also AFC though.
Yeah, but don't you think they feel like they have less history with the Dolphins, like battling them? I guess Tom's gone; it doesn't matter. But still, like I don't think they want to make the Patriots any better than they are.
Bro, you don't want to get rid of Deshaun at all if you have Deshaun. I don't think they showed all his stats. He's like first in so many things last year. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't even really realize it while watching the season because the Houston Texans were such a afterthought.
It's true. He's stuck on a bad team. He's playing unbelievable, and nobody sees it. That's what's weird.
Nobody even once I start seeing these stats, like first for this, I'm like, oh, geez, he's playing on a bad team now. Yeah, they had an uprising at practice one day. Got a guy fired. I mean, that's not a great organization to be in and have success, I don't think.
And this guy, Nuke got traded, and now J.J. Watt's out of town. It's like he's really the last one left standing.
Jack Easterby's getting more.
He's going to be
less prayer time, more charge time, more in charge time. I mean, less thinking, more Dewey out there. You know what I mean? Oh! Here we go.
Straight cash, homie.
Somebody got paid in the NFL. The league year begins in about 30 minutes or so all these will be officially announced then. But what happened now in free agency? Well, that's a long one. Let me swallow. The Arrow, Tom Pelissero, is reporting that Jaylen Brown will return to the Titans on a one-year deal worth $5.25 million. Turned down other offers to return to a revamped Titans D and reset his budding market prior to his elbow injury last season. I thought this was going to happen for a lot of guys. Take a one-year deal until you can get into actual free agency. You see Bud Dupree signed down there. You obviously got Derrick Henry coming back. Yeah, Taylor Lewan coming back. That team is going to be in it. They're in the playoffs, obviously. They lost to the Ravens, but that team's good. One-year deal. Don't be scared if the Titans get a couple more one-year deal guys who just want to come make a run at this thing and then hit actual free agency next year.
Well, and if you were already on the team and you have the ability to go somewhere else if you're a free agent, it's probably easy to come back to Tennessee if you want to do that. Like you said, go showcase your skill for the next 17 games and possibly move on after that. But if you're on the Titans, you're thinking, yeah, this is a no-brainer. Like they're a good team. We have a chance. We're one of the handful of teams that can win this thing. And Vrabel seems to have a pretty fun culture down there. I mean, just watching Lewan on this show alone, it seems like a great place to play.
That right-hand man, dude.
Oh,
I'll never forget it.
All time.
I do have a good tattoo. Boom, right here. It's my right hand man. There's been other people that have gotten that tattoo since this show because of the right hand.
For sure.
I would want to go to a team that had Taylor Lewan and potentially Will Compton on it, by the way. Those two look hilarious if they were teammates. If they were your teammates. That feels like that would be a rather electric locker room, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I would think, especially like how they mess with Vrabel too. Like that would be, you don't have that interaction with most NFL teams.
And you've seen Vrabel in the wild. He's awesome, right?
I've known him forever. He's the man.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
He's a true throwback, old school throwback. Will dominate everybody in the workouts. He's not going to go out there and win a bodybuilding contest, but that guy will dominate you whatever he's doing, and he's not going to apologize for it either.
And he potentially is a guy that you'll see with a cigarette in his mouth. You know what I mean?
Man.
Cigarette in his mouth, and then he would. It appears. Now I don't know him personally, but he just from the looks of the human he is. I think I've been around a couple that are similar, not at the Vrabel level, champion and everything like that, but probably could smoke a cig somehow, do terrible things to his body, maybe on St. Patrick's Day, but maybe it's not St. Patrick's Day. Then 6:30, 7 a.m. when a workout needs to be absolutely slaughtered, Vrabel's probably that guy. And by the way, he's going overtime because everybody is like, oh, he's not going to be able to do it. And he's actually maybe rolling out the Marlboro Red from the thing while doing it. Is that an accurate depiction and read on Vrabel?
That could absolutely happen with Vrabel. And while he would be doing it and beating everybody in half-gassers or whatever you're running, he is going to be talking to the entire team and letting them know how terrible they are. Now, I'm just a washed-up old man, and he's still going to be dominating.
I was out till 5 a.m. That's a guy you want leading your squad, by the way. I assume he's not doing the same party antics, but you have that mindset in that history. I assume the expectations you have of people is different. I like to see him having success, by the way. He potentially opened the door for MCDC up in Detroit and other coaches that aren't just analytics or play callers. It's like, hey, this guy seems like he can build a culture, and that culture in Tennessee seems to be a good one. Here we go.
Yep.
Because Vrabes and Harbaugh of Baltimore almost got into a fight. And we had.
How do we know their reach? Is this from their combine?
Yeah,
we did research.
This is actual research. Zito did real research for this. MCDC has him in a height advantage, a weight advantage. Yes. He's younger. He has more bench press, and he has shorter arms than Vrabes. AJ, just looking at this, is there any chance you're taking MCDC over Vrabel just strictly off the stats that you're seeing here?
No, I can't. I don't know MCDC personally, so nothing against him. But yeah, I still have to go with Braves, even though the numbers may not stack up in his favor.
Listen, I love MCDC. Okay, I absolutely do. But is he putting on boxing gloves and fighting Derrick Henry every day in practice as the head coach of the Lions?
I don't think so.
Maybe. Maybe he is. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out. It's too early to make a call on that fight.
To be honest with you.
But I do believe Vrabel would be a favorite by a significant amount, even though he's shorter, lighter, older, less bench pressy. Just that reach, you know what I mean?
Classic underdog. Taking Vrabel all day.
I don't think he's the underdog, though, is what I'm saying.
He might be the favorite.
I think he's actually the favorite.
I know,
because MCDC needs to get on the inside to win this fight. It's going to have to be like a clinch type thing because he doesn't have the reach advantage. He's going to have to get in there, press, and get a little dirty.
And getting in, by the way, whenever you're getting, it's not easy just to get inside.
No.
Everybody's like, oh, you got to fight inside or whatever. But when you're going inside, you're taking shots while you're getting inside. It's hard to get past the buffer zone to get in there. Yeah. I've been trying to work on different techniques in the Oculus,
Okay.
I'm back in there pretty heavily, fighting 3-4 guys a night at this point, dying, sweating, that whole thing. And I've been trying to change the game. I've been trying to actual box in there. If this had to carry over to real life, would it work? I try to get on the inside with a couple guys. I want to get inside, work some people. I've never even done a whatchamacallit, a tie up or anything like that. Getting in there, man. I've been fucking put on my back a couple times. I'm gonna go ahead and walk right in here. How you doing? Bang! Right in the forehead. And my Oculus jaw is so weak. It's a fucking shame out there. It's not easy to get inside, is what I'm saying. So I think Vrabel does win because that reach, the cigarette factor. I don't know MCDC cigarette factor, party factor. I do believe Vrabel is probably favored there, but that's a fight I think we would all want to see as football fans.
Is Vrabel and MCDC now? Is it going to be a battle? If you watch any of these clips that go on the internet, Vrabel likes to get in there when he's out pro days and mix it up, especially D linemen, tight ends. He's being the defender and they're blasting him in the chest. Now I would imagine If MCDC is there, he wants to jump in and take a few reps.
Bro, imagine they might do double team reps on guys. You know what I mean? All right, act like we're the two offensive linemen. Okay, you're a D tackle. Let's go ahead and do the press and then get off and run. Those guys, they're alphaing each other there, and then this poor prospect who has no idea what he's doing, he's getting into it with 2 glory days that still got it, by the way, if they had to. Oh my God, you're right. It's a shame we're missing the combine because that could have happened on, primetime television every single day. We could have seen that. Look at his ass driving those hips.
Oh.
Look at those hips. You see that, AJ?
Z's and the
D's. The shades, the stash, everything.
Driving his feet. You know what I mean? You got to plant those things in there.
Can't bet against that guy.
I don't think we know enough about MCDC yet.
Oh, so you're not even on MCDC?
No, I'm in on
Fox.
him. I think you guys are giving him a hard time right now. There's not enough tape out there for him to be in practice and stuff to show you guys that you would probably take him at the end.
That's
of
what
the
we're
day.
saying. This is very early, but
Yeah.
if we're being told we have to make a decision right now, which is what it feels like, I think you got to go with Braves.
Never heard MCDC say he'd cut his dick off for a Super Bowl. We know that.
Yet, I assume he has said that off air. That'll make it on air.
I've never heard Vrabel say he'd bite kneecaps off either, though.
That's because he's putting guys in the ground.
That is very valid. All right, let's get out of here. This show is the worst, dude. You want
Is that do you have some meal prep company giving you acai berry?
Thank you. These are acai.
Jeez.
Do you know anything about the superfruit, AJ? It's
Why today? Why are you eating?
Well, I realized once I started the acai live fit lifestyle, you know what I mean? And I got into it years late. Andrew Luck and the Stanford guys used to have acai bowls in the morning. Acai, whatever that. What is it?
The second one was right.
Oh, so AJ, Andrew Luck, all these people, they have these super fruits called acai bowls and eat them every morning. And I was always like, I don't need it. Okay, I'm going to go Fruity Pebbles. I'm going to go Cocoa Pebbles in the morning.
Sure.
I started doing this thing. I think this is all I'm going to eat for the next 45, 50 days.
Really?
That good?
This might be my diet.
Yeah, that'll happen. What about when you're actually hungry? What are you going to eat?
Bro, there's some granola in here. It's like I'm eating oatmeal, dude.
Love granola.
Boom.
And the acai, acai. Tastes really good, actually. Do you have this? You eat this?
No, I don't really like those situations.
What the hell does that mean? He's more like the protein bowl that Foxy had earlier.
We have a picture of that.
Oh my God,
this was disgusting.
It was
Did you see this?
Worst thing I've ever seen.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh,
this was so disappointing.
So Foxy and I was with Foxy whenever he uses DoorDash for the first time down in Orlando, and it never showed up. The order never showed up. And I said, Foxy, listen, DoorDash is awesome. It's a game changer. It'll help you out, but you got to charge it to the game whenever they get your order completely wrong. They don't show up. Like, there's a chance this thing is never happening. You might wait 30 to 35, 40 minutes, and that order might get canceled before you even know, and they'll say, hey, we'll give you a refund. It's like, but how about the hunger that has happened? Yeah. It's like, yo, you just got to charge it to the game because of how much good comes out of it. Foxy had a bad experience. That is what he got today from Subway.
Wow. Wait, what was it supposed to be?
An Italian BMT sub. They gave me a protein bowl.
Yeah, but the protein bowl is doused in whatever
Chipotle Southwest sauce.
Oh my God! But hey, that's DoorDash, baby.
Yep.
There was a chance you were going to get that Italian sub, and it was going to be unbelievable.
Yep.
But there's always that chance whenever you're doing DoorDash that something like that shows up that you had no idea even fucking existed, and that's just where we are right now.
I wasn't even mad. Just take the L, keep it moving. They'll get them next time. I know that.
Sure, I need your company. Okay, I need you to continue to deliver. You fucked up this time. You'll bounce back. Congrats. But that is unbelievable.
What did DoorDash say there?
That's
the
slop.
bottom.
Oh, they said let's get it right or something like that.
Ah, those.
Wait, did you eat it?
Hell no.
It's still sitting.
Should have.
Hell no.
It's still sitting out.
Phil scarfed it down rather quickly.
Tubes, you ate that thing?
It's been on the toilet
I
ever
would not
since.
be surprised if he ate that.
That's terrible, though. I don't. Whenever I was taking a dump, whenever that showed up, I heard a large pop from the office.
We lost it.
And I come out, and I'm like, what is going on? I look at, what is it? It was supposed to be an Italian sub, Pat. It's unbelievable. Let's get some phone calls. Let's go to Adam in Columbus. OH!
I-O.
Yes. Yeah.
That's going to fuck
What's going on, boys? Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day to you, too. That's going to win some games for the Buckeyes right there. I like your attitude, Adam. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to March Madness. So what do you think about Steve Smith calling the Giants GM, Dave Gettleman, the chief stooge because he's not willing to spend the millions?
I didn't hear that. That happened?
Wait, they called Gettleman a chief stooge?
If they're using chief stooge, that's awesome because I think there is some competition. We have some chief stooges around here, too.
Yeah. They're talking about Gettleman?
Yeah.
Didn't he just pay Leonard Williams like $22 million a year?
As of yesterday, Zacco had an extension done. Leonard Williams does not hit the free agency market. The interesting thing about the Giants, though, is that have they signed any offensive linemen?
They brought
Re-signed Solder.
Didn't they bring somebody back?
Solder's coming back.
Because are we going to run into the same situation with Daniel Jones that we're running into right now with Sam Darnold in a couple years? We're going to say we have no idea if he's good or not. He was never really given a real opportunity. And that's going to be something that's probably going to happen with that Giants organization. Joe Judge is going to turn them around, though. I believe Joe Judge has a chance. But if he doesn't, which is also likely, especially in that division of stink over there in the NFC East, Daniel Jones might never really get a chance to pan out as a guy, just like Sam Darnold. Now, the Sam Darnold conversation this morning took a hilarious turn. A very hilarious turn. You hear Dan Orlovsky and quarterback gurus all over the place gushing over Sam Darnold, talking about how this guy was never given a chance. And you think about Adam Gase and what he did to Ryan Tannehill down in Miami. And when Tannehill got out from underneath the Adam Gase umbrella, he did well in Tennessee. And now it's a very different situation because Tannehill was a wide receiver in college and then he became a quarterback. So maybe it was just natural growth and that whole thing. But it does feel like Gase potentially ruins quarterbacks. I mean, if you just look at how unproductive their offenses are whenever he's in charge, as opposed to like Peyton Manning is being in charge in Denver. So everybody's talking about Sam Darnold deserves another chance. This guy reported this morning, Matt Lombardo. He goes, asking around on Sam Darnold, and the sense I get from scouts, coaches, and executives is that the perception of him among fans and some in the media, that was directly Dana Orlovsky, and is significantly higher than those on inside the league. He stinks, bro. Says one offensive coach. Hashtag Jets, hashtag NFL. Are you kidding me? That is awesome that somebody in the NFL was just like, why are we even, this dude stinks, bro. Get out of here. That's an interesting thing because if he does stink, I've not watched enough film. Darius Butler said there is some upside, but he does not play that consistent. But can you play consistent in the Jets? What is the Sam Darnold story, AJ, you think?
I don't know. That's the thing. It's such a mystery. The fact that an offensive coach said he sucks, bro.
Stinks.
I want to know, like, how old is that guy? What team do you think he coaches for? I would really like to know the source.
Can you go back to that tweet, please? How is it described? Asking around in the sense I get from scouts, coaches, and executives. Okay, so he gave a 3-part there. I talked to scouts, I talked to coaches, and I talked to executives. Those executives could be in ticket sales or marketing too. So we gotta remember that. One offensive coach, which could be the guy that brings in the coffee and draws up the cards around the NFL, who potentially watches this show, by the way.
True.
Potentially watches this show, and he's like, oh, I've looked at this. He stinks, bro. Like, there's a lot of people that think that, and what are they going to do over there at quarterback?
Is it also possible that this is like Belichick just masking who it really is, and he said, like, yeah, you know, Sam Darnold stinks, bro. Put bro on the end of it so people don't know who it is, but this could be Belichick saying this.
He stinks, bro. Wow. Connor, you'd want Sam Darnold over Cam Newton?
No, definitely not. Not over Cam Newton.
Really?
Yeah, no way.
I feel like you said that earlier, like a couple weeks ago that you did.
No, well, I don't remember that, so no, I don't. Cam Newton for sure over Sam
Okay,
Darnold.
let's do a couple.
Speed round?
Would you rather?
Tua.
Okay.
Tua.
Cam.
Okay. Andy Dalton.
Cam.
Yeah. A loser.
For sure. I know players are helping Cam Newton up after he gets smacked in the mouth.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Jameis Winston.
Cam.
Now, that was one that you were on the other side of just a couple weeks ago.
For a little bit, but I mean, it's hard to pick up the offense. I don't think Jimmy comes in.
I understand. Okay.
Sorry, speed round.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Competition.
I still think I'm going Cam.
Okay, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
Okay, so that's why in your head they're doing that because that's the only real belief that you have that that's the quarterback you want over Cam. So you automatically think that Bill Belichick's going to do that for you.
What's that, the Watson?
Yeah.
I just think it's possible. Strictly because there's 3 or 4 teams that have the cap to do it, and you can cross the Colts off, and you can cross a few other teams off that list, and who's left?
Hey, Trent Dilfer said that Carson Wentz is going to be really good at football.
Then what does he say the issue is or has been?
So Philadelphia stinks.
Yeah. Said
Tough place to play.
tough place to play. Carson might be on this show at some point, by the way.
Really?
I'm intrigued by how that's going to go.
When he lights it up for the Colts next year, yeah, he should be on the show.
Huh?
When he lights it up for the Colts this upcoming season, I think he should be.
Oh, so you think you're in the camp that you think he's going to come back all the way?
Yeah, I think he's going to be good, man.
Okay. Me too. Hey,
Me
that's
too.
a great
Here
way
we
to
go.
end the show.
Yeah.
Me too. Let's go. Hey, let's go.
Yeah.
Come on, Chuck.
Come on, Wentz.
Let's go number 2.
Let's go number 2.
All right, is he number 2?
Reported.
That kid's got a 2 jersey on.
A local podcaster, I believe, or a Colts podcast fan, something happened where
Kid from Philly.
podcast.
A kid from Philadelphia is a fan.
Yeah.
Giovanni, the Philly sports podcaster. Shout out to Giovanni, by the way. He said, "Thank you, Colts. I'm so happy to have my Carson Wentz new jersey, and it's the number 2." So that led to the internet going, Carson Wentz is going to wear the number 2 in Indianapolis because 11, Michael Pittman said, "Yeah, you can't have that, pal. All right, that's my number. 500 yards and a touchdown last year, please. Can't have it." Carson Wentz said, "Okay, you got it." Didn't even want it. Then people were saying he was going to wear the number 1. I was pumped up about that.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's bring the number 1 back out there with the stud quarterback. Now it is alleged he's number 2, which I think is Rigoberto Sanchez's, the punter's number, which, by the way, he beat cancer last year as an absolute stud. I would be excited to see. No, he might be 8.
Yeah, he's 8.
He is 8. He moved to 8, by the way.
I'm not seeing any 2s on the roster.
Okay, so Carson Wentz is number 2. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. That's a good number, isn't it?
Great number.
2's good number. It's like his second chapter.
Johnny Football was number 2, right?
Yeah.
How you gonna do
Matty Ice was number 2.
Still is. He's still playing.
He played in the Fan Craze Football League.
Is he still playing? Like, they have more games, right?
I think they lost.
I think championship is over. Yeah, they're not in.
They didn't make it. He went all out, though.
The Zappers did not make the playoffs.
What?
I saw a lot of highlights.
Speaking of Cam, he Cam Newton to fumble in their last game, I think.
By the way, do not blame him. Did you see that play?
Yeah.
There's no way I'm getting in there. He also just talked about how he's going to become a golf pro or something. Like, what do you want him to dive in with both his arms and his head in there and just
break all his fingies, not be able to play 18?
I would not have won after that.
Yeah, no thanks.
I would assume his teammates would have appreciated it if he did, but I'm not on the team. I'm just looking from the outside in. I'm not in the Fan Craze Football League. I apologize. That center just sends that thing 50 yards over my head. I'm going to give it a go if that thing hops up to me. But if there's 2 defensive linemen diving at it and I can go ahead and sacrifice my body for it, and that seems like the right thing to do if you're in the NFL, I ain't doing that in Fan Craze Football League.
No, we're playing for the fucking Denslow Cup, not the Lombardi. It ain't happening.
A lot of people want.
What is that?
The Denslow?
Yeah.
Jeez, AJ.
It's from fucking basketball, dude.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, my bad. I don't know the ins and outs of that great movie.
Hey, that's a great movie.
It is a great
Come on.
AJ.
Is that Adam Sandler?
Oh, my God. It's the South Park guys. What are you doing?
Those guys are awesome. Those guys are geniuses.
Yeah,
Haven't
so
seen
is
the
Adam
movie,
Sandler,
not
by the
going
way.
to see the movie, but I've heard about it.
So is Adam Sandler, by the way.
Yeah, I never said anything. But you always are throwing these obscure Adam Sandler movies out that not many people know.
Now, a lot of people know him. That's why he continues to get deals.
Yeah.
Sandy, by the way, shout out. Great movie. Probably a couple 100 million people watch that on Netflix, if I had to guess. That's what Adam Sandler does. Moves the needle.
Hell yeah.
How many people are in the world?
8 billion.
6.5 maybe.
I would assume 70% of them have watched an Adam Sandler movie on Netflix. So
I don't know.
They're not obscure references when 60% of 6.5 billion people know what I'm talking about.
Maybe 60% of Americans have seen it.
I'd assume higher than that. I mean, what are we even?
Higher. You just assume everybody in the world has Netflix?
Yeah, at this point.
Thanks, Greg.
What about fucking Canada? They filmed Big Daddy in Toronto.
Yeah. Film a ton of
Love
movies
Adam
in
Sandler in Canada, dude.
You guys got Netflix in Canada?
Yeah.
It's not the same as ours, though, right?
No, it's different.
It's different in every country, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so they have They got 200 million subscribers worldwide. Netflix does.
Oh, so you do some quick math.
And there's 7.6 billion people on Earth.
Yeah. You got it right. You're right, Pat.
They got room to grow. I mean, of course. But wait till the internet gets all these places.
But how
when
many
Elon
people,
creates it, dude.
How many people use the same subscription? I mean, let's think about
Shout out
this.
my cousin Greg, dude.
Yeah.
My logins.
Thanks, Greg. You can pack on a couple, like maybe 100,000 more to that number.
There's another reference, by the way, that you didn't get, but I think I wish you would have.
I mean, first off, you don't get any movie reference or show reference ever.
Oh, okay, you know nothing about Dave, dude, all right?
The independent variable.
It's another show reference.
Shows his butt cheeks.
AJ.
Just stacking them on top of each other.
You're getting circles ran around you right now, huh?
Bro, you don't even know, dude.
You're right.
Fuck you, just.
You guys are killing me.
I agree.
Have you seen any, this is a real question, though. Have you ever seen movies that other people consider good movies? Because I don't think so.
Go on.
Any movie that is worth watching, you haven't seen.
I probably saw it before everybody else. I'm actually probably the one that was the thermometer, not thermostat. Okay? I'm the one that set the opinion on the movie, not reading it by everybody else's thing. Okay?
Avatar, ever heard of it?
Fucking, I was way ahead of the game on that one.
Uncut Gems?
Avatar's good, but...
Bingo. Saw it before it even came out in movie theaters.
That's right.
Now, I did think that movie sucked.
We got the loud version. We got the loud version.
Was that?
We got the loud version. They turned up the speaker for some reason in that theater, and it was too loud.
It was bad.
Rewatch it. It's not bad.
It's a good movie.
I mean, I get it, okay? But there's a lot of times where I'm like, just sell the thing, you're out of trouble.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's tough.
That's gambling, baby.
No, I understand, but it's hard to be like feel bad for that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it's like, hey, you could at this, and then he does. Hey, you could, and then I'll tell you what, it caught up to him in the end, though.
Yeah.
Big time.
It caught up to him.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen Uncut Gems?
I have seen it, yes.
Okay, so there's a couple movies that we agree upon that aren't good, right?
It's all right. I mean, Uncut Gems, I don't think people would consider like a classic by any means.
He was up for a goddamn Oscar, wasn't
He was mad he didn't win it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were campaigning for him to get nominated.
I would say Sandy is better than Uncut Gems, but that's because it was a Happy Madison production and not whatever the Uncut Gems was.
Stink then.
Huh?
That movie must stink then.
Sandy?
No, Uncut Gems. Sandy was borderline unwatchable.
Jeez. What is the premise of Sandy?
Oh,
It's about an agent.
Come
dude.
on.
Wait, this Sandy Wexler, is that right?
How about that?
I think I saw like not the trailer. I wouldn't take time to watch the trailer. I saw the photo of the movie.
You're so problem, dude.
Brutally terrible.
Give it a chance, man. Don't
Bro,
just judge it.
Just take it for what it is, bro.
Thumbnail?
Hey, nothing against Adam Sandler, man. If they want to pay you $50 million to make it a movie, do it. I would too, but
Murder
I'm not
Mystery?
saying that's a great movie.
Oh, Murder
Murder
Mystery
Mystery
is
is so good.
incredible.
What is that?
Hubie Halloween.
Jennifer Aniston.
Her,
ever
him
heard
and
of her?
Jennifer Aniston.
Let's get to a phone call. Let's go to Ben in Indiana. What's going on, Ben?
The longest yard.
How's it going, boys?
I mean, fantastic now that we've paid Adam Sandler the respect that he's been due a long time ago. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, so I was talking to my boy Luke P and SLRP. Juju to the Chargers confirmed. They have about $30 million in the cap. I think it's a big market for his TikTok business. He can go dance on logos down there to the Chargers, get thrown passes from Justin Herbert. What do you think, boys?
Ben, not a bad guess there. I have no idea. The Chargers have made some plays. If Juju ends up out there, that would be great for the TikTok business. There's TikTok houses out there, I believe. That would be good. But he's a hell of a football player. That'd be good for Justin Herbert as well, AJ.
If he goes up to LA, what is he going to live in one of those, like maybe stay with the Nelk boys or some of the crew?
No, I assume Juju would have his own house. He would have the Juju beast.
Yeah. Stealing.
Got the power.
How much is he going to get paid? Honestly, what is his average per year going to
So
be?
I guess what's happening, excuse the yawn, it's St. Patrick's Day. I guess what's happening is somebody reported that they were speaking to a general manager. I think it was Rossini. I'm not 100% sure. They were speaking to a general manager who was in need of a wide receiver. And the conversation was like, how come none of these big-name wide receivers have been signed? I guess all the big-name wide receivers are asking for a lot of money, double digits, they say, which I guess they're looking for one-year deals, probably $10 to $20 million or something each one. And I guess the team that was reporting to Rossini said, we haven't bit and nobody else is as well. So, there's
AJ Green signs with the Cardinals. Kendrick Bourne signs. Aguilar signs. There's some people that have signed, but the Galladays, the Jujus, the TYs, the Antonio Browns still at this point. There's a lot of players at the skill positions that are out there, and it seems like it's just a classic stare down in negotiation by everybody.
Yeah, and the players and the agents, they don't want somebody to jump out there and take a below market deal because then it sets it and messes all the rest up that come in line. I guess the first, who's going to be the first guy to jump out there and sign a deal as like of those receivers you named?
Hey, Kendrick Bourne, a hell of a deal. It was like a 2-year, $20-some million.
His was 3 years, 15, up to 22.5.
There it is.
Aguilar's was 2 years, 26, but it's really 2 years, 10. 2 years, 20 million, up to.
So there's been some.
I mean, John Brown just took 3.5.
Corey Davis has been the most at 12.5 a year so far.
John Brown, by the way, is a lot of guys in this office were like, get him to our team. If he's taking $3.5 million, I mean, that is.
Juju probably 1 year, 10, I'd say.
I would assume that's what he's hoping for.
He might get 13.
Maybe,
I don't
maybe
think so.
14.
He's getting less than Corey
Galladay
Davis?
is going to get at least 18.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Oh,
assume.
yeah.
The Cardinals are trading for.
Oh, no, it's a trade.
Oh, so he wasn't cut. Breaking news here from Dove Kleiman via Mike Garofalo and Rap Sheet. The Cardinals are trading for Raiders Pro Bowl center Rodney Hudson. He was just released the other day. I assume the Cardinals wanted him, and it wasn't officially released, so they snooped in there and said, hey, before he hits the open market, before we have to, is there any way we can trade for this? Nice move by the Cardinals. Kind of a dickhead move by the Raiders for Rodney Hudson. I'd assume he wouldn't have mind hitting the open market if he had to. Cardinals are moving. Seismic shift is what the owner of the Cardinals said a week or two ago about the salary cap and COVID issues they got going on. They're making their team better over there. You got to respect it around Kyler and Cliff Kingsbury.
Well, they're trying, yeah. I mean, if you're a Cardinals fan, you should feel pretty excited. AJ Green, let's see if he can stay healthy. We know if he's healthy, he's a hell of a player. But yeah, when Kyler's young, you got a chance to start something special. Yeah, go all in, man. Try to get it going.
Was there still 30-some thousand people looking at this? No, that has to be frozen. Yeah, 28,000. Jesus.
AJ Green was second free agent on Mitt's list too, so that is a big signing.
You're right.
Behind who? Who was first?
Missed
Dak Prescott.
Dak.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Because I had to.
All right. Big shout out. Because I had to. Quarterback. Big shout out to the YouTube commenters that are members. It was a green-only chat here for the last 2 hours because it's St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the members. We appreciate you. We're trying to figure out how to make that worth it. We think the members-only chats are good for our business because the people that are in here that are the members, you guys kind of hold it down in there every day. We appreciate the hell out of you. We're trying to figure out how we make it a better experience to be a McAfee Mafia member. But just know that whenever we do things like that, it is hopefully a way for us to say thank you for what you do. We appreciate your loyalty and appreciate everything you do for us day in and day out. Yeah, that's about it for the show, I think. Tomorrow we'll cover more shit that popped off here. League year's about to begin. Hammer Don's happening.
Yes, sir.
405, 415, 420.
410.
Oh, 420.
That's a long time.
410, because the league year will begin then. There might be some more news.
True.
So we'll be live with Hammered Down. If anything pops off, we'll probably all come sprinting back in here to react to it because we need the clip for YouTube. But aside from that, we will see you tomorrow. We appreciate you so much. AJ, anything to say to the YouTubers?
Nope. Good to go, man.
Anybody else got anything to say?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So on this St. Patrick's Day, I'd like to say that we appreciate you for everything. When you go out tonight and you have a drink, there's a couple things I'd like for you to think. I'd like you to say that you waste some time when you listen to us talk. And there's other shit you could definitely listen to, and we're thankful that you not. Tough to find words that rhyme with all these things that the sentences end with. But tonight when you drink, I hope you have a great time, and we'll see you manana. Cheers. Cheers to you guys. Thank you to everything. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to crash because of that, because it is so goddamn good.
Yeah.
I'm going to chug another one. What?
What?
Have a great St. Patrick's Day. We'll see you manana. Cheers.